Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
It's kind of a weird thing that we're here, honestly.
Yeah.
It's weird here.
Yeah, because LA, it's like famous people are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They know how to act. People know how to act. Here, it's just starting a little bit.
It's just like Matthew McConaughey,
Yeah.
Elon, but Elon never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
He's always working on 5 different companies.
Right. Who else? Who else is in Austin?
Zach Levy, but he lives out a little bit further out in the country.
Nice. Yeah, just McConaughey.
Dawson moved here. James Vanderbeek.
Ooh.
Oh,
there you go.
that's right. He's here. And then the other, there's a few guys.
Well, it's also, I think,
Bullock.
podcast fame.
Sandra Bullock, but she's never here either. She's always working.
Yeah. So I think podcast fame and internet fame, it's like people, you're much more approachable, too.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you're in their ears.
Well, they 100% know you.
100% know you.
Yeah.
They know all the most embarrassing stories you told 7 years ago when you were like, podcasting isn't going to catch on. And you talked about, things you put in your ass in middle school. They're like, oh.
Bro, 12 years ago for me.
Yeah.
We started off with a fucking laptop using a webcam. High as fuck.
Just recording directly to the webcam, like the laptop audio.
Yes. Well, we had like some sort of a USB microphone.
Yeah.
But we also did like everything completely obliterated. We were doing volcano hits.
Oh, dude, the volcano.
You
That's
didn't know
a beautiful
what you were
thing.
saying it while you were saying it. Like while you were saying it, you're like, what am I saying?
Of course. Well, no one's going to listen. Who gives a fuck? I'm
Well,
just having fun. And then they did.
Back then it was like, a good episode would have like 2,000 people.
Right.
For real.
Now a tweet that gets 2,000, I'm like, bombed.
I know what happened and what wrong.
Yeah.
It's fucking fascinating to see the difference in tweets now because people aren't scared to post what they really think about something.
Yeah.
So like NBC News will post something and then underneath it you'll just see a cascade of people shitting all over them.
Yeah.
And harshly.
Right.
It's wild.
They're making death threats.
No, not that.
Like,
They're not.
they're like, fuck you, Tucker.
But they can be funny again and not worry about getting banned or shadow banned or any of that stuff.
Yeah. No, I honestly barely use Twitter anymore. It's just like
Me too.
Purely for all social media. Honestly, I just do to because it's comedy and you have to get people out to stuff.
Promotion.
But I really don't think people should use that. I mean, I'm not breaking any ground here, but it's like I barely.
You and I are on the same page.
Yeah, it's not, dude. I put my phone away for like this summer. I went back to Baltimore. I lost like 20 pounds with my brother. My brother's a trainer, and I just didn't use my phone. I was fucking eating right. I was working out every day. Fucking, I felt great. I was like, this is awesome. I'm gonna go into the next leg of the tour. I'm in New York for like 4 days, and I'm like, I'm just gonna check Instagram to try and get pussy, and I haven't been off it for more than 20 minutes for 4 months. You know what I mean? It's like, and I was like, I know what you have to do, but it's like, you can't stop.
Well,
and then the fucking algorithm gets you, bro. The TikTok algorithm.
I don't fuck with TikTok, but apparently that's the worst. I was just going to say that I was listening to Chris Williamson. Do you know him?
No.
He's another guy who's out here in Austin. Great, really interesting, intelligent guy. He runs a great podcast. But he had Scott Galloway on, and they were talking about how TikTok is essentially engineered to like keep us engaged and also accentuate all of our disagreements and arguments and make America look like a real shithole.
I didn't even think about the disagreements and arguments because my feed is like they've completely got me. It's like fucking just a nice sandwich. It's like, and I'm trying to get fucking jacked these days, so it's like just fat guys weight loss journeys. Like they know everything, and then it's like a muscle girl, which I'm into now. You know what I mean? They've created a new fetish for me just off of fucking. It started with just like instructional stuff, and now it's just like some girl who's just fucking, crushing a watermelon with her thighs and then deadlifting like 800 pounds. And I'm like
those?
I'm in.
You like those?
Yeah, I'm in. I want those because in my mind, there's got to be one of them that wants to fuck a fat guy to like
straighten him out.
Because it's exactly
You're a project.
You fucking fat piece of like just pinching my tits. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm a fucking little fat fellow. I'm your fuck pig. She's got me oinking while she's eating my ass. That's got to exist. You know what I mean?
100%. And you're gonna find her after the show.
That's why I'm here,
She's
Joe.
reaching. Right now she's got her thumbs moving.
Gals, hit me up. The DMs are open.
Girls that are that jacked have to be like really horny too.
You'd think so.
I bet they're super physical.
Yeah, because you're in peak physical
Yeah.
shape. So it's like all your hormones and shit must be firing off.
And I think nature would tell you that if you're a woman and you have to lift all this heavy stuff, then like you're in trouble. There's
Right. You're
the
under
men
duress.
aren't doing their job. They're not defending the village.
Oh,
You're preparing
interesting.
for war.
Yeah.
So you probably all your testosterone ramps
Yeah.
up. I didn't know.
You're floating the pheromones out there to get a warrior. So you're probably the pussy's probably a top notch.
Top
Because
notch.
if your body thinks you're in distress,
Oh, yeah, you're
they
ready to
want to get
rock.
a Mongol to make you his wife.
Yeah,
And
some
protect you.
super
Yeah.
fucking killer Viking character.
Yeah, but
it's
thank God.
probably tight like a drum too.
Absolutely.
100%.
Oh my God. They could probably lift me. They could probably do deadlifts, put my dick in,
Right.
clench, and then just do squats.
Have you ever seen
That's
that?
probably possible.
Picture it, there's like it's a meme, the type of men who wear masks in their car,
haven't.
and it is a woman holding a guy up while they make out, and the guy's got his
Hell yeah.
legs wrapped around the
By
woman.
the way, I'm in.
That's
Sounds
what you want.
awesome.
Do you want her to keep the wristbands on?
Yeah.
Chalked hands, like she's deadlifted.
Yeah. Oh my God. I want my dick to get chafed from the calluses. I want my dick to feel like it's, it's been at the spa all day. Like it's been
Yes.
completely rubbed off. A new layer of skin comes off every time I get jacked off by those.
Like a salt bath.
Yeah,
Like you've been scrubbed.
Yeah. 100%. That's what I want. I didn't know that about myself, but I'm in there. And then listen, I'm still.
You find out things.
You find out through the algorithm. And
You don't know
listen,
what you like until you see it.
No, sir. I did hook up with one girl that was like strong, and I think she had that thing going on. She just kind of DM'd me, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's get in there. And it was nice. I was like going down on her, and I had like giant thighs just wrapped around my head to the point where I was started to, no joke, I'm not exaggerating, just black out. Like I started seeing spots. And I was like, if I don't make her come, I'm going to die. And there was like a fucking thrill to that. There was like,
Whoa.
it felt like Indiana Jones sliding under the fucking thing with the, you know what I mean? I was like, I have moments to make this woman bust before I lose consciousness. It was fucking thrilling. Yeah. So I don't know. But
I
also,
guarantee you there's a thing like that
There's
where
gotta
a
be.
woman like doesn't even want a powerful man. She just wants a guy that she could turn into a project.
Right.
Because women always do that with guys anyway.
Sure.
The same type of women that adopt like sad dogs. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm
like,
a
I'm gonna
I'm a
help
fucked
you.
up bulldog.
I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people they'll take on projects with people.
Yeah. And I think
Brian Callen used to always do that.
Okay.
He used to have these gals that he would date. I'd be like, Brian, fucking stop.
Interesting.
And he'd be like, it's okay, I'm gonna help
Yeah,
her
yeah,
out.
yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
always a disaster. They want meth heads, like
Right.
wild shit.
I'm ready to be someone's disaster. I'm ready to have a good 3 months until I slip off my diet and they're like, "What? I found fucking oatmeal cream pies in the wrappers in the garbage." I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you, babe." Somebody must have broken in and had fucking a Duff bar because it wasn't me. I was doing fucking
Burpees.
I was doing burpees. Yeah. I was doing lat pull downs. I swear to God, that was when I was doing hot yoga, babe. Just kick me out. She fucking. There's a PS5 and she kicks it and just snacks fall out of it. I've taken all the hard drive. I've taken all the games out and it's just fucking Twizzlers and fucking chocolates.
She finds a secret fridge filled with Coke. Mountain Dew.
I'm like, those are my family heirlooms from Greece.
That's
Don't
a
touch
sad
those.
thing. If you're in a relationship and you have to hide what you actually
yeah.
like.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh man.
Well, I think part of it is because a lot of my relationships, I'm big on therapy. I've been thinking about this shit all the time. A lot of my relationships, what I'm into is someone who just treats me way too good. Because it's like, that's my mom kind of coddled me. I was a mama's boy. I was the firstborn. I was like one of those like smart, precocious little kids who's like always saying something fun.
Right.
And so every time I've really, really liked a girl to like be in a serious relationship, she's just kind of like over the top, kind of like I wouldn't have to hide anything because they're like, oh, you can't even help it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't, and so I think part of me wants like, yeah, fucking throw me through the ringer.
Some hot mama.
Yeah, dude.
How much stepmom porn is there out there?
There's a lot out there.
It seems crazy.
I think it's
like, what happened? When did this emerge? Every now and then I check
don't know.
in.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a whole different wave of genre going on.
That is huge. I don't know what it is. I'm not. See, that's the weird thing. you would think I would have like mommy shit. I don't have that. I
Well,
find
I think
it disgusting.
stepmom shit is different. Stepmom is
Stepmom
like
is different.
dad is divorced, but dad's rich.
True.
And dad marries this really hot slut.
Right.
And
He's
but
out at the
dad's at
meetings.
work all day.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got to fucking
gotta
run the
close the account.
corporation.
Yeah,
and you're this
yeah.
jock son
Yeah.
in college.
Oh, yeah.
That's like all of them.
Absolutely. That sounds pretty good.
It's-
You know what I'm in?
It's like a classic fucking Joseph Campbell genre.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's the hero's
American.
journey.
Yeah. It starts at dinner one day.
Because no one feels bad for anyone involved. Like,
Right.
no one feels bad that she's cheating on the son. The son is in college.
Of course.
So that's fine.
The dad has been-
is probably some rich piece of shit.
Yeah, emotionally
Fuck him.
abusive, neglectful. He got what's
probably
coming to him.
cheated on his mom, who was an amazing woman.
You're right.
And now he's with this
She
floozy.
died. She had chemotherapy.
Maybe she
He wasn't
died.
there.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
He didn't give a fuck. He was at the office.
No, he was at the office.
And now he's got this new one. And-
Exactly.
And she's a fucking weightlifter.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
let's fucking get it all
Weightlifter
together.
wearing pumps, giant thighs, just fucking jacked.
Now we're getting into what I'm
Woo!
liking. She comes
Short
into my
skirt.
room. She's like, "Why haven't you done your homework?" I'm like, "You're not my real mom." She's like, "What the fuck did you say to me?" Shoves me up, picks me up against the wall. And that's now we're talking.
And then you lean towards her and she just goes for it. She starts making out with you.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
She holds you up with one arm while she's grabbing your dick with the other one.
Oh, just chokehold.
Crazy. Yeah. Oh
From
my
behind.
God. Yeah. Lifting you up, choking you.
But doesn't let me come the first time. She's like, "Finish your homework. Maybe you'll bust next time." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am."
Oh, wow.
I
Those
become a
kinda
model
ultimates.
student. I'm in a little tie, suit and tie. Oh, hello, father.
Dude, we might just created the new genre of porn.
It's gotta advance.
Female trainer, like muscular. The thing is, like, how many like really jacked muscular females go into porn?
True. They're
Probably
out.
a very small
Small minority. I've done the research. It's not that many. I have jacked off to a couple of these videos.
I don't think that's a genre yet.
No, but we'll get there.
You have to like get people to train for it, like Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
get
yeah,
these
yeah.
gals going. Look, there's a whole new genre.
Right.
Like if
Yeah.
porn was organized the way like film and television was.
Yeah. We need a.
Look at this gal holding that guy over her head. Holy shit!
That
Look at the
looks
size
awesome.
of her.
We
How
do-
is that? How big is that dude?
He's a little guy.
But bro, she looks
Look
like
at
she's
him.
got some fucking stock genetics.
Oh yeah.
Like that will make you
That-
a barbarian.
I
That'll
mean,
make
that
you a warrior.
guy's foot could fit in her pussy.
Look at the size of her fucking legs and her ass muscles. The way she's hoisting that guy one arm over her head. Let's just assume he's a tiny guy. He's
Tiny guy.
got to weigh 100 pounds.
Let's say 5'2", 100 pounds.
Even if he's 100 pounds over your head with one arm like that is crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's this woman who's very womanly.
When is this from? 19th century muscle women.
I found it. I was looking at other pictures and just saw that.
Bro,
Well-
that is 100% like Viking genetics. Right?
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, you got
That's
two little guys.
Two little guys with one arm over her head.
And that's the thing. No one could. You weren't allowed to jack off to stuff. You know, plainly, this couldn't be a sex thing, but this was 100% a sex thing back then.
Look at the size of her, and she's holding three guys on her arms. Holy
What did she do? This
shit.
seems like the same lady.
This is a genre.
She's no
Lost to
offense,
history.
No offense to this long since passed woman.
Yeah.
But she has a very masculine face.
She does.
That easily could be a guy that sells you IT service, right?
Yeah,
That's the
see
guy who
that?
comes in with a clipboard and
100%.
says, like, "Do you guys
What's
want
going on with the firewall?"
high-speed internet? What do
Yeah.
you- like what? How many? How many gigabytes you guys think you use?
Oh,
a
you don't
day?
need that upload speed. You guys are fine
Yeah.
where you're at.
Go back to
They
that
don't like when I
picture
say this, but your guys are
of
fine.
that person.
the
I mean,
same
is that the same person? Come on, man. That
I'm in there.
easily could be a guy who works at Google.
Absolutely. Throw a vest on her.
Yeah, like a stout guy too. Look how stout she looks.
Yeah, because she's got the corset. Who knows what
Yeah.
she'd actually be like?
Look at the fucking guns on that
oh,
lady.
hell yeah, dude.
Oh my god, you like that?
Oh, the
Now,
back.
do you, how
I'm
much
into
did they
backs, too.
know? How much they know about like lifting weights and getting bigger?
Back then?
Isn't that crazy?
It
if
is
you really
crazy.
stop and think about it,
Yeah.
like people didn't really figure that out until like when?
Like 7
couple
years
hundred
ago.
years ago. Well, if like no one looked like Ronnie Coleman until Ronnie
No,
Coleman.
totally. No, there's even
That's
like
a couple. We're talking about like decades of difference between like
Fully.
Frank Zane and like what they do today.
dude, like I think was it Lynn Swan? I don't remember
Katie
who it was.
Sanwina, that's her name.
There was a running
She
back.
was in 1884. Look at the size of that
Fuck
lady.
yeah, Katie Sandino. There was a running back on the Bears. I'm blanking on his name.
There's videos of her?
I mean, it's not. It's pictures.
Oh,
Oh,
just
that's a
photos.
tough angle.
Yeah, that's a rough
I'm
one.
off. I'm actually off the Katie train.
Maybe it was later in life.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
she kept accelerating. She was enormous.
She was, yeah.
Look at the size of her.
She was 16 and his name was Hyman, was 19.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh, they got married. Hell yeah. Short king and a big lady. Now we're
182
talking.
centimeters. How tall is that?
Now we're. I don't fucking know. I should know that.
182.
Let's guess.
I'm gonna say
6'2".
5'11". Let's see. 597.
Does it count as 6 foot?
6
Oh,
foot?
it's right about 6 foot. Yeah.
Oh, she's 6 foot.
All right, there we go.
5'11",
It's a big lady.
1.6.
Big lady.
It's
But
a big, stout lady.
so the running back, I'm blanking on his name, but literally the trainers, he was like, hey, should I lift weights like the defensive, like the linemen? And they were like, no, that'll slow you down. Like they literally had no one. This is in the 70s, the NFL. Like
That
these
was
are
with
professional.
boxing, too.
It's crazy, dude.
In the boxing era, of Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard, it was like commonly thought that if you lifted weights, it would slow you down.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it would ruin your punching power. Like they would only do calisthenics. Like Marvin
Insane.
Hagler did just sit-ups and push-ups and stuff like that.
Just you'd have to be a freak of nature to make it, which is even more impressive.
Not necessarily.
You don't think so?
No, because there's a lot of exercise. There's a lot of thought to just getting very efficient at the technique when it comes to fighting. There's some people believe in strength and conditioning as the primary. They think that that's more important than anything.
Right.
Like there's a school of thought like the Marv Marinovich school of thought, which was you already know how to fight, so get in insane shape.
Right.
And so he had guys doing these crazy plyometrics and all this different jumping boxes and
Right,
stuff.
right.
And they got, you know who BJ Penn is?
BJ Penn?
BJ Penn.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
One of the
yes,
greatest fighters of all time.
Yes.
And BJ's in his prime. BJ was training with Marinovich's. So
Okay.
he was just doing these unbelievably brutal cardio workouts
Yeah,
every
yeah,
day
yeah.
and almost no martial arts.
Interesting.
And then he would go and have a gas tank that was off the charts.
Right.
When you got a guy who's already as talented as BJ with zero fear of getting tired,
Right,
he
right.
was the GOAT.
Yeah.
There was if there's a fighter that I'd ever want to see, it'd be Khabib Nurmagomedov in his prime versus BJ Penn
Hell
in
yeah.
those years in the Marinovich
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
BJ
yeah.
Penn was a motherfucker, man.
That was the.
He was a motherfucker. Woo!
I did have an era actually. My little brothers were much more into UFC shit, but the Penn era, I was in there a little bit. Like we would we'd go to Buffalo Wild Wings at White Marsh Mall, me and my brothers, and we would watch UFC shit. But that's the last. That's my last, frame of reference. Like I don't catch up with it. I'm not with it as much anymore. But it was
BJ
sick.
Penn was so unusual that he won the 155-pound title, he won the 170-pound title, and he fought heavyweight.
That's
he
fucking
fought
wild.
Lyoto Machida as a heavyweight.
that is fucking insane.
Bro,
Off the plyometrics.
gangster.
Yeah. You think
He's
he could
just
take Katie?
gangster. He fought when he fought Lyoto, he wasn't even doing that stuff.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing that was pre-prime BJ.
Yeah.
That was when he would just fucking train.
Yeah.
And he just ate. He's like, fuck it, I'll fight anybody. and Lyoto Machida was like a UFC light heavyweight champion at one point in time.
Yeah.
This is before the UFC, but Lyoto was still a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
BJ fought him at heavyweight.
I
It's
do love
bonkers.
that. I love when a guy at the end of towards the end just kind of gets a little fat, doesn't give a fuck. That's the coolest.
That makes me sad.
I love it, dude.
That makes me
I
sad,
love
'cause I
Tony
don't-
Gwynn, fat as shit, still fucking never striking out. It was awesome.
That's different.
Yeah.
Baseball is different
I
than
guess you're
fighting.
right than combat sports.
Yeah, combat sports, when guys don't want to do it anymore, they got to stop.
Yeah.
Because there's a 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing that happens.
and you just get your shit.
And then
rocked.
some young guy comes up or young gal comes up and he or she fucks you up.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes. These kids that are coming up, they're fucking unburdened by life.
yeah.
They've only been alive for 22
Fully.
years.
Yeah.
They have fucking unbelievable bodies that recover quickly.
Right.
And if they train well, and also they grow up learning it on television and watching it on YouTube. They're seeing martial arts from the time they're little kids. So all these techniques, so they're practicing when they're fucking around with their friends.
And there's nothing cooler than dethroning a legend either.
Nothing cool.
So they're coming at you with everything.
Yeah,
And
everybody
you-
wants
yeah.
to be Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson was 20 years old. He wins
Yeah.
the heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody's like, whoa,
Fully.
what the fuck?
No one wants to be Mike Tyson getting knocked out.
No one wants
You
to be
know?
Tyson
Yeah.
when he retired.
But I think it was
in his
90.
later
Was
career.
it February 11th, 1990? Because it was a year after I was born. It was when he The
When he lost to Buster Douglas?
Yes, the Buster Douglas fight.
But even after the Buster Douglas fight, he was still Mike Tyson. People were
Yeah.
still terrified of him.
he was just like a little resting on his laurels, you know.
Well,
fucking
he-
the maid. That's the best story of
He
all
was out
time.
of control. I mean,
Yeah.
he'll tell you what he was doing. I mean, he was out of fucking control.
Yeah.
You know, he fought on drugs. He fought sick. He was sick. Like he had when he knocked out Michael Spinks, he had some sort of venereal disease. No bullshit. Dude, Mike Tyson in that era,
Dick leaking.
It's
just fucking throwing haymakers.
you gotta think like part of the reason why he was so good was because he was so wild. But
Yeah.
also, if he wasn't, if he just maximized his insane potential and was like a
Yeah.
Marvin Hagler type guy,
Right.
who just did nothing but train and trained in solitude, and yet only had his eyes on the prize, only had his eyes on beating the best in the world.
I just don't think
It was a
some guys
different
are
person.
wired. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
different
Exactly.
person.
It's like, and you lose that essence. I think fully, it's like
Maybe.
he's one or the. I know what you mean. It's nice to think about it as like a video game, and it's like just run him through a.
Right.
He's your creative character, and it's like, but the same guy who had that kind of power, he needed to fucking ask the housekeeper to suck him off. You know what I mean? Like when they kept. That's my favorite story about when they were like, "You can't go out, Mike. You got it," and he just fucked the maids, and it was just like that's who he
Hilarious.
fucking was, and it's like, yeah, that's the guy who's gonna fight with gonorrhea.
Yes.
and he's still gonna knock you out. He
Yeah, in
can't-
one round.
Yeah,
Knocks out Michael Spinks, who's
Yeah.
the all-time great light heavyweight,
fully.
who had just beat Larry Holmes. Yeah, Tyson in his that's what everybody wants to be. You want to be that young, upsurging phenom, like
Yeah.
BJ was when BJ was in his
For
youth
sure.
too. It was the same kind of thing when he was coming through the ranks. He was this young upstart.
But nothing feel. I mean, that's what you want because that zenith is so high, like that moment when you're fucking taking it. But it's like, I don't know, man. Wouldn't you rather just have the what would you rather the glory, the like and then the fall, or would you want to just get the glory and maintain is probably the best thing, right? That's what you want to be.
Yeah.
But if you had to choose one or the other, I'm really into I'm reading the Iliad. I'm really into the Trojan War shit right now, and it's like Achilles had that thing where they were like, you have two options. You can be a short life, but you're the most fucking big dick warrior of all time. Everyone will be scared of you. You'll go down in the history books forever. Or a long life, no one's ever heard of you. You're happy. You have kids, and he obviously chooses that. He chooses like, fuck yeah, dude, let's go fuck some shit up. and then he's the fucking man. He's so cool. But then in the Odyssey, Odysseus has to go to like Hades, and he finds Achilles, and he's like, I fucked up, dude. This fucking sucks. I hate being dead. I wish I was fucking a grandfather. I wish I was back in the village. And it's just like, you want that thing, but you never. I don't know, man. It's sometimes you just think like I'm thinking about that now with comedy, where it's like, fuck, dude, this is cool. I'm getting the fucking, my special one. Well, I'm getting to sell some tickets, but I'm on the road constantly. It's what I dreamed of when I was 19, and I'm like, damn, I'm just kind of.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I'm getting fat as shit. I'm fucking. It's hard to stay healthy. I'm tired all the time. Which again, I'm not complaining. This is my dream, but it's like there's got to be a balance between like, fucking selling out everything to get the thing, because then shit comes after that.
Right.
And there's so many stories of people that get what they want, and I mean Tyson is a pretty good example where it's like he was still Mike Tyson, but he never reached those heights, and it completely fucked his personal life up, obviously.
Obviously.
And so that's the thing where it's like you got to think like there's got to be a balance.
The
Between
thing
it.
about combat sports, though, that is really fascinating to me is I think it ignites in us that same weird instinct to conquer, but it does so in like an agreed upon manner instead of doing
Right.
so through war.
Right.
It's like a great way to avoid war.
For sure.
Because like how many of these guys who would be dominant MMA fighters, if they were living 500-600 years ago, they would be dominant warriors.
Right,
Like
right.
almost all of them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
society has figured out a way through things like football, which was initially created for that.
Yeah.
Like football was literally created as a sport to
Blow off
sort of
some steam.
simulate. Wasn't it? Didn't we go over that before?
like
That
ground
football
war.
was invented to sort of simulate war.
I mean, couldn't you say
Can we
that
find
about?
that? Let's find that with the article because I don't want to fuck that story up because it's an interesting story
Yeah.
about the origins of football. But there's a thing when you watch like a guy win a world title fight.
Yeah.
There's a thing when you watch two of the best in the world fight. where everyone gets to watch.
Right.
And these guys who are the wildest and craziest of our population get to do this thing, which is akin to combat.
Fully.
It's like physical combat with no weapons, but your own body.
Yeah.
Use that as a weapon, and then see who knows how to do that better, and you do it in front of the world.
Yeah, I mean that is the ancient shit of like single combat, right? Where it's like each culture, or if you wanted to avoid a war, we pick our best guy and we fuck each other up. And there is a feeling of that, definitely, especially when it's clashes of cultures, right? When it is like Khabib and it is fucking, Conor, whatever. It's like these guys from completely different places, and it almost feels like that's what's cool about the World Cup. Obviously, it's not combat sports, but there is something sick where you're just like, these countries, this means so much to them.
So much to them.
And these people, like, they got eliminated, but Japan and Korea, if they had won, they would have played each other in the fucking World Cup. And it's like, Korea would have fucked Japan. Like, they're so mad. I mean, that's their oppression. You know what I mean? Like, Japan fucked Korea up. You know what I mean? And it's like those ancient rivalries, like England and France fought each other for thousands of years. You know what I mean? It's like, there is something fucking awesome about, and whenever like a third world country plays America, you don't think they want to fuck America up and be like, fuck you, or you got all the money in the world, we don't give a fuck.
We know you put our dictator in power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We know you orchestrated a coup.
Come on, dude. My uncle was the democratically elected guy's fucking minister of the press. He got assassinated too. You gotta go, motherfucker. Yeah, this is for the CIA. Take this goal's for the CIA.
Yeah, I mean, it's like war proxy.
It's cool.
What was that article? What you highlighted something?
No, it's a tradition of it. I don't know that it was an official mandate or anything.
A deeper connection was claimed during both world wars, football as a training ground for soldiers and officers, the game as a mimic war requiring cool thinking, self-sacrifice, and physical courage. So at least in some ways, it's obviously from that, it's like a proxy.
Yeah,
it's like a thing that you can do. You could do that instead of war, or maybe it can help you practice for war.
Sure.
But that's
especially back then when world wars could pop off at any time.
Any time.
Maybe you can't,
That's the thing with combat sports too. It's all of it is, it's the same thing. It's like it's just a way. There's a thing that people have inside of them they want to conquer. Yeah. And women want to do it too. They want to do it socially.
For sure.
And it's and some women physically, the ones that you want to fuck.
Yeah, conquer me.
It's a weird thing that we have in us, and it makes you wonder if people hadn't figured out sports and hadn't figured out games.
Yeah.
How much would we be fucking each other up? It seems like that's what people are designed to do. And all these other things that we do that all the other animals don't do are probably the thing that's allowed us to become what we are.
Right.
It's probably the things that have allowed us to figure out civilization.
You blow off
we figured out
steam.
ways, to get along. Like, let's play with a ball.
Right.
Let's I'm gonna hit this ball instead of your fucking head.
Right. I'm not gonna sneak in.
Think about it, a bat is a fucking club. It's a total weapon. It's like instead of your fucking head, which I want to hit, let's use coconuts.
I'm gonna pretend it's the I'm gonna pretend you're fucking nuts or this coconut.
Yeah. And they said back to them, there was this, now I think we researched this too, but goddamn, that marijuana's ruining my memory.
Respect, by the way. This is such a great racket.
About
just get high as shit and be like, what was that fucking meme I saw? Was that an article?
In the Mayan, that Mayan football game, they used to have a football game, and
which is like football and a little like lacrosse. It was like kind of a
you
little
had
mix.
to like knock it through like a hole.
Yeah.
And there was also talk that sometimes they used a human head.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that was folklore or true. And then there was another thing that I read that I never could remember if this is accurate, that the winning team would be sacrificed.
Whoa. That's fucking sick.
Go
to the gods, a winner.
That'd be a long-ass game where people keep missing the ball. What is it, Jamie?
This article about it says, for instance, did the game's winners and losers get sacrificed at the end of the game? The answer to both questions is no.
No, so it's all bullshit.
Players are likely not sacrificed.
But what if they were? That'd be cool.
Wasn't meant to go through the hoop.
Dude, it wasn't? No. What is the hoop for?
But that game was really violent.
Oh, fuck.
What is that? There's like a hoop, right?
It says although it likely happened from time to time.
This is sick, dude.
That's not what it was for.
Oh, okay.
The article.
happens
So it's
from
like
time to
extra
time.
points?
It's like Harry Potter.
It's
It's
just
like
if you would have
Quidditch.
been horrible.
It's all about catching the little gold thing. That's what I
it
never
would have been
understood.
horrible if your best players were sacrificed. So they would have to find new players all the time. You know?
Well,
that's
maybe
so
they
funny.
just did that
Yeah.
because they have too many dudes that wanted to go to war.
Yeah,
and
that's
there wasn't
true.
any wars going on.
Yeah.
They said, listen, we got to kill off some of these fuckheads. I know what to do.
I also think every ancient tradition is just some insecure guy was in power. So maybe it was like there's a stud, just this fucking big dick stud who's been winking at the chief's wife, and he's like, guess what, dude? You get to go see God because you're so good at sports. We're gonna fucking kill you, and it's like so that your wife doesn't get fucked.
Well, how many dudes did they make fight to the death with swords for that?
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
You know, some
100%.
fucking the mountain guy.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
your wife is hanging around, and you're the king just because you say so.
Right,
Like that guy
right,
could
right,
just
right,
fucking
right.
mush your head.
I know.
So you
had
make
to
them
kill
fight
him.
to the death.
Yeah, makes sense.
I guarantee that's probably how they did a lot of those
Everything,
things
dude.
back then.
Every tradition, why do you think every religion has a little hat that covers the bald spot? Because some fucking guy, 4,000. I think Yarmulke's
Yes,
100%.
100%.
100%. The guy was insecure about his bald spot. He's like, God said we actually have to cover this.
All of us.
Yeah, all of it.
Everyone.
Even you with the beautiful hair, Joseph.
People with the best fucking hair ever. Like Jamie from Yellowstone.
Yeah,
just
dude.
thick manes of hair.
Sorry, bud.
Tough shit.
Put it in the
wear
cap.
the hat. God wants you to wear a fucking hat.
100%.
How about the Pope gets to wear one like a fish's head?
Yeah,
What's that
dude.
one? What the fuck is that?
That
one?
one's sick. I don't know what it's called.
Imagine, like when you should kind of get suspicious when
Yeah.
your guy can't dress like regular people.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a cult, if you're in a
Right.
religion, when the dude shows up dressed like a wizard, you should go, "Hey,
Hey,
is this on the level?"
Do we get one of those golden staves?
Look at this cat. Look at this cat. Look at
I
this
mean,
cat.
that's
He's
fucking
got a
sick.
golden staff, a
Yeah.
golden helmet.
So we don't get those, huh? Just to him.
Bro, look at that hat. This is the new Pope. The new Pope is more chill. See,
He's a
his
little
shit
more
is
chill.
silver. Notice how his shit is
He's
silver.
humble, yeah,
Look
yeah.
at it. Looks like a peasant made it, like an artist's rendering.
Yeah.
It
No,
doesn't-
this
The other one was like, look at the old guy, Ratzinger.
Bartholomew.
That fucking Ratzinger guy.
Oh, yeah,
The
that
guy who
guy.
had to step down. He's got a.
Because he was probably fucking his like attendant or something.
What does it have? Like gold stars? Yeah. Well, he was.
Didn't he like retire?
No,
'Cause
no,
he
no.
had-
He was responsible for moving pedophiles. And moving without reporting them, moving them to
How does
new
that make him different
places?
from any other fucking?
Well, because
pope?
one of them he did where he moved this guy and he went on to molest 100 deaf kids.
100 deaf kids.
100 deaf
Jesus
kids. They
Christ,
moved him
dude.
to some place like a school that takes care of deaf kids.
Damn.
They would just move people, man. The fact that that's a real thing.
That's insane.
And that we all know about
and
it.
then deaf. You couldn't you moved him to the deaf kids.
Wouldn't be able to say anything about it.
He's
They
sneaking
wouldn't
up
know
on
about-
him? Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, that's brutal.
How many fucking stories?
200.
200
damn.
deaf kids?
Get his numbers right.
Oh my
Get his
God.
numbers right, dude.
200 kids were.
The Will Chamberlain of molestation.
Wow. Several American bishops repeatedly warned them that failure to act in this matter could embarrass,
the church. Oh, God forbid the church
Embarrass
gets
the church.
embarrassed.
Jesus Christ. According to church files newly unearthed as part of the lawsuit. Embarrass us.
Embarrass
hey,
us, dude.
Mikey, you're fucking too many
Come
kids.
on, dude.
This is embarrassing.
Come on. This is like when I slip on my shoelaces.
Yes.
This is like-
This is embarrassing.
Oh, you sucked off 800 little boys. Well, I got some egg on my face.
I spilled coffee in my lap on my way to work. It's embarrassing.
That's so fucked.
What the fuck,
I know.
man?
I can't believe I don't mean to sound like hack college, freshman year of college atheist shit here, but it's like they do that. How are you going to be in a church? How do you go to a fucking church every week when it's like the Pope was just shifting guys around and giving him, not only shifting around, putting him to the most molestable kids. He put him into the deaf kids. He didn't put it to like the fucking the school for like jacked children where they could defend themselves.
So what do you think that is? You think it was just always a part of the church? Like, and people just started talking about it later in life?
Fully. 100%.
So how does one church get so connected to that?
Well, I just think because
Priest guilty of abusing deaf children in Argentine school. So this is in 2019.
ridiculous.
Recently, yeah.
19.
The previous one was like 10, 12 years ago. This is
Oh,
recent.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I think if you look at the history of the fucking Catholic Church, they were like, popes were like poisoning each other and fucking all the time. And it's like, even the thing where priests can't have kids, it's like, you look at that and it's like, were they just trying to not cover benefits? Like that's my sincere guess is that the Pope at the time was trying to save money because it's like truly that's really what I think, and like because like the Greek Orthodox Church, not saying we don't have fucking no one fucks. I mean, I'm sure a couple guys fuck kids, but it's like you get to have a wife in the Greek Orthodox Church, but the church covers your like family's living expenses and shit. And I really think like the Catholic Church was just like nah.
I think the origin of it was the priests were like rock stars. Because if you think about if priests could fuck whoever they wanted to,
he's blinged out. They look like Migos. They got the necklaces.
They look like rock stars. They're the ones who get to talk in front of everybody, and they have a special relationship with God.
Oh,
and
God told me you have to suck me off. Actually, I saw it in a vision.
And you got to realize, like, up until like when was Martin Luther? Whenever that was,
the Protestant
there's
Revolution.
a great Dan Carlin hardcore history on that, on Martin Luther. And so he was the first guy to make the Bible interpret it phonetically so that people could read it.
Yeah.
Because everybody was just like...
It was in Latin and no one read Latin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is in 1507. So think about that. And then up until 1507... you just had to listen to the priest.
Yeah.
You had to trust that what he was... So that guy's a rock star.
Yeah.
He's decked out like a wizard. He's standing in front of everyone with a golden cane, and I bet he's fucking everybody.
And he probably gets to bathe. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, he probably is like... When we think about who's hot in the ancient world, it's like they probably just got to take a bath. You know, like fucking... like, you know, all... Helen of Troy or whatever, right? I guarantee you she just was a lady that like bathed.
Yeah, she smelled good.
She just didn't smell like dog shit. Like that's really it. Because it's like think about what a peasant looked like, how fucked up their skin was. Like every hot girl I know today has a 12-step skincare routine.
Right.
Imagine like not only that, you don't even have water to wash your face. You're out in the fucking fields. So imagine these priests. They get a little water. They get to bathe every once in a while. They get to go. You're right.
And no sunscreen.
I didn't even think.
Your face is fucked by the time you're 27.
Forget about it.
For another 400 years after that, though, the Mass was in Latin, so you had to know Latin to understand what was even happening.
Wow. For 400 years after that, until what year?
About somewhere in the 70s or 85, depending on where.
Oh,
where
my
your church
God.
switched.
That makes sense.
But you could still read the Bible.
That totally
at that
makes
point,
sense.
Right?
You could read the Bible, but that guy's still talking this voodoo language, dressed like a wizard.
Yeah.
And then if you go to the Vatican, dude, that's the real eye-opener.
Oh, yeah.
I went to the Vatican on an edible.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
And when I was walking around the Vatican, it kicked in while I was there.
Yeah.
So I took it, and then I'm walking around, and as I'm walking around, I'm going, this is all a pedophile cult's booty.
Absolutely.
Like all their pirate booty.
100%.
Like if you really think about how many people have been involved in these pre-scandals, like what is the number?
Oh my God. Throughout like history, God knows.
God knows.
Yeah.
Imagine that with any other thing. Imagine that with carpenters. Every time you got your house built, your kids got fucked.
Look, the fucking deck is pretty good though, huh?
You gotta keep
like
the
grilling out here
away from your kids. Don't ever let the carpenters babysit your kids. Imagine that would be fucking insane. We'd be like, we gotta abolish carpenters.
Sorry,
everyone's
we're
gonna
getting
learn how to
shelves.
build their own house. But it's when things are like a part of society for a long enough time, and we grow up with them, we just accept them as being like a normal thing. Not that anyone's normalizing abuse, but everybody.
They were though. I mean, the Catholic Church was doing that.
If you say Catholic priest, people think abuse.
100%.
It's a instant connection.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're all doing it. I'm sure most of them are absolutely not
Most of
doing
them
it.
aren't, but a couple
most of them are great people.
A couple of them are putting up some real numbers, some real molestation numbers.
Look at this. The Vatican revealed Tuesday that it over the past decade has defrocked 848 priests who raped or molested children and sanctioned another 2,572 with lesser penalties, providing the first ever breakdown of how it handled more than 3,400 cases of abuse reported to the Holy See since 2004. See, imagine that with any other business, any other industry.
I know.
Self-help.
Yeah.
You know, it's like every time you went to a trader, they fucked your kid.
Yeah.
This is insane.
I know, dude.
It's and it's a real thing. It's like people are going to get mad at us for even bringing it up.
I know.
But it's like, how can you get mad at something that's so insane?
That's my favorite. When they asked Bill Burr about that clip is the funniest thing where they're like, don't you think you went a little too far with the Catholic Church jokes? And he was like, don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? It's like, that's it right there. It's
that's it right
ridiculous.
there. It's perfect. Well, that's a perfect Bill Burr line. Want some coffee?
I'm good, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, man. But it's
But
kind
that's
of.
why I do fuck with the Orthodox, because they got it set up. It's like
It's a
you get
better
a
setup.
wife. That way, you can't get married if you want to go high up in the church. So it's like they got
Well, that's
maybe
another scam.
yeah, maybe a couple.
That's so gay guys can keep running everything.
It's like, look,
They're probably the ones that figure it out.
it is like a very, especially back in the day, if you were a gay guy, and I'm not equating being gay with like molesting children. I'm just saying, if you're a gay guy, the other parts of the church are pretty sick. You're blinged out, right?
Right.
You're in a
Nice
society
style.
where you can't be gay, openly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, fuck it. If I can't get married, if I can't be who I am, I'll just take sex out of the equation fully, right? So you got to think like, yeah, dude, get some cool gold encrusted, ruby encrusted loafers. Get me the fucking hat. And let me run shit. You know what I mean?
I've always equated being involved in the Catholic Church when I was a kid to like sadness and depression.
yeah,
Because I went to
fucks
it.
your Sunday
Did you go to
up.
Catholic school at all?
I went to Orthodox, so
Oh,
I went to
okay,
Sunday
right.
school. Yeah,
Greek Orthodox,
Greek
right.
Orthodox. Yeah. Oh fuck! By the way,
But that wasn't as guilt-ridden as Catholic school, was it?
dude. Greek people don't give a fuck. It's
That's
awesome.
nice.
We
That's nice.
like my dad would be like, "You got to go to church," and I'd be like, "Why?" He's like, "Cause I had to." That's it. There's no like deep spiritual meaning. There's no God told me to. It's just like I had to do it, motherfucker. You're going, and then you go to Sunday school, and it's just like, yeah, Jesus was pretty. It's just like your friend's
Normal
older
stuff.
sister, and we got to miss church to be in Sunday school. So it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I'll go in a little classroom and fuck around with my friends and hear about Jesus instead of like sitting in church like an asshole.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, that's probably the attitude that you get from people that are allowed to get married and have kids. And so
Yeah.
you could be like a normal person and also be a priest.
Yeah, and you're a real part of the community. Like you
Yeah.
grow up with the priest's kid, and it's like
Yeah.
they experience real shit. That's another thing. It's so weird to go to somebody for like guidance on your marriage, and it's like he hasn't gotten his dick sucked in 48 years.
There was a kid I knew when I was in high school, and he was a really sweet guy, but he's pretty obviously gay. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, when I was a kid, I lived in San Francisco.
He was
I
because he was a really
around
good
a lot
kisser.
of. He was.
You could tell.
Well, he tasted like dick. Every time we kissed.
Every time he sucked you
Stop
off, you're like,
lying.
"This is really good. You must be gay."
I mean, I don't know if he was gay, but
Sure.
I would not be shocked if
Yes,
he was.
yes.
And I was always weirded out. I'm like, is this guy like reading so much religion because he wants to get rid of these feelings?
Yeah. I think that happens for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely think that happens.
He became a priest. I don't know what happened to that, but we were all like, "Rrr." Like everybody who
Yeah.
knew him was like, "Rrr." A couple people were like, that's great. He's
It'll
gonna be
cure him.
He's gonna be Father Bill now.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I was, my sister and I were like,
Yeah,
poor
yeah.
guy.
I know.
Especially because, like I said, like when from age 7 to 11, I lived in San Francisco. Like gay people were it was just normal.
Yeah,
it
of
was
course.
It was so common.
Yeah.
So I grew up that way.
Totally.
And then, but moving to Florida in particular, and then again moving to Boston.
Yeah.
I realized like, God, a lot of people get like real bummed out if their kid's gay.
Yeah.
And
Back
it
in the
seemed
day, for
like this
sure.
dude was just. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe he was just really into religion. But
Yeah.
for a fucking 17-year-old
that's-
to be
that-
really, really, really into religion and
That-
like
yeah.
carrying a Bible everywhere and reading it everywhere.
Fully.
Maybe that's like changing him and giving him power and
Still. But even still, I think anyone at that age, it's like you don't want to lock yourself into something you can't get out of, right? And it's like maybe he was very into religion, but maybe, that was just a coping mechanism. And when he really sat and thought about who he was or whatever, it's like he didn't want to be it. But then you're a fucking priest and there's all this pressure. And then since you've been studying, there's all this religious guilt and shit. And you probably stay into it.
Yeah.
And I feel, obviously you feel bad if somebody, we're just speculating here, but if he did get trapped in that kind of shit, that's tough.
it's tough.
I mean, it's the same reason fucking kids shouldn't, like, why student debt is such a, like, bullshit situation. Because it's like, yeah, you have some 17-year-old kid who's like, I want to be a marine biologist. And then he goes and he's like, oh, I can't do math. I'm dumb as shit. And now I owe $40,000.
A lot more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only debt you can't get out of.
He's so fucked up.
It's so fucked
so
up.
fucked
To saddle kids with that, like
So
literal children, 17-year-olds,
Yeah.
18-year-olds with that is so nuts because you can get out of everything.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Do you think Sam Bankman-Fried is going to have to pay $8 billion or whatever the fuck is missing?
Yeah.
He's not going to have to pay that.
Did you see this that Sager did? This piece about Ivy League. I think it was.
No, let's
Columbia.
play it because he's awesome.
Well, he was repeating Malcolm Gladwell's thing. It's a perpetual motion thing.
Well, why does it? We'll get a sense of it.
Of learning in the U.S. have long departed their mission statements. They are effectively recession-proof industries set up to bilk the federal government and students while funding a pernicious ideology that is spreading across our higher elite like cancer. At the root of it is a rigged financial system. These industries beclown themselves because they can. They can because students pay. But more so, they don't even really need the students to pay anymore. It has become increasingly clear in the size of university endowments, which Malcolm Gladwell recently revealed as a scam of epic proportions, focusing his laser on Princeton University. Princeton is the world's first perpetual motion machine, Gladwell writes. At the heart of his argument is this, quote, after a stellar year in 2021, Princeton University has an endowment of $37.7 billion. Over the past 20 years, the average annual return for the endowment has been 11.2%, which puts Princeton's return next year at roughly $3.77 billion. He continues, now what is Princeton's annual operating budget? That would be $1.86 billion. The arithmetic is not hard. $3.7 billion in investment minus $1.86 in operating still leaves you with $1.91 billion, leading him to conclude what? Quote, Princeton could let every student in for free. The university administrators could tell the U.S. government and all of its agencies, it's cool. We got this. They could take out the cash registers in their cafeteria. They could hand out free parking to all visitors. They could give away Princeton sweatshirts on Nassau Street. They could fire their entire accounts receivable staff and their entire funding staff tomorrow. In fact, his team even put together this handy little chart. Princeton has been not just doing this recently, but for nearly 2 decades. On a year-by-year basis, their endowment return, just the return, nearly exactly equals or surpasses the entire operating budget of the whole school, meaning no student would ever need to be charged tuition again. Or you could imagine a world where students pay much, much less. Also, as you can guess, this is not just the case with Princeton University. It's the case with almost every Ivy League institution in this entire country, whose endowments in some cases surpass, and I'm not kidding, the GDP of small African nations. With this mountain of wealth, why are they not doing what they were supposed to do? They were supposed to spend it on students. Instead, they simply reinvest the returns, build an ever-growing pile of cash, giving fees to money managers, all while continuing to raise tuition precipitously, even when you're all giving them is freaking Zoom school. Tuition at Princeton right now is $80,000 a year. Let it sink in. That is 10 grand more than the average U.S. household income annually. Which brings us to the tax code. Now, look.
Yeah, that's good enough.
I
but
mean,
Jesus Christ, what a scam.
Ivy Leagues in general, it's like they're like, and that's, I mean, I think education should be free. I think you should be able to go to college for free. I think we should forgive student debt, all that kind of shit. But it is Ivy Leagues in general. It's like so fucked because they have the money.
Well, I think it would be wise if we gave it available to citizens. Like, what would be the harm in that? They wouldn't work hard to get it because it doesn't cost anything.
Well,
Maybe some people. But,
no, that's ridiculous.
But people need to figure out how it's not about that. Like you just because it's coming to you for free. Like this is a unique opportunity.
For sure,
you could actually learn something. You can get ahead in this life.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I think college should be free. I think or you shouldn't have to go to college. You should be able to go to trade schools, all that kind of shit.
Well, I think you can learn online too. I mean, there's a lot of universities. They don't offer degrees, but they offer like a lot of their courses online.
But that's also another problem with like Ivy Leagues and shit. It's like rich people just kind of like all their kids go. They can all afford to. I know so many dumbasses from Ivy Leagues, but it's like this fake prestige that it's just like, no, my family just had enough money to go. And I've had friends. I grew up in Baltimore, and I've had friends who went to like Harvard and shit, and they were like, it fucking sucked. Like if you're a poor kid going to Harvard, it's like you feel out of place. You know, everyone. It's all people, and it's just like a brutal experience. And now, he does fine. He was smart as shit. He's a doctor. He was a teacher for a while. He's just like a good person. But Yeah, I mean, I just think Ivy Leagues in general are the endowments are crazy, and it is like I think we are just fucking a generation of kids, especially when you make them feel like they have to go to school.
Well, not only that, you expose them to primarily to one ideology. And that ideology is the most aggressive, which is like woke politics.
I don't know.
So kids get that. Talk to kids that are in college. They get it crammed down their throat.
I mean, when I was in college.
How long ago was that?
You got me 15 years ago.
Different world, brother.
Yeah.
Different world from 5 years ago. Different world. We used to see some of it, and people would be like, "Why are you complaining about this? You're not in college." I'd be like, "Because that's going to spill out." That kind of crazy thinking, you just abandon that when you get your degree. Well, I was talking crazy.
Yeah.
I got off the cults. No, you're going to keep that and transfer it to whatever tech job you get.
Tech job. I don't think the problem with tech places for me is like how like every tech idea is just like, hey, why don't we just not pay anyone? Like every single like Uber's like, hey, you know how taxi cabs exist? What if like the driver can't go to the doctor? It's like every tech idea is just like a thing that exists, but it's not a living wage anymore. And some cocksucker who can code gets rich, and the taxi driver and the guy who goes and gets the grocery, they don't get any fucking money. That's my issue with tech.
Well, that's one kind of tech, yeah. But I'm reading this book now that's a fucking terrifying book. I'm not reading it. I'm listening to it, I should say.
That's all right,
should
man.
be honest, on
Hey,
audio.
Come on.
But it's called The Kill Chain. Whoops. And it's all about technology and how far behind America is in terms of military technology and our implementation of the current technology that we have available, like the highest levels like NVIDIA chips and what that's actually been used in the actual military equipment and machines. It's so behind the times. The shit that's available that's the top of the food chain.
That's what's so fucking annoying is like, where the fuck that's what I can't stand about the way America's set up is like all the money is the fucking, the army gets the money. But so how the fuck are we behind?
This is talking about how those funds, those defense funds, is a lot of what funded Silicon Valley. That it all started there like working on military intelligence and projects and they dumped tons and tons of money into this stuff. And then, if you look at like what's available now in terms of like the top fighter jets and the top, all the different equipment that they use that uses computers and they're comparing like computing power with what's available. Yeah. And China has been copying everything we do. And then the thing with like Huawei, the reason why they banned Huawei in this country, I believe they had discovered that there's a third-party access through routers. And they'd always suspected something like that, and which means that they could just steal your intellectual property. So you're over here, and you got a $1 billion grant from the government to make some artificial intelligence chip, and China's just scooping out your data.
I'm ready, dude,
and banging it out before you can.
Get me a jacked Chinese woman. I'll live under her. Whatever you want. I'm fucking in there. I'm cooking all day for her. I'm ready to be the house husband.
All right.
And talk about the magnificence of China. I can't wait. I'll be a spy. Listen, if you guys need a spy, if there's any hot Chinese Beijing bitches with big ass titties and big ass lats, I'm in.
Are you willing to get like makeup so you look Chinese?
Yeah, dude. I'll do whatever they want. Prosthetics. I'll wear a little kimono. I'll be like Stevie from Eastbound and Down. You remember that scene where do you ever watch Eastbound and Down?
I don't know. I didn't.
Dude, it's so.
I know it's so good.
Dude, it's truly the funniest show of all time. Danny McBride's hilarious. Roughhouse is fucking hilarious.
Danny McBride is a motherfucker, dude. He's funny in everything he does.
He's the fucking man.
He's the man.
But yeah, there's a scene where truly I don't know how that show is the last. They slid under just in time, but they dress him up in a little kimono and it's like insanely racist, but it's fucking hysterical. But yeah, I'll do whatever they want for me.
Will you get your feet bound?
I have fucking big feet, honestly. I have big, wide Fred Flintstone feet.
To bind them.
I don't know. How big is their technology? Yeah, there we go.
Brother. You're in.
That's me.
Just
That's
a Chinese
me. They're like, what the fuck?
powerlifter lady.
Yeah, I show up dressed like that. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'll take it off. She speaks perfect English.
Why aren't your feet bound?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do whatever the Chinese Empire asks of me.
Bro, this book is terrifying because it just talks about how disjointed the American military is and how these systems aren't communicating with each other well. And it's like, whew,
Yeah.
And about how even today, like when the pilots are sharing coordinates with like different machines and different equipment, they have to like a lot of it do it like over communication. They
so you
can't
can just
share it
steal it
straight
easy?
through. Yeah, well, it's.
Interesting.
I don't want to fuck it up because it's I'm obviously not technically aware of how they do everything, but the way this guy's explaining it is terrifying.
Well, there is. If you think about anything, there's so much to be scared of.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like
it's paralyzing.
I'm definitely in the like I'm in a little like kind of like not optimistic. Like I think shit's going bad, but I'm gonna have a good time while it's happening. That's kind of my view. It's like this is probably the last generation with air conditioning, so I'm gonna crank it. You know what I mean?
That's it?
I'm gonna have like I'm ready to go.
We're going back to caveman days.
And I would die quick.
Do you think they'll do it to us? We'll do it to each other, or something will hit us?
Ooh, hit us would be nice. Galvanize us.
Yeah,
you know, maybe we can. Maybe,
something like a big ass
Independence Day.
asteroid slams into Greenland and turns everything into fucking nuclear winter for a couple of years.
That would be almost nicer. Where it's like we're just going through our day, we're just fucking having getting jacked.
Where are you
in the
getting
gym.
food?
Huh? Afterwards? I'm dead. No, I'm dead. You misunderstand me. I mean, let's die. Let's go down like the fucking dinosaurs. You've probably got a bunker. You're good. Yeah, I'm
if,
gone.
If the asteroid comes, I want it to hit me in the face.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm climbing a mountain to make sure.
If you survive that, I mean, I'm sure you'd want to survive if you were alive. That's the human instinct. But if you go back to like, that movie The Road, if shit gets to like that point,
no.
Why?
Killing myself.
I don't want to live like that. I like living like this. I'm spoiled.
100%.
I'm spoiled. I live in a world where people are nice to each other. They wave when you let them into traffic.
Yeah.
I like that.
If I don't get the wave, I'm pissed.
Bro, I don't want to live like the Northmen.
Yeah, dude.
Did you see that movie? The Viking movie?
It was sick.
Hardcore.
That was fucking awesome.
That was a great fucking movie. I can't believe that movie didn't get as much love as it deserves.
Yeah, that guy's great.
Because you know what they didn't do? They didn't modernize it at all.
Yeah.
There was there was no like modern heroes. No modern,
Fully.
Yeah, it was.
Well, he does a great job. That director did The Witch, and and he did The Lighthouse, and he loves like making sure everything is like period. I love The Witch too. That was a fucking sick movie.
The Witch was sick, and The Lighthouse is pretty bizarre too.
Yeah, no, he's a fucking sick director. His name is escaping me, but yeah, I love
What's
that
his
shit.
name?
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers.
He fucking rules. That yeah.
He rules. That he did a fucking fantastic job with The Northman. It was like perfect amount of like fantasy and reality and the brutal reality of like the way they fought. There was nothing unrealistic about it.
In the beginning when they're just fucking up like women and children,
Jesus
you're like, yeah,
Christ.
this is what the Vikings were like.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of fucking people did throughout human history.
Dude,
the Mongols did it.
It's crazy because I'm on a big history kick, and I'm reading about like I was like I'm on the Trojan War tip a little bit on some Greek. I'm reconnecting with my roots a little bit, but I also
You got some badass roots, brother.
Ancient Greece.
The
fucking
Greeks?
rules. Yeah.
Come on, son. You
Yeah.
come from one of the most important histories in all of the human race.
No, it's the best. Yeah.
They did some wild shit in your country.
Truly. No, it's fucking awesome. But you think about, and I'm also fascinated by medieval times, and you just think about like all the history that we learn is about like, oh, this king fucked this king up, and this.
Yeah.
But it's like, and they always just kind of gloss over like, and the army raided the countryside, and it's like, imagine being the fucking assholes on the countryside outside of the city. You're outside Athens, you're outside of Troy, whatever. You just get fucked like every 10 years when some asshole, some rich asshole, some guy with running water, he gets to decides he wants to fuck up your town. He just comes through, steals your shit, takes your fucking wife, kills your son, and you just have to like, now you fucking get turnips for him. or he kills you too. It's just like I think about how fucked up it would have been to just be a peasant that's
you become
caught
a
in
slave.
between this shit.
Yeah.
And it's like you're just a piece of property that gets like who you have to pay taxes to changes every 20 years, and every 20 years they come in and just fuck, just fuck rape everyone, take all your gold.
Well, that was what people liked about Game of Thrones too. Like Game of Thrones, they were behaving like we would expect them to behave if they lived in this dimension.
Yeah. Oh, fully. It was brutal and all that.
Horrible.
Kind of
there was no like heroes. There was no unrealistic modern Marvel movie heroes.
Yeah.
Everyone was flawed and full of chaos. It was just all horrible.
That's what I love about Greek mythology. It's just like you look at their gods and you know what a fucked up society it was. Zeus is he's God, right?
Yeah.
And God, it just tells you what Greek people are like, because God is a guy who cheats on his wife constantly. Like that's his whole big thing. Zeus and Hera are like a fucking sitcom where it's like, oh honey, like that kind of. He's just like, oh, you don't get mad at me, and he just sneaks out and like takes the form of a swan and fucks a woman, and then like comes back, and she's like, were you getting pussed? And he's like, no, it's just like that was our God, like the main God. He couldn't stop getting side pussy. It's like that's what our society, that's what our ancient society was built on. He would like become a bull and just see a cow that looked hot. He wouldn't even just fuck people. He would fuck hot animals. It was just like and that's like the cornerstone of Greek mythology.
Wow.
Like all the heroes are like half the heroes are people that Zeus just fucked. Hercules.
Where do you think those stories came from? Where do you think the stories obviously they were told for so long before anybody wrote them down.
For sure.
Where do you think they came from?
I think, just like everything else, it's like it's people trying to make sense of a crazy and chaotic world. You know what I mean? And it's just like people are just like, I think they just lived in a society where that's what their rulers were like. So that's what Zeus was going to be like.
That's what makes people join cults. That's what makes people woke. That's what makes people everything. You want to make sense. You want to put order to things.
Fully. And I will say I like Greek mythology because it's really like, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's
so fascinating.
And how many different fucking gods and shit did they have? Like,
how many gods were there?
The main ones, there was 12 main gods of Mount Olympus, but it was like there's demigods and like half, and like lesser gods, and there's like hundreds. And it's like, it's this thing of like, that's what I really like is that Greek mythology, it's like, monotheism, it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of boring. You know what I mean? It's like there's one God. Sometimes, there's three of, the Holy Spirit, the Jesus, all that kind of shit. But it's like polytheism is fucking sick because it's like there's just a God of fucking getting fucked up. Like there's just a God that's like Dionysus. He was the God of having a good ass time. That guy fucking rules, dude. That was my guy.
Wow.
There's like a hunter god. Athena is this interesting, like she's the goddess of wisdom. And
Who's the hunter god?
What the fuck? I'm blanking on her. It's a woman though. But there's like a guy, Ares obviously, or Ares the god of war.
They had a lot of badass female gods.
Athena, Artemis. That's right.
Artemis in Greek religion is the goddess of wild animals, the hunt and vegetation, and of chastity.
Yeah.
And childbirth. She was identified by the Romans with Diana. Artemis was the daughter of Zeus and Leto, and the twin sister of Apollo.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Zeus fucked like every goddess and just made other goddesses, and like Athena, just came out of his head. So that's the interesting thing. It's like she was the wisdom of God was just like came out of his head, and now it's just all into one lady. It's so fascinating.
Have you ever heard of Brian Muraresku in the book called The Immortality Key?
No.
It's an amazing book, and this guy dedicated like more than a decade of his life to studying ancient Greece and the use of psychedelics in wine.
Oh, hell yeah.
And they've opened up a field of study at Harvard because of this.
Fuck yeah.
Because of this guy's work. Like, he's a legitimate scholar and
rules.
dedicated his time to this.
Yeah.
And he's like a straight edge guy. He doesn't do drugs.
Yeah.
And
he's not some guy's like, dude, what if they were getting fucked up, man?
I bet, man. That's me. That's the fucking source of it all, bro. No, this guy's like a legit
Professor
guy.
Rogan.
I mean, fucking what I heard.
Dude.
Eddie Bravo told me. This is like, one time I was talking.
Yeah.
But these guys found these ancient wine vessels that contained psychedelic compounds. So they found residue of ergot and a bunch of other stuff. So when they drank wine, they didn't just drink wine. They were tripping balls. They drank wine with like LSD in it, basically.
I think that's probably, so the guy I was talking about, Dionysus, the god of just getting fucked up, they would have these like huge festivals, and they would just they would have huge parties and literally orgies off wine, and I'm sure they were
100%,
because they're coming up with all these satyrs, and they're coming up with wood nymphs and mermaids and all this kind of shit, and it's like, was it a mermaid or was some guy drinking mushroom wine and he fucked a seal? You know what I mean? He's like, no, she was hot.
She was so fucking
It was a
hot.
goddess, bro. He just dug a hole in some sand and beat off into it, and he was like, yeah.
She wasn't much of a kisser.
Yeah.
Fucking a lot of the way.
Yeah, the head wasn't that great, but the pussy. They're like, sick, dude. That's awesome.
What animal has a human being not tried to fuck?
There is not.
I bet
maybe
dudes
a
have fucked
porcupine?
Crocodiles.
Crocodile? Where?
100% is a guy who fucked
Underneath?
a crocodile just to show you he could do it.
Okay, maybe that's true.
One guy just lassoed a crocodile,
It doesn't seem very
held him
appealing.
down, got hard, tied it off with a rope.
His dick like he's doing heroin just to keep it hard.
Keep it hard. Made a homemade cock ring out of fucking animal skins, cinched it down, and fucked that crocodile.
And became the chief of his village.
Yeah, you want to show people you're the boss. Like some tribes, they have to kill a lion to show that they've become a man. It's like part of like a coming of age ritual. They got to kill a lion with a fucking spear.
Yeah,
dude. Those guys would fuck a crocodile just to show you. An ostrich.
Yeah,
you got to catch an ostrich and then you got to fuck it.
A fucking ostrich pussy. I feel like
It's
they
not
got
even a pussy. They got a cloaca.
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like it's all too
a mess.
too
It's all-
spiny.
It's shit and eggs. It's everything in there.
I'm good, dude.
You got to do it. You got to show everybody who the boss is.
One time in college, we had a friend who we tried to convince him to fuck a horse. He was the horniest guy I've ever seen in my life. He was insane, dude. I won't put him on blast. I won't give any more details, but if you went to UMBC and you went with me, you know who we're talking about here. And he would just literally he had an old lady who was his neighbor, and she just came over to borrow a cup of sugar, and he was just he was 17, and he was talking about how he would beat off thinking about fucking this old lady. He was a fucking lunatic. And we were like, yo, dude, would you fuck an animal? And he was like, nah. And then he was like, what kind of animal? And then we were clearly just fucking around. And then we were like, what about? And then one of our friends lived on a farm, and he was like, we have a horse in my farm. And the guy was like, I'm not fucking a horse. And then a minute later, he's like, what does a horse pussy look like? So then we're in the fucking dorms Googling horse pussy on Google Image.
Oh my
And
God.
honestly, we found a pretty nice pic, and he was like, okay. And then he was like, I don't think so. We're like, what if we give you $100? He's like, nah. And we're like, what about $400? And he was like, all right, I'll do it. And then the guy whose horse it was like, wait, you want to fuck the horse? He was like, no. It wasn't even the guy who was going to fuck the horse that backed out. It was the guy who owned the horse.
Yeah,
So-
you don't want that to happen to your horse.
So this
The
is
horse
2000.
Never trust you again.
Yeah. Well, she was on her way out, apparently. It was an old horse.
Did you ever see Zoo? The documentary Zoo?
No.
Zoo is about this community of people that met online, and they found that there's a few states where it's legal to fuck animals, and one of them was Washington State. And they all got together and they met at this place where there's hundreds of hours of footage of them getting fucked by horses.
No!
Yes. And one guy died.
Oh, is that Mr. Hands?
Mr. Hands.
Of course,
Yeah,
the
so
legend.
that guy died. You've seen the video, right?
R.I.P. Mr. Hands, of
It's one of the greatest videos in the history of the internet. Me and Brian
You know
Redband were
what?
going back and forth, and he was sending me horrible things.
Yeah.
And then he sends me this one that says, I win.
Yeah.
And it's Mr. Hands. I was like, this is the craziest
That
fucking
was-
thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, actually, I think that's how the horse conversation started. Because I saw that video in college with this group of guys. It was probably like, well, I wouldn't get fucked by a horse, obviously, but would you fuck a horse's pussy? And I think that's maybe how we got there. Oh, God.
It's a crazy documentary because it's sort of a docudrama, right? Like they
Yeah.
kind of recreate stuff.
I
and-
see. Just
but
for
it's
entertainment.
It's enough when they do interviews and stuff, and it's enough for you to get a sense of like what was going haywire with these humans that they decided that this was their thing.
Yeah.
People can find a thing.
Absolutely.
I'm into collecting stamps.
Yeah.
You know, they find a thing.
If you happen to be, it
Some
happens
people-
to be a fucking sloth pussy.
Some people just want to get fucked by horses. That's
Somebody
a
just
thing.
wants to suck a koala's dick.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
that's crazy. But
Yeah.
there's people like that out there.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they want to fuck animals.
Yeah, I mean it is that is the closest thing we have to like a Greek slur is like, you know, goat fucker or sheep fucker
right.
or something like that.
Well, there had to be a lot of that going on with those herders.
Oh,
you're out
you're
there
out-
with no women
Come
for
on.
fucking months taking
Yeah.
care of these sheep.
Come on.
Yeah.
You're gonna give it a whirl.
Fuck yeah.
You're gonna give it a whirl. They're fluffy.
gonna.
They're cute.
Right, seems the right height too.
Right.
Everything's lining up like God meant this for me.
Yeah, Zeus did it.
Yeah.
Zeus could fuck sheep. Why not me?
Why not me, bro?
Yeah.
It's in the Bible. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Look at those fatties.
Yeah, listen.
That doesn't look half bad.
I guarantee. No ifs, ands, or buts. Guys have fucked sheep. Right? That's 100%.
Oh, dude. They're
So-
fucking sheep right now.
Right now. So what about a monkey? That's a harder.
Too
remember
unpredictable.
Chappelle's bit?
Yeah.
He had a great bit about that. You know how hard it is to fuck a monkey?
Yeah, he gets
You
it.
just picture that thing clawing you, biting your dick. Like, oh my God, a
Classic.
monkey would fuck you up.
Oh, that's the thing. Too unpredictable.
Yeah, too unpredictable.
Yeah.
What about a coyote? Anybody ever fuck a coyote? Maybe one guy, one hard-ass fucking Texas Ranger back in the day on a bet.
It would need to be 2 generations of domestication.
No, you lasso him.
You lasso him again? You and the
Lasso
lasso.
'em.
The crocodile and the
They
fucking
made a
coyote.
lasso for a reason.
Yeah, the fuck coyotes.
A lot of fucking animals. You got to hold on to them.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I never thought of it.
Why they invented the lasso?
Probably.
Ride on
50-50.
one animal and
Yeah.
catch the other one with it.
100%.
Right? And
You
then
catch
whether or
the
not
one-
you're doing it to fuck it, I think that's more like a bet.
That's
thing.
up to you.
That's like a bet or to prove a point. I don't think that's
course.
like why they invented the lasso.
Sure.
But I do think it was probably used.
It was you, for sure.
In the fucking of all animals in all history, what percentage of them involve lassos?
Not
More than 10.
I would say more. I don't know, because you got to think when the lasso was invented, you could buy some pussy at the saloon.
Well, let's find out when the lasso was
Oh,
invented.
this is good. We got to get to the
When
bottom
was
of this.
Let's take a guess.
And then we just saw
I'm gonna
those
say-
delicious sheep pussies.
Yes.
No lasso needed for those.
yeah,
I
they'll
think there's
probably
a
stay.
lot.
They probably push back. You just get them up against a
Oh.
cliff. Isn't that the idea? They would just back them to a cliff. Hey, while you're there.
You teach your sheep to throw it back.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Give them treats.
There's probably
You
a
want a
guy
carrot or
without
not?
question, dude. You're gonna work for this fucking sugar cube.
For sure. For sure. Sugar cube. Oh, that's perfect. What's up?
You got a guess?
Lasso. I'm gonna say 1500s. Lasso.
Okay.
What do you think? That's probably like way earlier than that because they rode horses.
Well, that's the
before
problem.
That.
Yeah.
So let me
yeah.
say.
What are we thinking here?
1100s. I'm gonna say 1100s.
Okay, yeah,
What do you say?
that makes sense. The steppe, the Turkic people,
Right.
they
It
were
was probably
around.
before that.
Yeah,
but-
I'll say
So
1200.
This is two answers to this. 1200 AD BC. There's like images of a pharaoh holding a lasso, holding onto a bull. But the Huns used
The Huns, baby.
lassos to ensnare opponents in hand-to-hand battle
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
in around 370 AD.
Wow. They
Damn.
used it for people first.
They probably
Jesus.
raped them.
Yeah.
Oh, they probably did. They probably did everything. But
Yeah, I guess
but
there's
those
probably
people
some
must
kind
have
of
been on
lasso.
horses.
Yeah.
So if they were on horses, how'd they get the horse?
The person using it was on a horse probably and like stop them from running away. Get
Right,
'em-
right.
to
But
get
I'm
down.
saying, how did they get the horse in the first place?
Oh,
I think
Right.
that's probably lassos. Because
You know
horses
what?
were wild.
Thinking about it now, a lasso's probably been invented for
Forever.
ancient times. Yeah.
But they probably had like 5 or 6 of them, and they
Yeah.
all like people held on until they could slow the
Although-
horse down because they didn't have a horse to ride the lasso.
Right. So going back to our original question, though, the
Is there
lasso
really an
for
original question?
The
I think it was
first
like, how
question.
many animals have people fucked? That was the original question.
The lasso. I think a lasso hasn't been used. I think most animal fucking is a matter of convenience.
I think most animal fucking is also after a murder. Like,
Oh,
well, I already
interesting.
killed it. Now it's definitely not going to
You
push
can't
back.
eat the asshole.
Yeah, it's
So
definitely
if
not going to kick me.
You think someone cleaned it all out, took the steaks off, and just left the ass? And
if-
used it like a little proto
If
pocket
you're trying
pussy?
to fuck a deer and it kicked you, you could get ruined for
Great
the rest of your
point.
life.
Great point.
You got to be careful back then. There's no doctors.
There's no doctors. Yeah.
like if you were trying to fuck an animal, you were taking a big risk.
Which thinking of it now, respect to the guys in antiquity that were fucking animals.
yeah,
That's a fucking.
because
That's
if you got hurt, if you just got scratched,
yeah.
you could get some horrible
Yeah.
staph infection.
Bacteria, forget about
Yes,
it.
man.
Yeah.
So many fucking people die. Dustin Poirier's in the hospital right now from a staph infection.
Jesus Christ.
Him and Connor are going back and forth about it on Instagram.
That's fucking hilarious.
Connor got mad because I said that his piss looked like it could melt a USADA cup, and he said it looks like my piss could melt a USADA cup too, and he's correct.
You're not fighting.
Connor, I'm not hating. You look great.
Yeah.
And by the way, he does have a legitimate reason for doing whatever the fuck he's doing, even if he's doing nothing. He broke his leg. It's a different thing. Like, just to try to heal. I had talked to this guy, Derek from More Plates, More Dates. We were discussing like what's involved in trying to heal a broken bone like that. And he's like, it is really hard, and it's very hard for people to come back because that bone always has the potential to be weaker. You've got screws in it now on a plate. Like it doesn't. He said the only way it makes it better apparently is if they put a rod through the entire bone. Then it'll actually be stronger. But that could compromise your movement.
Totally.
And also, it takes fucking forever to heal.
Yeah.
So I get it, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
That's Dustin's foot.
Oh, what the fuck?
Staph infection.
God damn,
Isn't that crazy?
dude?
And it apparently, he said it's actually looking worse. Even though they have him on all these antibiotics,
Jesus
it's not
Christ.
responding to it.
I'd rather look at the horse's pussy again. That's
Staph
brutal.
infections scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, there's no way
take
to-
care of your skin, kids.
Damn.
Get yourself some defense soap. If you're a grappler in particular, if you do MMA or anything like that, please get yourself some defense soap. It's a natural antibiotic soap, and it's probiotic. It's good for the healthy bacteria in your skin, but it kills things like staph and stuff that's going to get you sick. And they have a whole bunch of products, but they have soaps, and it's great soap. It's got like tea tree oil and eucalyptus oil. It's all natural. It doesn't fuck up your natural skin flora. But when I learned about that stuff, I gotten staph twice.
Really? Holy fuck.
Staph's scary, man.
I guess because like all the grappling and
Yeah,
shit.
you get. Thank God to my friend Tate. He's the one who pointed it out. I was wearing shorts, and he saw my calf. And we were at the airport, and he goes, "What's going on in your calf?" I go, "It looked like little zits all over the place." I go, "Nothing.
Fuck.
What is it?" And he goes, "Dude, I think
He
that's
caught it
staph."
early?
Right away.
Good, damn.
Ari got staph,
Fuck.
and Ari
Just
thought he had
having
a
sex.
Yes.
He got it on his penis.
He got it in a parking lot. No, he had it on his knee. Ari was doing jujitsu for a while.
Wow,
And
hilarious.
He got it on his knee, and we were playing pool, and he was limping around. I go, "Why are you limping?"
Playing
and he
pool.
goes, "Oh, I got a fucking spider bite." I go, "What?" I go, "Let me see it." And he pulls his pants up. I go, "Dude." I go,
Jesus
I
Christ.
unscrewed my cue. I go, "We got to go to the hospital right now."
Holy fuck.
And he goes, "Are you serious?" I go, "Right now, we got to go to the hospital." I go, "That's a staph infection, and it's
Jesus
bad.
Christ. God damn.
It's bad." And so he immediately had to get on antibiotics. It was
Jesus Christ.
If he didn't know and he let it go, it would have got way worse. And then you can get sepsis.
Yeah.
Which is like your blood can get
Yeah,
poisoned.
yeah, yeah.
Dangerous shit, man.
God damn.
So imagine those fucking people fucking animals. back
Exactly.
then.
Dude, one little ancient fucking sheep hoof bacteria.
Right,
You're
if they
fucked.
bit you, oh, you're done. You're done. Whatever funk they got in their mouth is in your bloodstream now.
Yeah. No.
Bro.
Salute to my ancient Greek ancestors and maybe modern Greek.
Anything you get bit by. I get the worst thing to get bit by is the Komodo dragon, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because they have like that nasty fucking
It
alien
poisons
saliva
you. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
got toxins in it.
Paralyzes you and poisons
botulism.
you.
It's
Yeah.
they have funk in their mouth and they have a venom. It's like they're just toxic. Just
And then they'll just eat you slowly.
they'll swallow you whole. You ever see them swallow a deer whole?
God damn.
Dude,
That
get
sucks.
Komodo dragon. Oh, better yet, Komodo dragon swallows baboon whole.
Oh, hell yeah.
This one's fucked.
This is
up.
awesome. I love
This thing is chucking back. This thing has got its legs all fucked up, and it's chucking them back whole.
Let's watch it.
They're so scary, man.
This is great. You go on YMH and I watch gay porn, and now I go here and I watch a baboon get swallowed whole.
Bro, swallowed whole. The thing is, like this thing, there's a bunch of them when they're swallowing deer too, and the deer or the antelope, whatever the fuck it is like 3/4 the size of their body.
Yeah, dude.
They
It's
just
fucking insane. It's fucking wild,
This
dude.
fucking monster. It's a legitimate modern day monster.
No,
look at this motherfucker.
Oh,
Look.
no!
So he's got
He's
this
still
monkey.
fucking moving.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
So he's got this
no!
monkey by the neck. We don't need the music. He's got this poor monkey by the neck.
This fucker is moving his jaw. You're fucked, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's just slowly crushing this monkey's neck and head.
Oh, somebody's left his golf shoes.
Look at the size of this thing, man.
Dude, that sucks.
Look at the size of this thing.
No.
And look
Oh,
at
the
the other
other
one's
one's
trying
like,
to
"Come
steal
on,
it.
bro."
Give me a piece, bro. And they're just tearing it apart.
Oh, no.
Okay, this is not the same one.
Oh,
'cause
the tail is moving. He's
this
still
he's still
alive.
alive, man. He's
That
just
little
literally
fucker.
getting pulled apart. He's still
Jesus
alive.
Christ, that sucks. I hate
They
that.
are so scary,
Oh, no!
dude. Okay, that looks like a
it's cutting back
baboon.
and forth between different
Oh
ones.
shit! Look at
That's
this.
a baboon.
That poor baboon and his little red
Jesus
nuts.
Christ, they're so scary. These fucking things.
They really are.
You know what fucks me up though about these videos? Like how convenient that you managed to be 2 feet away while this baboon got a hold. Did you push that
Yeah.
fucking baboon towards that thing? They definitely did, right? They definitely did.
Or they just have a
Look at
camera
that
set up.
saliva, man.
Oh my god!
The
dude.
saliva that comes out of their mouth. Look
Just
at all
a
that
big ass
funk.
bull.
Oh, they're
Ugh.
so gross, man.
That is fucking disgusting. Yeah. Oh my god, his fucking shoulders all fucked.
Yeah, see this guy filming it up close? Oh, fuck, dude. Look at the
Ew.
slime.
Truly disgusting.
The slime leaking out of his mouth. Yeah, bro,
Oh,
look at that
no!
thing. He's getting in his kayak. Oh, dude, you're so fucked. You are so fucked. That thing's climbing in the kayak with you.
They're only in that little island, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a couple of
I'm
islands.
never
Is there
going.
more than one island or just that one? I think there's a couple islands in that area that have that. How many different islands have the Komodo dragon on them?
I thought they were just in one.
Yeah, I think primarily in one.
But yeah, they definitely look like they feel like a monster.
But they're the biggest. There's a thing called island dwarfism, where like elephants, when they come on a place, they get small. Oh, here it is. Few Indonesian islands of the Lesser Sunda group, including Rinca, Padar, and Flores, and of course the island of Komodo, the largest, 22 miles long. They have not been seen on the island of Padar since the 1970s. That island of Flores is where those Hobbit people live.
Oh, really? The little motherfuckers?
Yeah, those little tiny people used
Are they
to
the
live.
ones that killed like a missionary or whatever the fuck?
No, I don't know.
no.
Did they?
No,
is that
no,
a
it's
story?
The Sentinel Island people.
Oh, you're thinking of North Sentinel Island.
Yeah,
No, that's
yeah,
in the
yeah.
Indian Ocean.
Oh, okay.
That's the people that lived alongside of human beings like 100,000 years ago.
Holy shit.
And they're these little tiny people that were like 3 feet tall.
Damn, hell
and they
yeah.
had tools and weapons and shit. They were just little hobbits.
Holy fuck.
So that's that island dwarfism thing. So in islands, for whatever reason, I guess because there's limited resources, like
yeah.
elephants get smaller, mammals get smaller, deer get smaller, but lizards get bigger.
Whoa, that sucks.
That sucks. That's has to keep population in
sucks,
check.
dude.
So that's why the island of Komodo
Oh,
has
wow.
these fucking things with
Just-
the biggest lizards on Earth on an
my God.
island.
Goddamn.
Fuck that.
Get the
dude.
lizards out of there. Go in there. You get to feel fucking tall.
Stranded divers had to fight off Komodo dragons to survive. Oh my God. The divers who
Imagine
went
that.
missing off Indonesia were forced to beat off deadly Komodo dragons with the lead weights of their diving belts as they were repeatedly attacked. One of the survivors disclosed last night. Can you imagine all you got is the weights on your diving belt and you have to
Dude,
whack a Komodo
story gets
dragon with
better.
it? What does it say here?
They spent 10 hours stuck in shark-infested
Oh
waters.
Oh
before
my
they ended up on the
God,
island.
dude! Oh my God! Have been swept away and spun around for 10 hours in shark-infested waters. They reached the beach on a remote island at nightfall, only to find it was inhabited by Komodo dragons,
Jesus
the world's
Christ.
largest and most deadly lizards.
Well, at least we'll get a nice night's
This
rest
is a
on this
great
island.
movie. Did all of them live? There was a woman with them. A Swedish woman who was with the group told how she fought off a terrifying reptile 3 times with her weight belt,
Jesus Christ.
used by divers to maintain their buoyancy underwater. The 10-foot carnivorous predator came within inches of biting her bare feet. It chewed on the lead in the belt before finally retreating as the divers threw rocks at its head.
God damn, dude.
Oh my God.
Tried to have a go at my feet.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Holy
Jesus
fuck, dude.
Christ, dude.
Yeah, I'm fucked if I
Those
come
things are
across
so
those.
scary. There's so many animals on this planet that just don't give a fuck about people and that are ready to eat you.
Yeah, I'm a fucking city motherfucker. I'm scared. Even I like going on a hike, but I don't want to be alone with any kind of fucking scary ass animal.
Have you seen the video of that crocodile that has a human body in its mouth and it's swimming underneath this bridge?
No.
It literally brings it up to these people and shows it to
Like,
them.
fuck you, motherfuckers.
Like, literally.
You're next.
It's like, I think he's trying to show it to us. Like the
God damn,
crocodile
dude.
swims up to where these people are with a person in its mouth.
Oh, fuck.
It's like, this could be you, bitch.
I bet
It
you-
is wild. Like
Yeah.
these guys are in a boat, and the crocodile, for no reason at all, swims towards them with a human in its mouth.
Huge flex on the crocodile.
Huge flex. Huge flex. Like I'd like to do this to you. I know you're
You
in the
guys
boat.
are up. Humanity's up a million to 1 on
Yeah.
animals, but here's one.
Hey,
I scored a touchdown.
Anybody feeling blue? Want to
Yeah.
go for a dip?
Yeah.
Want to end it all right now?
It's
Look
like
at this.
your team is losing, but you have a sick dunk.
So look, these guys are by this bridge. This is one of 2 videos that I'm aware of. But in this one, the crocodile is swimming with this human body.
Oh my God.
Swimming up to the people with this human
Damn,
body. Look, he's
that
showing it to
fucking
them.
Sucks.
He's looking up at them, and as the bridge goes, he goes.
Jesus
So he's going
Christ.
down the bridge like he's on a fucking
On a
runway.
stroll, yeah.
He's displaying his trophy to all these
damn.
people. He's letting them know that he killed a person.
It's like, you motherfuckers could be next. That's a
Bro,
big
look
fucking
at that
crock,
guy.
too.
Look at that guy. That poor guy face down.
Damn.
That was someone's son. That was someone's baby boy.
They didn't eat him? What the fuck?
They'll eat him eventually.
Yeah,
but look
yeah.
what he's doing. Look at the size of that thing.
Damn.
Goddamn swimming dinosaur.
Poor guy.
And we're so weird because if crocodiles
He must
could
have
kill
little
all of
nuts.
us, if we killed crocodiles and they go, hey, we just kill all the people, then we don't have to worry about people anymore. They'd be like, yeah, let's kill the people.
Yeah.
But with us, we're like, you got to keep them alive. They're a part of the ecosystem. If I lived there, I would be like the Punisher for crocodiles. I would dedicate my every fucking day to killing crocodiles. I would just go out there with a fucking spotlight and a shotgun. And I'd just be murking them.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went. Fuck you, and fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some
Kill
little
'em
bird
all.
that they eat just overruns the island, but fuck it, dude. You got
Fine.
the crocs.
Who cares? Fuck you.
I'll kill the little birds.
Yeah, take some photos of them, stuff a few dead ones, and let's end this experiment. This fucking blows. Why do we keep things around that'll kill us?
Dude. Yeah, I mean, the
Fuck that.
Komodos, truly, they can go.
Yeah, they can
They
suck
can
my
go.
dick.
I don't fuck with those
Get the
guys at
fuck
all.
out of here, you slime mouth
Yeah,
monsters.
yeah.
Swallowing baboons whole.
Yeah.
You didn't even see. Show them a video of it swallowing a deer whole.
God
Because this is
damn.
what you got to see. You got to see how they can just chuck back.
No, I truly don't fuck with those things. Yeah.
I mean, it's so big. You watch how big this thing is that it swallows. It doesn't even make sense.
Dude, yeah, it's fucked up. No, this poor
Yes.
fucking guy. Oh, no.
Does this swallow it? No. This is they're eating this deer alive.
That's fucking atrocious.
This is awful. This is awful.
Look at its
But
cute little fucking eyes.
Google
Oh, it's
Komodo.
screaming.
Oh,
fuck.
Jesus, Jamie, what are you trying to do to me? Google Komodo dragon swallows deer whole.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
Well, people who like that with bears, I mean, bears are not much different. They're less likely to kill you, but when they do, it's just like that.
Yeah.
Horrific. So here it is.
Oh no.
Might be a little small one, but
Okay, so it's got this deer.
I mean, it's still a
okay,
hold.
See,
Oh
that
my
thing's
God,
already dead.
It's like a snake with a mouse.
Yeah, look how it does it, though. It's even quicker than a snake, though, because it
Jesus
just clamps
Christ.
it down, throws it back.
How
look at that.
disgusting the fucking stomach of that motherfucker.
Look at the
must be.
size of that thing. I mean, it ate something that was probably a third of the size of its body.
Yeah.
And it's walking around right now with the hooves sticking out the front of his mouth because he can't quite swallow it all down. Zero gag reflex.
right, it could eat up to 80%
Yeah.
of its body size or weight.
Jesus
Damn,
Christ, 80% of its body size. Look at it. It doesn't even look fat.
Nah, dude, that's a lean guy.
It just ate a whole deer.
Fuck it. And he's
And look.
walking away.
But he's got a deer in his gut, and now he's looking to eat more. Dude, what a creep. Look at
Dude,
that
I
fucking
fucking
creep.
hate that thing.
It's so scary that lives alongside of us in 2022.
Yeah.
That we're just out here, like
Give
we
him a little
think of-
island.
We only think of what we see.
Yeah.
We really do. We
Which
see
I
birds
like.
and squirrels and shit.
I don't need to know more. I like being dumb as shit and having a good time. Let me see my little squirrels. Let me see
you
something
say
cute.
you do, but you know too much.
I know.
You know too much
I'm
for that to be
forgetting.
accurate.
I'm getting dumber every day. I've spent the last 12 years of my life. I was kind of smart, and then I've been doing stand up for 14 years. It's all dick jokes. It's all fucking. That's all I know now.
Yeah, but that's smart. It's hard to
Yeah.
do. Smart people can't do it. A lot of smart people
It's a
that
skill.
can't figure out how to do comedy.
Sure,
Think
it's a
of that.
skill. Definitely, it's a skill, but it's a very special skill
For
and
a
it's
very specific
for a
type of
very
fucked up
specific-
personality.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like most janitors are more useful to the world than me. You know what I mean? Like, they
Not
can-
true.
they
Not
can
true.
fucking-
You're a funny motherfucker. You provide people with a good feeling. That's super valuable.
The good feeling is something for sure,
It's
but
fucking everything, man. Going to a nightclub, I've done a lot of shit, a lot of fun stuff. But going to a nightclub and just making 250 people have a good time is one of the best things on earth.
it is the best. I mean, that's been the fucking. I mean, this tour has been really nice. I mean, I got really lucky. I put my special out, and like a lot more people started coming out, which
That's
was fucking
awesome. You do the YouTube route.
YouTube route live
the
at
way
the
to
Lodge
go.
Room. Go watch it, everybody. Live at the Lodge Room. It did really great. I mean, I saw Sam did it, Shane did it. They were
Yeah,
doing fucking
Ari's now
Ari.
4.7 million.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
closing
yeah.
in on 5.
Yeah,
He says when he hits 6, Kanye's gonna apologize. I'm so embarrassed that we were joking around back and forth in text, and I didn't even get the reference.
Yeah.
I was saying, dude, I think your special's going to hit 8 million. He goes, no, I think it'll stop at 6.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think
You
he's
didn't
saying
get
the
it.
Holocaust.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're selling yourself short. Like, idiot. I'm such a fucking moron. I was thinking like a supportive friend
on,
and
dude.
not like a comedian.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm so pumped for him.
No, it's awesome.
It's really good, man.
Yeah.
Ari Shaffir Jew, available now on YouTube.
And so it's been really great, and the tour has been really fun. Like as much as the road can be hard, you're right. The actual on stage is the best.
It's the best.
It's the best feeling in the world.
It's the best. And, you know, arenas are great. Theaters are great. Everything's great. It's all great. And comedy clubs are just as great. Comedy club, I mean, if I only did a 200-seat room for the rest of my life, it's the fucking best job on earth.
Yeah,
it really is the best thing to do.
I'm really excited because I'm trying theaters next year, and it's going well. We're selling the Fat Rascal tour. Go fucking buy your tickets. I'm all over the place. But I have Vermont Comedy Club coming up this next weekend. And
I heard that's a great spot.
great spot, dude. Like, and it's like I'm happy because we booked it before my shit blew up. So it's like I would have probably played a bigger room, but I'm like, part of me is like, dude, it'll be fun.
I love a
miss
little
that.
room.
I opened for Bobby there. I have great memories there. I hooked up with a girl outside there. I tried. It was fucking. I ate dumplings there. It was a great little fucking weekend. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, that's comedy clubs like that are great,
Well,
especially when there's no other comedy clubs around. Like,
Yeah.
so they're like really comedy fans. They really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. No, it'll be super fun.
Burlington's a fun little town too.
I love Burlington.
So it's cold as fuck. That's what keeps people from moving there.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
in the wintertime it gets rough.
Oh, I can imagine.
Vermont gets rough.
I'm hoping it's not too. I hope there's no fucking snowstorm. It's just like kind of cute and
Yeah,
and
but
cold.
the thing is, like, people look out for each other when it gets rough.
Yeah,
It's a different kind of people. Like if your car gets stranded in Maine, people look out for you.
I get that.
They'll come help you, get you over the side of the road, give you a ride somewhere.
Right.
Like they help people.
Yeah,
Whenever
yeah.
a car's broken down on the highway in the snow in the Northeast, you'll see other cars pull over.
for sure.
Some guy in a 4-wheel drive will pull over. You guys okay?
Yeah.
They don't do shit like that in L.A.
No, fuck no. They're like, oh, hopefully that guy's up for the same audition and he's not going to make it.
Exactly.
Like they'll cut your brake
Exactly.
lines if it's
Exactly.
between you and him for a Geico commercial.
Yeah.
They would fucking.
They'll wait for you to get a tow truck and they'll steal your catalytic converter. It's just too many people.
Yeah.
When you have a few people and then they have to conquer the winter together,
Yeah.
together you got to help the old lady shove herself out of the
Of
driveway.
course.
Yeah.
It's cute. No, I do. I fuck with Burlington big time.
I love it up there. I haven't been there in fucking years, but I used to do gigs there all the time.
Yeah.
Back in the early days of comedy.
For sure. When you're like going a few hours from your city.
Yeah, we used to do those. I used to do Bangor, Maine a lot. That was a lot
Okay.
of fun. That's where
Yeah.
Stephen King lived.
Hell
you could go
yeah.
by his house.
Fuck
We're
yeah.
standing outside of Stephen King's house.
He's like, I get it. This is my house.
But it's like it's so obviously his house.
Yeah.
There's like bats and shit in the wrought iron metal around the house. I mean,
Good
he's
for
not
him.
hiding it at all.
leaning into it.
And he's
Good
in the
for
middle.
him.
It's like right there. It's
Yeah.
like you could throw a rock and hit his house from the street.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm like,
dude.
he's a great. This
And
was
everyone
like,
just gets it.
Yeah.
Stephen King lives here.
Well, it was also like it's a point of pride. Like you got a guy who's like one of the, if not the greatest horror
sure.
writer of all time.
For sure.
You look at that's his
hell
house.
Yeah. That does look haunted for
Yeah.
sure.
Bro, he wrote some wild shit in that house.
There are some spirits in that little fucking steeple looking thing.
Yeah, he wrote some wild shit in that house.
Yeah, I didn't do too many gigs. I would do like some Northeast stuff because I used to open for Bobby for years. Bobby Kelly, that's my guy.
I love Bobby.
No, he's the fucking
Bobby
man.
and I started out together.
Really? Holy
yeah,
shit!
man. I used to work with Bobby when he's on with Al and the Monkeys. They
fucking
would
weird
open
little
for me.
improv troupe?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
yes.
That's
They
awesome.
opened for me.
That's
at
fucking
Dick
wild.
Doherty's Comedy Hut. And it was Al Del Benny went up, and
Yeah.
then Bobby would go up, and then Dane would go up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they would do sketches, and then they would all do like 5 minutes of stand up, and then
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
headline. We did
Interesting.
a few gigs like
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah, I love Bobby. I've always loved
Oh,
Bobby.
he's the man. But yeah, he took me to Vermont, Boston a bunch of times. Took me to that fucking weird Chinese restaurant that used to do shit, the Kowloon.
Oh yeah,
You ever do
the
shows there?
Kowloon's great.
Yeah.
I did a lot. I was there when it opened.
Hell
yeah,
yeah,
I did.
dude.
I did a lot of gigs at the Kowloon. And then there's Giggles. You ever do Giggles and Saugus?
Never did
That's
Giggles.
a great club.
Never did Giggles.
That's a great club. That's my
Yeah.
friend Mike Clark's club. That's Lenny Clark's brother.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I worked with Lenny Clark the second time I ever got paid. I opened up for Lenny Clark. It was like the greatest thing
Dude,
ever.
I
He
was-
had been on HBO
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
Rodney
The
Dangerfield
local legends,
special.
dude, yeah.
Oh my God, he was the guy.
Those first paid gigs are awesome. I remember
Oh
the
my
first time I
God.
ever made money. I grew up in Baltimore. I started doing comedy. I did this fucking bringer, right? I'm 19, and I bring all my friends, and I fucking, do pretty good because all your friends are there. And some guy sees me, and he's like, I think you really got something, kid. Some fucking. And I'm like, oh, really, sir? It's just some fucking guy that runs a shitty gig in Southwest Virginia, right?
Yeah.
5 hours away from Baltimore, pays $50. I spent more money on gas than to do the fucking gig, but I bring my boys. I'm so pumped, and I'm like, he thinks I'm calling the girl I'm dating. I'm like, I think I'm gonna fucking be famous. You know what I mean? I'm like, I think it's finally happening. And I saw that guy years later, and it was, I fucking ate my dick. I didn't do well. I was fucking horrible. And I saw the guy years later, and he's like, yeah, dude. He was like, fuck, I thought you were gonna bring more people. I mean, you brought so many people to the contest. And I was like, I was crestfallen. I was like, what? You didn't see potential in me? That's not why you booked the fuck.
It was horseshit.
That's not why you did. Why you booked? I mean, I was doing jokes like, I need to lose some weight. I can't even wipe my own ass. It's like just 19-year-old fucking brutal stuff.
But those gigs where you get a gig out of town and you're not really qualified to do it, and you're not even at a comedy club, you're at some weird bar. Those
weird
teach
bar.
you.
They're smoking cigarettes indoors back, at that point.
But those teach you about comedy, man.
Well, not only do they teach me about comedy, they taught me about life, because I didn't even tell you. The end of the story is I come back, and I drove with my friends, right? Like, I brought 2 friends with me. It was like a fun time, we're like, whoa, Stav's got a gig. My 2 best friends. We stop on the way back. We go to an IHOP, right? It's like, 1 a.m. I order in a Virginia IHOP at 1 a.m., I order ribs. I order fucking ribs, and they come out, and my friends are like, "You don't want fucking eggs and pancakes?" I'm like, "Nah, dude, I kind of feel like ribs." This shit comes out. It's gray. It's just like a slab
boiled
of
ribs.
Just, dude, microwaved probably. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm, whatever. Who gives a fuck? And I eat it, and I'm driving, and I'm like, hey, does somebody else want to drive? And then it's like, and they're like, okay. And then I'm sitting and then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, can you guys pull over? I just start throwing up everywhere. I'm in fucking the fetal position for 2 hours back home. They dropped me off at my house in Baltimore. I am just shitting and throwing up at the exact same time. And that's my first ever paid gig. I was like, I did it, baby. I did come to getting ribs from IHOP at fucking at 1 a.m.
Nice.
It was a brutal. It
Nice.
was, a
That's
tough learning
hilarious.
experience.
That's hilarious. I fucking remember very clearly those gigs. Those are some of the most important gigs ever, when you just go to some weird bar and you have to get everybody's attention.
Yep.
You
Yep.
learn how to like deliver your jokes quicker.
Fully.
Yeah, you learn how to keep people's attention span, and there was so many of them. You could actually make a living being nobody.
Yeah.
Like back then, you could, you'd make like 50 a set, 100 a set, and you could do 5, 6, 7 sets a week. You'd have money.
No, I remember I quit my job because that was starting to happen to me in Baltimore. And what had happened was I just lined up every gig possible in the first 3 months. And I was like, well, I can make a living. And then I was like, oh, no, I just did every gig for the year. So now I'm like back at I worked at a Sherwin-Williams my last year in Baltimore, but that was fun too. Working at a paint store, fucking. But it is true, everywhere you
That's
go.
important too. Those
Yeah,
shitty
yeah,
jobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shitty jobs are very important as a human being. You need to know that you don't want to do something.
100%. I got my last real gig. I was a paralegal, and I didn't really know what the law firm. It was just like right before I needed to move to New York, and my friend was doing it, and this was like right in the middle of the housing crisis. And I get there, and it's a fucking foreclosure law firm, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking be a part of this. I don't want to take people's homes because of the housing crisis. So I just decided, I was like, fuck it. I'm just not going to do any work. Like, I get hired in July. They train me for August. September rolls around. I'm like, I'm just not really going to do shit. I'm going to fucking work on comedy. I'm on Facebook Messenger. I'm going to write jokes. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking I'll get like a month, 2 months out of this. They don't fire me for fucking 8 months. Jesus. And I'm just in there like, my boss would walk by and I would hit the fucking mouse and my login screen would show up. Like, I wasn't even logged into the computer to fake work. And I was like, I'm just taking 2-hour lunches. I'm pushing it at this point. And I'm just like, how the fuck is this still happening? And they fucking call me into the office. Finally, one day they call me in and they're like, okay, so we want to talk. My boss would be like, hey, do you want to like do some work? You know, because everyone loved me because I'm not doing work. I'm hanging around like, Linda, what's up? Like, how's the baby? Like, I'm the king of the office, dude.
Right.
I'm just having a good ass time. And everyone loved me. And I was doing good for I think I was moving women's issues forward because I was the shittiest employee and I was the only man. I was like I was the only fucking, you know, college educated man. I was clearly the fucking biggest piece of shit employee, you know. I was building the glass ceiling above my head, I feel like. And so they call me in. They're finally like, hey, so we were running some numbers. Apparently, they just didn't want to pay unemployment insurance, and so they were just tracking me for months. And they had like, they were just like reading me everything that I had done wrong. And they're like, so you've and this was like a factory thing where every time you did anything, you had to click off a step, is what they called it. So you would you schedule a hearing, click off a step. You would email a lawyer, click off a step, right? Like because they wanted to track you. And they're like, so we were looking at your steps the last couple months, and people in your department, they usually average about 3,000 steps a month. We were looking at you did about 300. And I was like,
They track your steps.
they track everything you do.
Dude.
And it was fucking crazy. And they're like, so how do you explain that? I was like, you know, I got nothing. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you.
What are they using to track your steps?
You would just there's some software where every time you did anything, you would have to check it off to prove that you're a good employee. You know what I mean? Like, so you would
track your steps in terms of your motions.
Yeah, no,
on the
not
computer.
on some Amazon.
I thought you were saying like walking.
No, not Amazon.
I was like,
shit.
what?
We weren't there yet. No. It was just like, how hard are you working?
I'm confused.
No.
I blame the marijuana.
yeah.
I should have followed that.
No, they were just fucking tracking me, and I just wasn't doing shit. They were just like, you should be doing 10 times the amount of work.
Well, you know what people were doing when they were doing remote work? They installed an app that moved the cursor around.
Good for them. Fuck
wild.
yeah.
Just wild. Like, what is that app signing up for?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, for sure.
That
You're getting
app's sending
tracked.
your fucking passwords to China.
100%.
Right now.
Yeah.
Your Facebook is now belongs to Moldova.
I'm ready for the glorious revolution.
Yes.
I wanted to say one other thing. I forgot. I wanted to start the thing, but we started talking about animal pussy. I have it's Christmas time. I brought some cookies.
Oh.
My mom made some fucking cookies. You want Jamie? I don't know. You guys want to you want to try a cookie? You want to try from my girl Lil V, my mom?
Yeah, but let's not. I mean, I'll try it if you want me to.
Oh, that's all
I don't
right.
like to eat on the air.
That's fine.
It's
fair.
gross for
you're
everybody else.
a much better
I'll definitely try
podcaster
it.
than me.
I've done it before. People get annoyed. Crunch, crunch, crunch. But I definitely want to try your mom's cookies.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can try some of Erica's bee pollen.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, she left us some bee pollen with honey in it.
I love
from
it.
her when she was here yesterday. She actually got that from a beehive.
That rules. My godfather in Greece, he's got a little beehive.
Seems so exciting.
He lives real fucking villager style. It's
No
awesome,
shit.
dude. Because it's like Greece, the fucking like the economy went to shit. So it's just like he literally lives kind of villager shit, where it's like him and my godmother moved to the island his family's from, like historically. He's got a little. He gets honey. His friend has fucking moonshine. His other friend has rabbits, and they literally like barter and shit, dude.
Whoa.
It was fucking awesome. I went to Greece. I visited them like 4 years ago, and it was like I'm getting fucked up off his friend's moonshine. We're eating fucking rabbit stew that his fucking friend hunted. It was just like they're broke as shit, but they're having a good ass time in Greece.
That's nice if you could live like that.
Yeah.
You can, as long as you have too many people and the resources don't get overrun, you can live like that. If you grow your own vegetables and you cook your own food and you can hunt and you can maybe have some animals.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to live, man. It's a lot of responsibility, but it seems very satisfying for people, like the people that I know that are actually like farmers or have a small farm.
Yeah.
They said it's almost like a spiritual experience. Like
Yeah.
it puts you in tune with life and death and how you live and what you eat.
Yeah.
You're directly responsible for all the food that's in your body,
Right.
which is, I think, a normal human requirement. Like there's a thing. If you just get the food from somewhere else, I bet part of you is like, where's this coming from? Shut up.
Yeah.
You have to squash that part of your brain. It's
Your body's
confused.
like, this fucking microwave burrito.
Dude,
this is
I
not should be
think
in our body.
There's these human reward systems that are inside of us, and I always equate it to like catching a fish. When you catch a fish, there's a fucking feeling when you catch a fish, like, oh shit. There's an
hell yeah.
excitement
Yeah.
when you catch a fish that I think is primal, and I think it goes back to that meant you feed your family.
Right.
Because back in the day when they first invented fishing,
Right.
thousands of years ago, that's what it meant. They first figured that out.
You're like,
so when you
whoa.
get a fish, you're like, oh.
We survive.
It's so much so that people love to catch fish and put them back.
Yeah. Totally.
Just for the rush.
It's left over.
They
It's
just
left over.
fuck with a fish, and they have special hooks, like when they
Yeah.
go fly fishing,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
are
yeah.
barbless. So you catch
you don't
these,
fuck 'em up.
you catch these trout, and you just release them.
Damn. Yeah, well, I don't think he's thinking of it spiritually. He's just he's drunk as shit all the time. He's just
But
like
it is spiritual.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
he's not thinking about it that way, but
he
I think
lives
there's
a great
something
life,
about
yeah.
it. It's a great life.
Well, he's also like the most criminally horny man I've ever met in my life.
Criminally horny?
I'm sorry, never said them. I'm not criminal. Yeah, he's not a priest.
Just
He's
like
not-
aggressively.
He's just a very horny man. You're right. He's
Don't
not
you think that was probably most humans? If you look at like testosterone rates in this country, that's what I was going to say earlier. You know, James Cameron said that testosterone is a toxin that men need to remove from their bodies.
James Cameron?
James Cameron said this.
Fuck, dude.
But Rob Wolf posted this on his Instagram today in response to that. Like, testosterone is the dominant hormone in women. Women have more estrogen than men. But men have more testosterone than women. But women have more testosterone than they do estrogen.
Interesting.
Estrogen is just what they have more of than us.
Right.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
And Rob Wolf put that on his page
I had
today.
no idea.
Neither did James Cameron.
Right.
James Cameron.
Yeah.
But what's
But
crazy
the
is,
motherfucker
like,
can make a movie.
he makes the shit out of a movie. But in his movie, there's a lot of fucking aggressive male energy.
Yeah, there's a lot of aggressive
Female energy too.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens, dollar sign.
Yeah, that's that was the one where the aliens were easy to kill. Like in the first one, you couldn't fucking come close to killing them. They were so hard to find. There's one, he was so clever, and the second one, they're like, and boom, you shotgun him in the face.
What if that was their that was their commando? What if they got the first one was just like the fucking most big dick badass fucking one of them, and then it's just a bunch of bumbling dumbasses.
Right.
I would love to see aliens it's like a comedy from their perspective where they're like, ooh.
Right. The first one was a Navy SEAL, and these guys are just
like
tech nerds.
A bunch of fucking a bunch of guys that do the back end for like fucking Seamless.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
in their little fucking vests.
Just getting fucking murked by that
awesome.
hot Latina chick.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Who's that girl that was in that movie? She was the one. You like her?
I
right?
absolutely like her. I don't think she
that's
was
what I'm
Latina. I
talking
think
about.
I've looked this up.
She's not.
I don't believe so.
Plays a good Latina. You can't
really
do that
does.
anymore. Wait a minute. Are you sure?
I
The lady
think
in
so.
Aliens? Who is it? Who's in Aliens?
I believe I looked this up in when I was horny for her. And I believe I want to say she might even be Jewish.
What?
I believe so. We'll see.
Jamie will pull this up in
Let's
any
pull-
moment.
any
The suspense
moment.
is killing me.
That's good podcasting.
Her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I believe she's fucking Jewish. She's got big old titties.
That was a
I'll tell
great
you that
fucking
much.
movie, bro. That was a great fucking.
Yeah,
That's
there
her
she
now?
is. Yeah,
Wow.
dude.
That was a great fucking movie.
And I believe she has a brand of bras for big titted women.
Does she? Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God.
Jeanette Goldstein. No, that is the most Jewish name ever. Jeanette Goldstein. That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah, Private Vasquez.
Oh my God. That is hilarious. By the way, I support her right to do that.
Look up Jeanette Goldstein bras for us.
Some people are going to get mad at her now because she played a Latina in a movie.
She was in Brownface. Yeah.
She
I
got
believe
a strong tan.
the alphabet starts at D.
Oh
got a big
my
titty.
God, she's got a giant bra.
That's another thing about the algorithm for a while. When I was looking at TikToks, for a while it was showing me like influencers for big titted women who are looking for like sports bras that'll fit them. Because I was looking up so many women with big breasts. They were like, well, maybe he's a lady with big tits that needs a bra that works.
Oh my God.
And it was like,
Oh my
no.
God.
No. Oh, I forgot to fucking. Speaking of sexual things, we're just fucking chatting. I wanted to also plug my 2023 erotic calendar. Yes, I have. I can. Can I show you this right now?
Sure.
Yeah. That's another part of my my modeling career.
It's part of your hustle.
Every fucking year I do it.
I'm just amazed that people are still making calendars.
Dude, they love them. It's a nice piece of
Do you have any
merch.
calendars, Jamie? Do you own a calendar?
We
I
got
had a
one for you,
calendar for a
pal.
while that I used to keep on my office wall. Look at you. Stabby baby calendar for a sexy new year.
Yeah, dude.
Let me see.
Flip through these motherfuckers.
Let's see the hog.
This is my pride and joy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jack off you worry.
That's right.
Nice.
How about that? Squirt timber right there.
Clit Clitberry, Munch, Gabriel. Oh, nice.
You like
This
what you
is
see,
funny.
Joey?
You're good. You're good. You look great.
Thank you.
Look
Shout out to my
fantastic.
boy Stefan
Look at this.
Fleming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fucktober.
I like so those are available, folks.
You can get them now. The calendar sell. People
The
buying
calendar
calendars
sells,
for
dude.
fun, right? Like
For
you have it in
fun.
cubicle and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd probably get fired if you had this in your
Why?
cubicle.
There's no real. You don't show it.
I do.
You're smart.
Yeah, I
On
do. I
one
don't show
page.
cock.
No, there's no cock in there, right?
At the very end, there's
They
a
say you
photoshopped.
Put a little piece of tape. Oh, there you go. Well, put a little piece of tape over that part. There, a friend of mine has a bar outside of town here, and he had this bathroom, and in the bathroom, in the men's room, they put up all these photos from Playboy magazine.
Hell yeah.
Old
Yeah,
photos,
yeah.
like magazine covers.
I
like,
love that.
So it's Playboy covers from like the 60s and the 70s and some cartoons and shit, and people complained.
What?
Yeah, people complained men complained at the naked breasts.
Got
I guess
them
because
too
they had
horny?
well, they had kids. Maybe you
Oh.
bring your little
It's
boy
a
in there
bar?
to take a leak. No, it's like a bar/restaurant.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's a very nice place. But anyway, you go into this place and you go in the bathroom, and the fucking one of their bathrooms was themed in Playboys, and so they had to go over all the
Fuck
breasts and put like
Put little stickers.
over all the titties.
What a come up if you're like an 11-year-old the week before they covered the titties, and you're like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And you're like, oh,
Oh yeah, and they'll allow a little bit of side boob.
little side boobs,
Little
nice.
like you could. It seems like as long as you don't see the nipple's
Yeah,
a crazy
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
that one
yeah.
thing defines like, oh Jesus,
Of
like
course.
if you just cover the nipple with stars,
Yeah.
everyone's cool.
Everyone's great. An X.
Breasts are the weirdest fucking thing.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Yeah.
That it's just something about showing a nipple.
Showing
like,
the nip.
Remember when Janet Jackson did it at the Super Bowl? People were
Yeah.
like, what the fuck
I know
is
it was fucking
happening?
wild. Who really gives a fuck?
Dude.
Let the titties out.
It's literally where children get food from.
I'm with you. We should be able to see titties.
It's like it's at the dinner table. What are we
Yeah.
doing at the dinner table? We're seeing this. We're trying to watch the Super Bowl. It's wholesome. And
Yeah. They also set her up. Janet Jackson got fucked. She was
Do
the
you
only one
think-
who like suffered the consequences.
Justin Bieber didn't.
Justin Timberlake was
Justin
good.
Bieber.
Yeah,
Sorry, it was one of the Justins, one of them handsome fellas that's talented.
yeah, the last generation's Justin Bieber.
So they for sure planned that, right?
You would think so. I don't know.
Otherwise, it's kind of.
I remember
illegal.
looking it up and being like, time to jack off to this. Just
Well, if they didn't plan it, it's highly illegal.
for sure.
Like if she didn't know about it, and
For
he
sure,
did it,
for sure,
that's
for
highly
sure.
illegal.
100%.
And so
you would think.
they had to plan.
And it backfired, and then he was like,
Oh my God.
This is crazy.
There was gonna be a star underneath there.
It's fucked. I can't believe he got the fuck. Didn't they date for a while?
Did they?
That's unfair.
I hope they did after that.
No, I don't think it was after that.
Before that,
I think so.
maybe that's better. Prepare.
Before.
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is what we're gonna
I don't
do.
think. I don't think she was
Yeah.
too pleased afterwards.
She became like a Muslim, I believe.
Did she?
Yeah, I believe she like wears the full hijab and the whole
damn.
deal now.
Nice.
And I think she even moved to another country.
Damn. My MJ for a while did go. Didn't he go? Wasn't he like hanging out with Farrakhan for a while?
I don't know.
Like at the end, that's a sick move, Michael Jackson to do.
Did
Just
he?
go back to the fucking. Yeah,
Well,
that's a fuck.
when you're
awesome.
under siege, you know,
Yeah.
like at the end of his life, he was under
Exactly.
siege.
Yeah,
That was a.
you need your boys.
That's how talented he is, though. That people still play his music.
I know.
You know,
There is like a
like people will give you the stink eye if R. Kelly comes on.
100%.
We were talking about this the other night. This friend of mine has a bar, and he had this dope ass playlist, and in that playlist was some R.
was
Kelly.
remixed to Ignition.
And some of it he forgot, and he had to go back and remove it. Like, oh shit! Like,
Yeah.
people got upset at him that it was playing.
you need there's a threshold of bangers that you have to cross,
Right.
to be able to like let your sexual crimes be,
Right.
You know,
But it's also R. Kelly's songs were so
about fucking
sexual.
That's the thing. It's like this was written about someone doing algebra homework. You know what I mean? Like MJ wasn't doing his were just good fucking songs.
ABC. It's the easiest one,
Yeah.
two, three.
Yeah, the
Literally.
clues were all there.
Literally. Well, he was a child then.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When he sang that, he was a little boy.
Yeah, I mean, this is well-trod territory, but that's a guy whose life is the most fucked up of all time.
Well, it is well-trod territory, but are you aware of the castrata theory?
The theory that he got his nuts chopped off?
Yeah.
I did not hear this.
It's from his own doctor. His
Whoa.
doctor says he was chemically castrated. The same doctor that killed him by
What the fuck?
anesthetizing him every
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
That same doctor said that he was chemically castrated when he was young. And that's how he maintained his voice.
That's wild.
Dude, what's wild is that was a thing. That they used to do that to
course.
young boys to get them to sing opera.
Yeah.
Fucking
And being
bro.
a eunuch and shit, that's another more history shit. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a guy, if your shit wasn't going so good, you're lower class, it's like chop your dick off and I can trust you around my wife.
Yeah,
and then you
can hang around the house.
Yeah, and it's like, damn, I don't know if I would have made that trade.
Bro, that's that super creepy guy in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Varys.
Right?
Yeah.
Fucking conniving
Bobby.
little dickless wonder out there trying to run the world. You don't want that guy
dickless wonder.
around. They're probably more like him than they were like obedient.
Yeah,
They're
for
probably
sure.
angry as fuck. You took
For
their
sure.
dick away.
I wonder.
All they get is free fruit.
Yeah, I wonder if you could still bust from your ass. If they cut your dick
The
off,
fact that you even wonder.
you got to figure it out.
I guess if you like massage the stump
Yeah,
while
'cause-
you're fingering your butt.
Because they don't take the
Massage your
prostate out,
prostate.
right? The prostate's
Yeah,
still there.
how does the jizz come out?
This
it
is-
probably comes out the
yeah.
most disappointing looking,
Oh,
like
it's a dribble.
it's like
You know?
soft serve ice cream.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah. When the machine's down, just like just fucking
It's probably so sad.
syrupy.
The saddest nut you'll ever bust.
Interesting. I wonder if castratos could bust through their ass.
I wonder if they kept their penis, but they just removed their testicles. That's more likely is what they did. I don't
Probably.
think with eunuchs. I don't know how they handled it. I think they might have
Right.
just the whole thing.
The whole thing's got to go. That's tough.
And you just
They should have
pissing
given-
from the little hole. where
Oh,
it
that
used
sucks.
to be.
Give him a little dick.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The whole thing is so terrifying that was a common practice,
I
or at
know.
least common enough that we know of
I
it.
think it was pretty common. I don't know, because in all the history podcasts and books and shit, there's a lot of fucking eunuchs running around.
And that's one of the things that was throughout history people did to people in war. Cut their dick
yeah.
off, stuff it in their mouth.
That's a tough one. It's like, come
When
on,
you got
man.
your own dick in your mouth as you're watching the axe come down, that's got to be a special kind of horror.
That's what it pays to have a little penis. I'll put it under my tongue like a Tic Tac.
God damn, man.
You could spit your dick back out at him. What do you got to lose at that point?
So if we talk about like declining sperm counts and how they're happening right now, like there's all these studies done on men's sperm counts since like the 1950s. They're rapid decline. If you go back in history, doesn't it make sense that they would go up and up and up? Like I think
Yeah,
when it was
more-
really hard to stay alive, I think people were probably ultra hyper horny.
Because you only had a small window.
As long as you had food, you
Yeah.
had enough food so you weren't like starving, you're probably super horny because they're probably wilder people.
But at the same time, you're probably so fucking overworked. You're
That
so,
too.
it's like, I think it's probably the way like height goes in society where it's like everyone was little. The more nourished you are, I think there's probably we hit a point where it's like we have the most comforts, we have the most nourished, and we're kind of like, not as overworked.
Right.
And I think that's probably, I'm just, fully have no fucking clue. Like
No,
I
that
said.
makes sense. But it makes sense that you're saying with resources. But if there was like a resource-rich area, like say if there was an area where people were hunter-gatherers and they grew some food and they all did like your uncle does in Greece and they all lived off the land.
yeah.
But,
They all took pictures of women's breasts with their Motorola flip phone too. Is
they're
that what you
well
meant?
nourished, but they're well nourished. But they're people that are living 1,000, 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
like they probably were horny as fuck.
There's probably like I would say a slim
Savagery.
majority that is the horniest guys of all time.
All time.
But I think most of
Savages.
them are just so beaten down by how fucking atrocious their lifestyle is
Maybe.
that it's like,
Yeah, that's true too. But the young
But at
guys
the
who
same
aren't
time-
beaten down yet,
Yes.
they got to be the most horrific.
And at the same time, when you're so beaten down, what do you have if not busting a nut? That's all
Killing
you
people.
got. Yeah.
Killing
yeah.
people and eating roast lamb.
But the guys that didn't get to kill, the guys that are fucking getting
Yes.
killed and fucking
which is most guys.
Most guys are just fucking chaffing wheat or whatever the fuck for the fucking emperor or the fucking whoever the fuck
Yeah.
is,
And if you live in a super brutal, horrible place, good luck inventing anything.
Oh, dude. Good luck. Yeah. They had we talk about time off.
Yeah.
It's like they had their time off was the fucking Sunday because they
Right.
got to go to church and see the full circle, go to the fucking priests blinged out, just fucking hang. And that was very interesting. I read a book about the like medieval times where it's like church was just honestly people were just hanging out. Like it was kind of like
social
a bar.
dwelling.
It was like social, yeah. Like the priest was reading shit, but no one could really understand. They didn't know Latin.
Right.
They were just fucking hanging out. It's kind of interesting because it was like it makes sense.
What year did they make it so the Catholic priests had to take a vow of chastity?
I don't know.
Let's find that out. I guarantee that was in response to them banging everybody. I guarantee you.
I still think it's because they wouldn't have to pay the equivalent of child support.
I don't think they. That's too complicated a scheme. I think more likely is they had to put a stop to these guys banging everybody.
But see, would that put a stop to it, or couldn't they still keep getting?
I think they probably did it in those fucking confession booths. That was probably their idea.
That's how it started.
The
first glory hole
in between. Open that fucking door, give you the old schlazul.
How many of those were glory holes?
100 of them.
That's pretty cool. All right, I'm back in on the Catholic Church. If you can find me artifacts of glory holes, I'm in.
I used to do a joke about it. Like, imagine the idea where you take a guy who's not allowed to masturbate or have sex ever. Then you make him listen to fuck stories whispered through a hole in the wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's mostly what people confess. There's a couple of murders, but it's a lot of fuck my brother. It's a lot of crazy stuff.
Absolutely.
You're dealing with people that, 2,000 years ago, they're fucking animals, man.
Absolutely.
Animals.
Absolutely.
Wild people.
100%.
It's all like fucking Game of Thrones shit. They're all just doing.
I fucked the servant. The servant sucked me off.
Everybody. They killed a guy with an axe.
Yeah.
He stole an apple.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Absolutely.
Bro, imagine watching someone get hacked to death like when you're a child. Like that's a normal thing to see. You're 7 years old, you see a guy lose a sword fight.
Yeah, that's
his head falls down, blood squirting out of his neck like a fire hydrant.
And that guy who was in your mind ancient, he's like 20 years old.
Oh my god.
Like they died so fucking soon.
So fucking soon.
Although I do wonder, other shit I'm reading is like some of the shit, especially in like cities and stuff like that, it wasn't as brutal and like we do have like a barbaric, certainly that happened a lot, but there was also like, I think a little bit of how dirty and shit it was is a little overblown too, but I'm interested in that.
I think there was a high level of sophistication in comparison to a lot of other cultures back then, but in terms of us today, I bet we would be shocked by how like savage they behave.
Yeah. Probably.
I think so. I think they're probably both intelligent and savage. I mean, Marcus Aurelius' Meditations is like still to this day one of the most interesting books on philosophy and the way a guy lives his life ever. That motherfucker wrote that as the Roman emperor 2,000 years ago.
Damn.
What did he see?
That is wild.
What kind of shit did that guy see?
Yeah, what a fucking nerd. You get to be the emperor, you're fucking doing homework. I'm in the harem, brother.
He's talking about forgiveness. He's talking about, forgiveness is one of the things that he talks about a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah, and about managing your mind and stoicism. It's very interesting, man.
Huh.
Yeah, I listened to an audio version of it in the sauna, and I felt like such a pussy.
Yeah.
This guy's writing this from this incredible position of strength thousands of years ago, and his advice to people was to learn how to be more charitable and to be nicer and kinder to each other.
I guess that's
forgive people.
That's a radical stance for a leader of a fucking empire.
He was trying to legitimately be a better person, seemed like, and lead by example. But then he had this son that was a monster.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
Isn't that wild?
That's always how it happens.
His son is a fucking evil monster.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into too much Roman shit yet. I'm still on the Greek shit.
Dude, all of it is go piss, my brother. Go piss.
Yeah,
I'm having a great time.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want it to end.
Yeah, dude.
All right, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Comedians that don't get good at podcasts is because they're not really listening to you.
They're waiting for their turn.
Yeah, they're waiting for their turn, and that doesn't, that doesn't work. That fucking when comedians do podcasts where they don't actually listen to what the other person's saying.
Oh yeah,
it's
a slog.
Normal for us though. You just always want to. You're always on. You're trying to say something.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can only hold one thought in your head, and you can't hold the thought in the head that person has because you got something to say.
Because you got something in the back of your head.
Yeah, like some guys are like Tony Hinchcliffe is the fucking best ever. Have you done Kill Tony?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, you got to do Kill Tony
When's
time. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
It's Mondays. He does it Mondays.
Okay.
But when he off the cuff, that motherfucker is so sharp. He's so that's how his mind works. So his mind is like, if you're saying you could be in the middle of something really important, and he's got to go with a zinger. He's got some ridiculous pun.
Yeah. No.
To stick into there.
Yeah.
But it's like this job is the greatest job of all time.
Yeah, it's
Just get to talk shit.
It's a great racket. So I stopped doing my other podcast, and I was like, fuck, I don't really want to do podcasts. And then, like, it was like 6 months, and I was on the road, and I was doing all this shit, and it's like, it is, and also you get to talk shit, but you just get to connect with, like, fans, and you want to be somewhere, you want to be there, like, once or twice a week. I mean, you're there every day, but it's like, it's a cool way to connect to people. So that's why I'm excited to fucking get my other shit popping.
It's a cool way to talk to people, too.
Yeah.
I don't think people do that much talking to people like we do.
No, that's true.
I think it's important for yourself. It's important for how you understand how people, like, everybody has a different style of communication, and everybody has a different life story, and everybody has different things they do for a living. Everybody has a different approach, and I think I'm just like gathering data, like all the time. Like, I'm so much more aware of things now than I ever was when I first started doing this.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I think also it's like it recharges you too, right? Because it's like, especially post-pandemic shit where it was like going out and actually getting to fucking talk to somebody and like, gather data. Also, it's like you're in a place in your life where it's like it took me forever not to have every motivation in my life be getting pussy. So it's like if every conversation wasn't like leading to getting pussy one way or the other, other than like being with your like best friends and just kicking it. And it's nice to mature a little bit and be like, I do like it. I just want to read about fucking, did the Trojan War actually happen? I want to read about fucking, this is what I want to do. I want to talk to somebody about this thing. I don't care. I don't need, my needs have evolved.
Well, the thing is, it's stimulating, but it's not an urge. Sex is stimulating, but it's an urge. So sex is a biological urge. So you get horny. When guys get horny, like we
Forget
get horny,
Yeah.
And when you don't get intellectually horny, but it is stimulating. So you have to like trick yourself into engaging in it.
Yeah.
And then once you engage in it, you go, oh, this is fascinating. That's how I am with like documentaries and books, and like I have to get engaged with it. And then once I get engaged with it, I'm like, oh, I really do enjoy this.
No, that's true. It almost feels like a roller coaster where you have to just kind of push yourself to engage, and then once you do, it's like fucking bombs
because
away.
it's like logically, there's a lot of things that you'd like to do, but you don't engage in doing them for whatever reason, right? But then the urges are food. You have an urge to eat. You get hungry. You get horny. You get tired. You want to go to sleep.
Oh, that's a good point.
You got to take a piss.
I never.
There's all these urges. But you don't have an urge for intellectual curiosity or even an urge to be creative. It's not. It's just like it's good to sit down and write because that's where the jokes come from.
Of course.
But you don't have like a urge like you have an urge to eat.
Right. When it strike, and that's why it feels so great when sometimes it does strike you. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, this does feel like natural, biological almost. But you're
never gonna beat the fuck urge.
No, never.
Doesn't have a chance. The fuck urge sells cars and watches and houses.
Oh, dude, fully. It's like I want to be in a relationship for a couple of different reasons. Like I think, I'm 33. It's about time. I took it really seriously. I haven't been in that many. But it's also like as you grow up, you're like, I want to find someone I like. I want to invest in this relationship in a deeper way. But I also I want to feel secure in that part of my life so that I can expand in every other shit that I love.
That bodybuilder's cracking her knuckles. Listen to this right now.
I forgot about her.
Baby, I'm your woman. She's ready to go, son.
Dude, she's out there.
She's out there.
She's out there.
I 100% can guarantee she's out there.
It's her. It's fucking. I weirdly not ancient, but like modern Greek women have like teachers teaching Greek have gotten into my algorithm. It's like the algorithm knows you before you know yourself, and it's like.
What about a little woman who can kick your ass?
That's cool too. I'm so in. That's the thing. I just want the connection, but there's plenty of things that excite me. Obviously the classic big old titties.
Classic.
I have classically been.
It's never gonna go away.
A curly hair, big titties guy has been a classic.
It's a classic. There's a reason why girls get them done to make them bigger.
Sure.
That's how dumb we are, though.
Yeah.
We can't have anything fake.
Yeah.
They could literally. No one cares if you have fake boobs.
Oh, dude, I would love. Dude, I've thought about this where it's like, what would be the equivalent to plastic surgery? I would get penis implants if they were real, if they were the way titties look. 100. Well, I'd get it tomorrow.
The thing is, a guy couldn't do that because a woman wouldn't like it. Like guys don't seem to care. We're dumber. We don't seem to care if their boobs are fake.
I don't think
but
they
if we
mind.
have fake hair, they'll throw up.
Right. True. Fake hair is a tough one. That's
But
why I'm
fake
looking
hair
like
is-
this.
But fake hair is nothing compared to a fake dick.
Sure.
You can't have a fake dick.
But what I'm saying is, if the
If you could.
technology was there, I'm first in line.
The thing would be pills.
Pills to grow your cock.
Yeah, I used to have a bit about the day they invent a big dick pill.
I know that bit because it's
Yeah.
like you wouldn't have to. There would be
30
have to be
seconds
no
before the first guy
advertising.
die of an overdose.
yeah.
I mean, no one's just going to take one. They're like, how many give me a stroke? I'm going to take one less than give me a stroke. And I had a whole bit about how dicks would become so big that guys would have to push them around in shopping carts, and
Yeah.
women would evolve to have like these giant flying
Right.
squirrel pussy people, and the guys would chase them up to the top of cliffs, and they would leap to safety. It was the dumbest bit ever.
I love it.
But it was
That's
like-
when you wrote high as hell.
Yeah, but it's obviously like if guys had a pill that made their dick big, we'd have preposterous dicks. We would
Yeah.
be too stupid. It would be like those poor ladies that have those triple H tits.
Right.
They're so big, they don't understand. Like that's
Right.
too big, honey.
Sorry,
Like
yeah.
what'd you do?
I know.
Don't do that.
That's
Like,
a little.
But
That's
guys
a
would do
little
that with their
much.
dick. There's a fucking thing that I sent to Tom Segura. Do you know these dudes that stick oil in their muscles?
Oh, those
have you
guys
seen
are
that
weird
before?
as fuck. The Popeye looking
Oh my
motherfuckers.
god, there's one.
Was that one Russian guy?
There's a bunch of them, but this one I believe is from Brazil, and I sent it to Tommy. Here it is. I'm gonna send it to you, Jamie. It's so crazy. You look at it, and you're like,
yeah.
what in the fuck am I looking at?
Who is this for?
Well, this guy, it's just. I mean, it's so nuts, but it's one of those things. It's like people get like body dysmorphia. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Guys would definitely do that with dicks.
100%.
Look at what this guy's done with this oil stuff in his body. It's so weird. It's just.
Oh, I've seen that. That sucks.
What happened?
Where'd he go? Where'd that motherfucker go?
He went away. What happened?
Yeah.
Is it a trick?
Oh, that's brutal, dude.
What happened there?
Post from Jim Fail Nation.
Yeah, like I'm on the page. Look, and I can't go anywhere. Like it disappeared.
That's so weird. Do you think it's been like restricted?
There he is.
I'll leave it for a second.
Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
away. Yeah, that looks
Go
horrible.
to their videos. Go to the top of their post. See if you can find it in there. Maybe it's been removed, and maybe you can only get it like the very first seconds of it or something.
Oh my god.
All free.
Yeah,
It's all
dude.
gone.
That
See if you
shit
can find
sucks,
it. But this
though.
guy, if you saw it for that brief image, this
Yeah.
guy has done something where all of his muscles look like balloon, like right there.
It's not even letting me do
Yeah.
that.
Wow, that's so
Interesting.
crazy.
I've never
Well, take a
seen
He might be
screenshot.
taken off. He
Take
might
a
be taken
screenshot.
It's fast. Hold on.
we're pushing
Look at
Jamie
that.
to his limit, to his
No,
technical limit.
Jamie's a wizard, bro. Get that screenshot.
Here
Going.
he
Ready?
is.
Bam, screenshot.
Screenshot.
I got it.
There he is.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Oh,
Bam,
shit.
we got it.
I mean, those look like titties. Those look like.
Well, it looks insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And his biceps are insane, too. They don't even look like biceps. They look
And
like.
the traps are the worst
I don't
part.
have any control over that. 1 second.
The traps are
okay.
truly horrendous.
All of it looks crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
it just
yeah.
doesn't make any sense that
Yeah.
you would do that to yourself. Like
That's what I'm
but guys
saying.
would definitely do that for dicks. That's my point.
But I
Like, look
would.
at that.
That's what I'm saying. I need a functional penis. I would
That
do
guy
that in
doesn't.
a second.
That guy
Yeah.
doesn't. If he could stuff that stuff in his dick, he probably's tried.
It's
probably put a little bit in
there's
there.
guys who have tried.
He's going to make it rib for your pleasure.
Nah, dude, they'll do
Little
whatever
bumps.
the fuck you want. Yeah, there's definitely bumps on that guy's dick.
Yeah, he's
one
definitely-
way or another.
Yeah, he's going to spiral it around.
The pig dick.
Well, yeah, no, like with the bumps.
Oh
Spiral
yeah,
around
yeah,
like some sort of a pleasure
yes,
device.
Yes.
If you could get a bigger dick, like
Yeah.
isn't it fascinating that we can put satellites into orbit? Here it is. There's another
we
one.
got it.
Sorry for some reason.
Oh, it's Safari only. Apple
Where
was
are his
trying to suppress
nipples?
it. They're underneath.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's stretched them.
No,
They're down.
this sucks.
Or maybe he cut them off because he didn't like the aesthetic.
no.
Oh, there's his nipples. His nipples are way below the tit. They're not even where they're supposed to be.
He's got the tummy tuck stomach too. He looks brutal.
Look
dude.
what he's doing to his legs too. He's doing it to his legs.
He's so much closer to a fuckable woman than a man.
well,
It's like,
he's also probably days from death.
yeah, he's done for
like
sure.
if you're doing that to your body's filled with this invasive agent that's
100%,
just making you swell
so
up.
unnatural. I mean, that's why I love. The reality is, I want to lose a little weight because I want to feel better. But I don't mind. I like how I look. That's the other thing. I feel bad for people that are like have that extreme body dysmorphia. I think it's out. Being fat's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone likes a jolly fat guy. I like my hair.
You just want to be healthy.
I just want to feel better. I want to be healthy.
Yeah,
that's it.
The problem is those two don't really coincide
For sure.
with each other that well. But you can make a comfortable medium.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like I weigh like 300 pounds now, right? And it's like I could lose 60 easy, still be
Yeah.
pretty fat, but be much healthier than this.
a lot, and
Same
you
guy.
move.
Is he
Yeah,
bigger here?
Same guy.
Oh,
he
he looks
does look
horrible.
bigger. Oh my God, he's like, oh my God, he pumped it up further.
He's got the Super Saiyan fucking
That is
editing.
so insane. That guy's gonna be dead, man.
Oh, dude, I mean, literally, his tits kind of turn me on.
He's gonna
They're
be
so
dead.
much closer to women's breasts than they are fucking jacked fucking pecs.
What's crazy is he probably is really weak because of all that stuff
for
too.
sure, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it probably inhibits his ability to move things around. So like he's probably weak as fuck while being gigantic.
Yeah, and who's attracted to that? Who's into that guy?
Well, he's clearly insane.
Yeah, he's a
That's an
fucking
insane.
crazy
That's
guy.
an insane person.
Yeah.
What is
Oh
that?
no,
Oh no! What are you doing to your arms, bro?
dude, poke that thing. The veins are
Fuck,
so
that's
weird.
so crazy that he's done that to his
That's
arms.
like what this whole page is. I found.
Oh no! There's a whole page of these
this
people.
Sucks.
Look at that dude's boobies because he's got the guy on Mastica. Go scroll up a little.
Sorry.
That's okay. Look at this guy.
what the
oh my
fuck?
God, that's so insane. What is the page called?
Body Stronger Brazil.
Brazil.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That guy's
Look
got
at
titties.
That dude grew breasts.
Oh my god.
Nipple pump, it says.
Nipple pump. Is that what it is? He used a nipple
I don't
pump?
know. That's what it says on top.
Oh no.
Dude.
There's no way. That's probably
So yeah, this
gynomastica.
is what girls are doing.
Oh my god.
Oh
dude.
no.
That looks like a
no.
chicken's, like a fucking drumstick.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. Don't
That's
do
tough.
that. Don't
That's
do
tough.
that. Don't do that.
I'm listening.
Oh my God.
That's the closest
Take
one.
it down to 8.
You got a little overzealous at the end, but
You got crazy. You need someone who's a designer who's going to go, no. Trust me. We're good.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things. If you can make it, that's what's the problem with like plastic surgery, right? If you think you could change it and then you do change it, then you want to change it a little more better.
Yeah.
And I don't like this
Of
about
course.
me. I don't like that.
you go down the
Yeah.
rabbit hole, just like anything else.
Yeah,
where
I
it's
don't like
it's
this weird piece of skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the way my nose meets my eyebrows. Like,
Yeah.
oh, whoa,
No.
whoa. And then you get to be that cat lady.
Yeah. it
Right? You ever
sucks.
remember that cat lady?
She who looked like what's
She
his
looked
name
like a
in
cat.
Beauty and the Beast. Who
Exactly.
looked like fucking
Yeah.
Hellboy in Beauty
It's a
and the Beast.
perfect example of
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
who went down that rabbit hole and went crazy.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, you can definitely go. That's why I think, you know, you just got to let yourself age. You just got to fucking, that's another thing. There is like a humanity to someone who ages with grace and doesn't
Yeah.
give a fuck.
There
you know?
definitely is. I mean, we admire that.
Absolutely.
We admire someone who doesn't turn themselves into a monster.
At 100%.
But it's just like, I
But yeah.
guess when you just start fixing this and then fix
Totally.
that and I get a little filler. And
Where
then
does it end?
These are puffy. Can we do something about this?
Yeah.
And make these, maybe my cheeks stick out more, then I won't have these wrinkles. And
But I'm lucky because like just big fat guy that everybody likes. One of the fucking best guys to be. You know what I mean? You don't have to
Right.
look good. You know, like
Right.
I never have to worry about that. I just have to like stay alive long enough to enjoy it.
you just got to
know?
stay funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't want to be the bitter fat guy. That's a tough
Right.
guy to be. Yeah,
but
yeah.
the funny fat guy, it's a great gig.
Great gig, one of the best in the fucking universe. It's like, I'm a good time. I'm a great hang. We'll just fucking when I'm on in party mode. There is, I mean, we're eating like animals. I know the best places. I get fucked up all the time. But now I'm like, let me fucking survive the road. Let me stay sober.
So you're staying sober and you're trying to exercise.
Yeah, I'm
And-
working out. My little brother actually he started a gym, Odyssey Strength, in Maryland. We did some video series over the summer. We did like a workout series together. He's a great trainer. He really is. My brother Nick, and he's got a little workout plan for me where it's like, you know, if I miss a day because I'm traveling or whatever, it's a full body workout. He's got me on a thing, and like I haven't maintained the weight loss, but I keep working out. I'm getting stronger. I've stayed sober, and it's like little baby steps because it's like. You have to realize if this is what you want, if like stand up and touring is what you want, this is just what my life's gonna be like. So I have to figure out how to get healthy within it. Like I
Right.
thought I could take at one point I was like fantasizing about I'm gonna take a year off and I'm just gonna fucking do everything right. And that would be great. I would really enjoy that because I lost a lot of weight during the pandemic because all I had to do was like focus and I really liked it. But then life fucking happens, and it's like if you want to be on the road, it's hard. There's obstacles, and I don't have my fucking willpower is not great.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
you
like-
can develop that. You really can.
and that's what I'm trying to do.
It seems like you're doing it.
So I'm trying step by step. Next tour, I'm going to try doing some meal like meal
prep?
meal delivery stuff to like
Nice.
the hotel and just like
That's a great move.
That's the next move. So step by step. But my
That's
brother's
a really good move.
he's been great. Like it's really nice to have like a fucking health professional, like a guy who
As a
can-
brother.
as
That's
my
amazing.
brother. And
That's a
I
great
feel like a
resource.
dumbass for not, we've had, for not reaching out. Like he was like, why didn't you hit me up on the road? He was like, because when we went back, like when I went back the summer after, I was in great shape for me after the pandemic, and then I toured for the whole year. And dude, it was like when I went back, I was like, let's go, bro, let's get jacked. He was like, you're not even touching weights. I was fucking opening bands up. I was doing like fucking.
Oh,
you
he's
know.
very smart then.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
No, he's great. Nico Halkias. Check him out. Check out Odyssey Strength.
Yeah, a friend of mine decided to start working out. Went to this trainer, got 3 hernias.
That's what would happen, dude. I
I'm
couldn't.
like, what happened? And
Yeah.
he's like, he had me doing way too much, way too hard. And he's an older guy.
Right.
Now he's kind of fucked.
Yeah, dude. My brother had me doing like the kind of
That's
workouts
really smart.
an old woman does when she breaks her hip. You know what I mean? Like it
That's
was like.
very smart of him. That's,
Yeah.
Well, he loves you. That's
yeah, he's
awesome.
the man. No, he's the man. And
You follow Action Bronson?
I fucking love Action
My man,
Bronson.
Action
Yeah.
Bronson's a shit.
Yeah.
I worked out with Action Bronson when he was here. When he was in town to do my podcast, we went and worked out at the
Fuck
Onyx
yeah.
gym. That dude gets after it.
Yeah.
We did a kettlebell workout under John Wolfe, and he
Yeah.
fucking gets after it every day, that guy does.
That's-
and he was so much bigger than you.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was so
yeah.
big and so unhealthy, and he had a kid, and he's like, I got to
Yeah.
fix my life.
No, I get that. And honestly,
beautiful.
I love that little story. And like, I do think, as much as I don't think I can take a whole year off, I am really looking. Like even this winter, I'm taking 4 weeks off, and I'm just going. Just all health before the tour starts, and that'll be fun. Because Action Bronson just fucking, he was just dedicated. And that's
Dedicated.
awesome. That's awesome.
Still
to
is.
see.
He's a fucking everyday guy. It's amazing.
sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
No, I want big arms, little titties. That's
Nice.
my goal, dude.
There- What is he doing? Pro
Yeah, he's
wrestling,
wrestling
now?
now. Yeah.
He's jacked now, dude.
He's awesome.
He used
did,
to be a big guy. Now he's a big jack guy.
He did. Sam Morril, me and Sam. He had a show. Sam was the host of the show on MSG. He's the man.
He's just body checking people, knocking them to the ground. Boom. Oh, look at this. This is so ridiculous.
Nah, he's the man. He did a lot for the plus size community.
Well, he showed you there's a way out.
Yeah.
And you can become healthy. He's so much
Yeah, yeah.
healthier.
No, him and Ethan Suplee. Ethan's a
Yes,
fucking man.
Ethan's
I love
a
that
man
guy.
too. He's a guy that I told him, I go, if I saw you today, I'd be like, that's the guy I avoided in jiu-jitsu class. Like, fuck out of here, you big
Yeah,
gorilla.
yeah.
He's so big.
He's so
but
big,
he started
yeah.
out like, he broke his stitches. Like he got skin removed, lost the weight, and then regained it to the point where he's like he had to get
Yeah.
more
Damn.
done. Yeah, he's honest about it all, and now he looks fucking amazing.
No, he's the man. He's just such a cool dude.
just a really interesting guy too.
Yeah.
Interesting guy to talk to.
And look at his fucking career. I mean,
I know.
has worked with every cool director. Like,
He's been around forever.
so many fucking cool,
Yeah.
from like childhood shit to like Scorsese movies. He's the fucking man.
Whenever a person can become super healthy in front of everybody like that, that's a giant. It's a huge, like, force of energy for people. There's so
Definitely.
much. Look how big he is now.
Nah, dude,
he's fucking
yeah.
jacked.
He's jacked as
And look
shit.
how like overweight he was on the left, and look what he looks like now.
Yeah.
I mean. But
I love
that's
bo- like, I-
for people that are like out there that don't have hope and they feel like they fucked their life up impossibly.
For
You
sure.
see that guy and you go, oh,
Yeah.
he did it in front of everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
Did it in front of the whole world.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy either. Like, that shit's fucking tough.
No, and he fucking slipped a few times.
Yeah,
and
and
went
that's
back to
human.
getting
That's the
big.
other thing.
Yes.
That's the other thing is that, like, yeah, shit happens, dude.
Shit
and especially
happens.
when your biggest thing is food. Like, for me, I can do a lot of drugs. I can fucking stop doing them. I'm pretty lucky in that, where I don't really get addicted. It's food. Food gets me. Like, it is the drug. Like, I've stayed sober on this tour, and I've been healthier, but my eating is what slips, and that's what,
Yeah.
it's like, so that's why I was like, dude, sobriety will help. It'll keep the guardrails so you don't go crazy. Like, when I get high, it's like, forget it. We're ordering fucking 6 entrees just
Right.
to have a little taste of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, after shows especially, right?
Oh,
you feel like
dude,
you deserve it.
There's nothing better. Truly, like, heaven is the way I would like to do the road, and you don't get unhealthy. Like, if you get
Right.
more jacked according to if you eat more, that's heaven. It's like, after a show, I'm eating 18 wings, and people are like, you should slow down. It's like, I need the 6-pack. I got to get the 24.
Trying to get jacked. Imagine if that was what got you jacked. If
I
your
would
body
be-
was like a
I'd
furnace,
be Ronnie Coleman, bro.
the more food you throw in there, the hotter it gets.
Doing the little fucking.
Imagine if it's all about how much food you ate.
I would be the fucking most jacked man of all time.
We would run out of food.
Yeah.
we would start eating each other.
Yeah.
If that was the case.
Yeah,
People
those
would resort to
crocodiles.
cannibalism.
We'd get rid of the crocodiles. We'd
Yeah.
be getting crocodile barbecue for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, there's nothing better than like.
Oh my
after a
God,
show.
food after shows, especially after you smoked a joint, and you go to a place that has good food, like
Oh, it's the fucking.
while you're
best.
eating, it's the most amazing.
And you're
food
with your
ever.
friends.
Yes, and you're having fun,
You're
and
having
the
fun.
pressure of the show's off. You had a great time.
That's the hardest part about the worst part about comedy is that the day doesn't end. You have something to worry about up until midnight.
right.
Like you wake up and you're less stressed than you would be at 7 p.m. But it's like you don't get breakfast is the only kind of like non-stressful time when you're
Right.
on the road because it's like the show is so far away. But like you're not done for the day until fucking midnight.
And then if
it's
you're
like-
eating dinner, you got to be careful. Like, how many hours do I have before the show?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I gotta like cut down the carbs. And
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no
yeah.
pasta.
Yeah.
Nothing that's gonna slow me down.
Totally.
Because it'll slow your brain down. That's what you
dude.
don't realize.
100%.
You don't think about it. But when you have food digesting in your body, it slows your fucking brain down.
Yeah, dude, and I was just going on stage just like after fucking I could take an edible at 3 p.m. and have a whole pizza. I'll sleep it off. It was just like I was in Providence. I did this little thing on YouTube. It was like when the pleasure stops because my last tour was the Prince of Pleasure tour, and the last stop was Providence and Philly. And I just brought my buddy Matt Halkias along. He's done stuff with Sam. He directed his Rooftop special, and it was just and my buddy Eldis. He was fucking he was with me. But he produces shit for me now, and they just had a camera going, and it just captured like, bro, I took edibles. I thought they were 10 milligrams. It was or I thought they were 5. They were 50s. And I just have 100 milligrams going. I'm eating like shit. We have a fucking breakfast, and I'm just like, and the breakfast, which is supposed to be like a good meal for the day, I'm ordering we'll get a creme brulee French toast for the table. The fat guy move for the table, and just like I'm crushing 7/8 of it. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's mine. That kind of shit. And I was just I was just like, there was a show, the Saturday show. I was like, I'm in a fugue state. I don't remember what the fuck's going on here because I'm off that next day after edibles is the best feeling. Like I find where you're like not as high, but it's still like in your system.
You're relaxed.
You're just relaxed, but you're still like you don't want to be doing work. You want to be fucking looking up the fucking, crocodile videos. You know what I mean? You want to see baboons get their shit rocked. And I was just like full of pancakes, just like, and then we're in Providence, so we go to Little Italy, full fucking Italian chicken cutlet. I mean, I was fucked up, dude.
Boy.
And you know what? What's funny is it does slow your brain down, but it's like, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where I love when a fat athlete, you know what I mean? Because it's like
Look at John Daly.
Because it's John Daly. Because it's like, you have to be finesse. You have to have finesse. You know what I mean? Like you can't be a pure power player. So you have to actually be more aware of what you have because you're not firing on all cylinders, and you can get by on just pure muscle memory, whatever. And those were actually pretty fun. That's the irony is like, I'm actually pretty good at comedy when I'm that fucked up. like shit. And when I'm like,
well, you're having fun.
Exactly. That is really what it is.
That's
I'm
a
having
lot of it,
blast.
man. I mean, if you're not having fun, it's very hard to be funny.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, even if you're saying the same thing.
No, that's a great point. Because my favorite kind of comedy is just like when you're trying to have a fucking good time. When it's like, I'm telling you about me. I'm telling you about personal stories. Like, I personally am I'm not trying to make a lot of points. I'm trying to tell you about a time my dick wasn't getting hard. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you about embarrassing myself sexually.
You're having fun.
And that's what I do. We were talking about a little bit about like podcasts. That's what I realized. Like, a podcast when you're really doing it right is just about having. Like, I was gonna just stop podcasting, and then I was like, "Fuck it, it's pretty fun."
It's the most fun. It's the next level of what started with the Opie and Anthony show. What started with the Opie and Anthony show was they had comics on, they would hang. And we'd all just talk shit to each other, and it was so much fun. Yeah. And you always look forward to it. It was the only morning show that I would like legitimately always look forward to. Oh, yeah, because
that's in the era where every morning show, I mean, thank God I came up in like I've only done 2 morning shows as a headliner.
Oh, you got lucky.
Because I got everybody.
But some of them were a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
There was a bunch that I used to really enjoy doing. Guys in Philly and Arizona and Seattle. There was a bunch that were really fun. But some of them were dry, and some of them,
For sure.
the DJ was kind of douchey, and some of them, they were really cool.
Because they're these little kings of their own little domain.
Exactly.
And they hate when someone actually is funnier than them. And
It's also like you're the most renegade of all art forms. You
Right.
just went to bed an hour ago.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
smell
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
tequila.
And it's-
You've got glitter on your face for
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah,
reason.
yeah,
and you're sitting there talking shit,
Right.
and you're entertaining, and you're having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And some guys bring the people in, like Bert Kreischer. He'll get everybody drunk with him.
Yeah.
And he'll like bring the party to those things. He's
Yeah.
really good at. He was really always really. I don't think he does morning shows anymore. He probably doesn't have to.
Yeah.
But he might do them if he's
If
doing
he
it for
wants
a
to.
friend.
Like, he's also like the kind of lunatic that likes doing shit like that.
He would do it for a friend,
Yeah.
guys that he knows from back in the day. But
Yeah.
the point is like,
After he's been drunk all night. Like I
Yeah.
remember I was in Tampa and I was opening for Bobby, and he brought me in to do morning radio with him, and Bert was also we were at Side Splitters and Bert was at the Improv or whatever, and Bert was like getting fucked up and he was about to run a fucking marathon that day or something. And I was like, what? And me and Bobby had driven through the night, so we only had like a few hours of sleep. And I was like, I feel like a bus hit me. I'm, however much younger than this guy, and he's just getting fucked up at 6 a.m. He's gonna go he's gonna go do 2 shows and run a marathon.
well, as much as Bert drinks, he's always consistently worked out.
Yeah.
I think that makes a big difference because, like, when we did this Sober October fitness challenge a few years ago, he put in real fucking numbers every day.
Yeah.
Because we all had to wear a chest strap
Right,
and
right,
reads how much
right.
exercise
Yeah.
you've done. He put in real numbers every day. So the dude, even though he would hammer the booze, he also works out.
Yeah.
And, like, that's his strategy. His strategy is to keep his body healthy so he
That
can
makes
drink.
sense. Respect. Respect, man.
I mean, obviously it's working.
Yeah.
How do you not love the guy?
No,
he's
he
one of
rules.
the best people ever.
Yeah, he's a great
such a
he's a
character.
great hang.
Yeah, he's such a character.
Yeah. But no, you're right. It is just like a pod is fun. That's what I realized. And the last pod I did was super fun. And this one that I'm doing now, I just started at Stavi's World. I had Sam Morrell, actually. He was my first guest. So it's like fun. It's like I'm doing
Why
like
did you stop?
the last one?
Yeah.
I was a little burned out. It was at the end of that tour, like we were talking about, where I was just like, I'd gained a lot of weight. I had overworked myself because coming out of the pandemic, I tried to make up for a whole year off by just never getting off the road.
Right.
And it's just like, it was little shit. It's like, I was like, I just want to focus on stand-up, and I just want to like, and I think at a certain point, we had kind of creatively had gotten a little stale, and we were all just like, I don't know, let's kind of like I was feeling like maybe there's another thing. I want to pour all my energy into stand-up, and it was just like, I kind of just stopped everything. I took a little break, and I put the special out, and I thought I was just gonna have it. I was just gonna take it easy. I thought it was like, all right, I'm just gonna regroup. I'll take some time off, start building the next special slowly, and then I was just like, fucking YouTube and TikTok and all this shit. As much as we shit on it, like that shit jumped my career up. Where I was like, fuck, I can't really take a break now because like I'm selling tickets like I never have sold before, and it was just kind of the thing where I was planning on just taking a lot of time off.
How long were you take off?
I was just going to focus on stand-up and try and get healthier, kind of like that that year that I was dreaming about. And it was like the summer that I spent with my brother, I thought it was going to be 3 months. It ended up being like 4 weeks.
Well, here's one thing you can do. You could hold yourself accountable by
Yeah.
talking about it publicly
That's true.
on your podcast.
That's true.
And when you do something like that, it's one of the things that I find whenever we do these Sober October things. We tell everybody what we have to do every day.
Yeah.
And then we're
That is
held
true.
accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you say, you have a goal and you work towards that goal, and people get to see it, and then they
Yeah.
can become invested in it, and they
Yeah.
root for you.
That's true.
And it's I feel like for podcasts for comics in this day and age, I feel like it's just as important as social media, if not more important, to have a podcast. It's like even if you only like talk about shit that you think about in the news, like something wacky goes down.
Yeah.
Kanye West says he loves Hitler,
Right,
or
right.
something
Hilarious
happens.
to see somebody make Alex Jones uncomfortable.
Yeah, some wild shit goes down in the
yeah.
world that you didn't expect, and
Yeah.
you could talk about it.
Yeah.
And, just do it on a regular basis, and people enjoy it. And it doesn't have to be long, and it doesn't have to have guests. In fact, Bill Burr, one of my favorite podcasts ever, no guest. Tim
Yeah.
Dillon, one of my favorite ever. Very rarely does he have a guest on.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's just him and his
fucking
producer.
around.
and you develop a style of talking shit that is very entertaining.
For sure.
And it helps your writing. I know it helps Tim's, and Bill says it helps his too, because you're constantly ranting about stuff, and every now and then you can take those rants, extract them. And especially Dylan, because Dylan is essentially doing a one audience member show.
It's insane, yeah. So it's wild.
And it's massively improved his stand-up.
Yeah.
But also improved the amount of people that are coming to see him because of the podcast. It's like all those things work in synergy, and everybody wants to get on a show, right? Get on a show, it's great, you get a paycheck. You could do that yourself.
I think that's over. No, I really think like YouTube and podcasts are so much. Like I have friends who are on TV, and it does not really change your life. Like
you become a part of a system, right?
Yeah.
And you have to work on this thing that the system is creating, and your other stuff is all on the side now.
And it's not as
including your
lucrative as
stand-up.
it used to be. You know,
No.
like it used to be. It made sense because it's like, yeah, you get that fucking check, you're good.
Well, it used to be if you became the person who the sitcom was named after, like
Yeah,
Roseanne
yeah,
or Seinfeld.
Yeah.
That's the fucking
Yeah.
top of the mountain.
Yeah. That's true.
Then you're set for life.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I like doing on this one, so it's Stavros World. It came out of like I was doing an advice show over the pandemic because I didn't feel like I was near an audience, so I did it on Twitch, so it was live, and people would call in, and I wouldn't screen the calls. I had a producer, and so I would just respond to whatever questions people were asking off the top of my head, and it was like I got to kind of experience a live show. I got to kind of do crowd work, and there's 600 people watching on Twitch, and it felt kind of nice. And then I realized I kind of liked it. Like I liked the advice part of it. I liked kind of sharing my perspective with people, and then I would interview my friends. Comedians are all they have some kind of mental illness, some kind of hang up, something. So it was always fun to interview a friend for like a half hour, talk about their shit, and then get into it and then just roast. Voicemails or whatever, and it's a fun little like lovingly shit on your friend, like you lovingly shit on your callers, and like and then also try and give some good advice. And so I'm excited for it, and it's cool. It's like it'll be a good. I got my best friend like who I grew up with to be the producer. He doesn't know.
Nice.
He has no idea how to do anything.
Perfect.
So it's like he's fucking shit up, but he's learning really good. But it's fun. It's really fun. And the last show was super great too. We had a blast. And we made some hilarious stuff, but it's also like you want to be doing the next thing, and you want to always kind of be evolving a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you got a good attitude, dude. And it's smart.
Thank you, bro.
And I'm glad you're doing it again.
Yeah.
I think everybody should. I mean, if you want to, it doesn't mean that you don't have to.
Well,
I mean,
it is
there's a
also
lot
just-
of great comics that don't have one.
Yeah.
it's
Business wise, also, it's just like
It's smart.
it's just you got to do it. So Stavros World, go subscribe, everybody.
And it's on everything.
It's on everything. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. Whatever. Samarillo was our first guest. Our second guest, the Are You Garbage guys. I don't know if you know them. They're very funny.
Nice.
They're really great. And then a lot of great people. Soder, Joe List.
Is that Ryan
Marie
Long? Are You
Faustin.
Garbage?
No. That's
his is.
I forget what's Ryan's. Are You Garbage is Foley and Kevin Ryan.
Nice.
Philly guys, very funny guys. But yeah.
There's a lot of good ones out there now. It's a fun time for comedy because comics, like there's a gang of us out there where we communicate with each other. We do each other's podcasts. We do shows together. It's like it's a rare time.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's an interesting time.
It almost feels like everyone is kind of reinventing like a network. You know what I mean? It just feels like we're kind of reinventing everything. Where it's like a pod, like you were saying, you were just getting blasted on a fucking MacBook 12 years ago, and like, look at this shit. We're in a compound. There's fucking bidets in your bathroom. I didn't have to shit. I just put my ass on it to just be clean for the pod. Like I was like, it's fucking moved. And like even YouTube, I kind of feel like I just kind of started throwing my shit up there just to see what would happen to prep for the special coming out. And it's like now it's like there's a legit audience, and now I get to do fun stuff like make a workout series with my brother, and like that's not strictly stand up, but it's funny. It's
You can do anything you want, man.
It's pretty fun.
If you're into fucking baseball cards, you can do a thing on it doesn't matter. Do whatever the fuck you want. And that's the thing about the world that we're living in now. There's so much more freedom of expression, even though people are trying to clamp down on it and everyone's talking about censorship. And there's a lot of that too, but that just seems to be a part of the natural human experience. Like when people get into positions of power, they want to silence opposing voices. Those voices bother them. Doesn't matter if it's Republicans or Democrats. People constantly do it, and they always want to blame the left is always censoring, and then the right is always and this. But it seems like it's a fucking normal human thing to do. And the internet is like one of the rare times ever where like a break in the dam.
Yeah.
And just whoosh.
Well, that's what I do think that's true, where it's like you can fucking find your, even if there's someone is trying to quote cancel you or whatever, it's like look at Shane or look at whatever, it's like you can figure it out. A lot of people like, you know, have a career despite those attempts or whatever, and it's like I've said some fucked up shit as a joke. I get, you know, maybe some people try and cancel me, but it's like I'm trying to build my own audience, and I'm trying to just like, you know.
You're also doing comedy live, right? And if you're talking shit, you take chances. And sometimes you don't even realize what you're saying while you're saying it.
Yeah.
You're trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Patrice had a great line about that. It's like a joke that bombs and a joke that kills all comes from the same place.
Right, interesting.
The person's just trying to be funny.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's the intention of it. The intention is never to hurt someone.
Yeah, and you do have to, like, you know, you have to. What did Chris Rock say? That there was like a real racist. There's been racist versions of all his jokes or something like that when he was figuring them out.
Well, Chris, that one bit that became one of his best bits ever. That I love black people, but I hate N-words.
Sure.
That bit is a fantastic bit, and apparently, like, he struggled with that bit for a long time before he got it to work.
Right.
Because sometimes when you have a complicated idea in your head,
of course,
you're like, how do I get this fucking thing to work?
And
you can almost bail on it, and then it becomes like your closing bit.
Louis said something where he had like the joke about it's like molesting children, or it's like we people would like survive if they didn't. Or more children would survive if, like, if we didn't, we're so mean to child molesters, which is like, it's like an interest. It's even saying that, I'm like, God damn. But it would have been interesting to see, you know, where the bit went, I suppose. But yeah, I do think there's a freedom to do whatever you want.
Didn't that bit make it on a special?
I'm not sure.
I think that bit might have made it on a special.
I just remember talking about it back in the day.
Yeah, I think he might have actually figured out a way to make that work.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he could do that. But that's what he likes to do too.
I do think that like you should have that leeway, but I also think like sometimes it is like I do think like you should be able to say whatever you want, but it's also like using nuclear weapons, where it's like, yeah, Chris Rock can do it. But not every fucking open micer can do it. You know what I mean? It's like that's what it is about.
But how do they learn how to do it? They learn how to do it by stumbling. They learn how to do it by trying.
But with easier
and falling
stuff,
flat on their face.
It's
right.
like,
but they don't know that while they're doing it.
It's like you wouldn't spar fucking, you know, you wouldn't spar with BJ Penn to learn. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing: you might have to. If you're in a jiu-jitsu class, the point is if you're a comic, but if you're a comic and you're on stage, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't have a coach.
Right.
You don't have a trainer. No one's showing you how to do it. And if you're a dumb kid and you're 21 years old and you have this complicated idea in your head, you think you're going to figure out how to make funny in front of these people, but you fall flat on your face, you should still try it.
Sure.
That's how you learn. You learn by fucking up.
Yeah, I would say keep it to like, but you do have this epidemic of like young kids who think they're ready.
Oh yeah.
For the big shit.
Oh my
and it's
God.
like you're not, bro.
You didn't feel like that when you were young? You talked about how you did.
I guess that's true, but I guess I didn't drop any N-bombs. I'll put it that. You know what I mean? Like that's I did, but I was talking about wiping my own ass and, you know, how little still the same ideas.
But everybody's delusional about their ability.
Yes, for sure.
And for young guys coming up, you have all this testosterone and fucking zero clue on how the world works yet, and you start making a living doing comedy, or you start doing open mics and getting laughs, and you think you're profound.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like
absolutely.
There's a lot of people that pretending to be profound on stage.
One of the worst things.
One of the most painful things.
I just in general don't like making a point. I like telling a funny story.
Fun.
You know,
it's more fun to not make a point, and a lot of people love that. You know, look, we talked about it the other day about Bill Hicks. Like Bill Hicks was like such a revolutionary comedian because like all he had was points. Like everything was like intense points. But it fucked a lot of people up because a lot of young dorks imitated him
fully,
and they tried I definitely probably did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely had some
Pontificating Joe.
Yeah, I definitely had some nonsense that I fucking tried. I was 20 because when I first saw him, I was 21. I was
Oh,
like
yeah.
super impressionable. I was an
Yeah.
open micer.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of those guys that you'd see, and you found yourself like sounding like them.
Absolutely.
Like Attell, like Patrice would call them babies.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
Attell's
yeah.
got so many babies all around town.
Patrice for generations.
Generations
like
had babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin Harris had a lot of babies. There's a lot of people that imitated Robin Harris when he was
Yeah.
at the top in L.A. back in the
Yeah.
90s. There's a bunch of those guys that are like super influential, very charismatic people, and everybody just, Brody Stevens.
Yeah,
people would talk like Brody.
A lot of people were doing Canaan in Brooklyn when I was coming up.
right,
There was a
right.
lot of Canaans going on.
There's a lot of people that did Stanhope. Stanhope.
Oh, without
A lot of
question.
people did Stanhope.
Yeah, I mean, there was times where I was just like, I couldn't. There were some comedians that I didn't want to watch because I didn't want to like Sean Patton's a great example of somebody, and he's got a special out. Everybody should go see it on Peacock. But like, I was just like, I loved Sean, and I wanted to get to how free he is on stage. But I was just like, at a certain point, I was like, I don't think I can watch him because I'll just steal his swag. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
you gotta be
steal his
careful.
like fun, like his energy, and that's another thing with stand up is like. Energy is part of it. Like vibe is part of it. You
Yep,
know.
yep.
And so I don't know. I try and just do my own. You know.
Vibe is definitely part of it. There's a lot going on up there, man. I always say it's kind of like a mass hypnosis. It's like everybody, like if a great comic's on stage, if you're on stage and you're killing, I'm letting you think for me.
Right.
I'm
true.
just sitting here like this, and you're telling me these stories, and all I'm doing is like letting you think for me. You're telling me, I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm getting the picture.
Yeah.
I'm just going along on this ride.
Yeah.
And when someone can do that to a large group of people, it's very similar to a kind of hypnosis. It's a laughter hypnosis.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. It's like, and what's beautiful about it too is that like, it's not every show is different. That's what I love. Like the
Yeah.
couple things that you were talking about earlier, where it's like you are basically self-taught. You can't really. You could take a class, but it's not really.
Not only that, no one teaches it like you.
Yeah.
Like, Kurt Mesker's not going to teach a class,
Of course.
Mark Norman's not going to teach a
Yeah.
class.
right.
You have to-
Right. That's a great
The
point.
people that teach classes aren't usually people that did so good at it in the first place.
Exactly, and it's like you want to. It's like they teach you to take the mic out of the stand and put the mic away, but it's like you really just have to. There is no solution other than get on stage as much as possible.
You can get some advice from your peers. That's
Sure.
helped me a lot. Advice from my peers has helped me a lot. But no one can tell you how to do it because the way you do it is different than the way Ari does it.
Yep.
It's different than the way Shane does it. Like
Yep.
you got to kind of do it with your vibe.
And the other thing I really love is that fucking every show is different, and
Yep.
you'll never be in
Yeah.
that room. Those people will never
Right.
be in the same room ever again.
Yeah.
and that shit rocks. I love that.
And if people have their phones in those yonder bags, man, they're in the moment. They're really there.
I really liked. Yeah, Comedy Works, great club. They do that.
It's so
That was
good to
awesome.
do, man. Every club should do it. It changes the vibe of the show.
You're right. People are way more present.
Oh, they're way more
Yeah.
present. They're not distracted at all by their phones, and the comic's more free because you can fuck around on stage more.
Right.
It's the whole thing is better.
Yeah.
We're living in a strange time for comedy, but it's a really good time. There's so many good
I think
comics
it's the
coming
best.
up.
Yeah,
I
love it.
think it's like a golden era for up and coming talent.
And
There's
I
so
don't
many-
even think it's a big deal to like. I know maybe there's a philosophical difference. I don't even think it's a big deal to be a little restrained in what like, because I think you can become funny around like societal constraints a little bit. You know
You
what I
certainly
mean?
can. It's a challenge for
It's
sure.
a challenge, and it's
Jerry
like
Seinfeld used to say that about being clean.
right.
That it is a challenge to
Yeah.
make a really funny joke clean.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, a lot of people, especially back then, they felt like swearing was somehow or another
Cheap.
cheap.
Yeah.
It was a cop out.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and I subscribe to that philosophy because that's how I grew up. Like I started out in those clubs where I thought I was a loser because I liked Dice Clay and Sam Kinison. I like these guys. I like Richard Pryor. I like these
Dude.
guys who swore all
Yeah,
the time.
Richard Pryor was the man,
I was
of
like, why
course.
can't? But there's a value to learning how to construct a joke without swears.
Yeah.
So that like when you fully express yourself where you normally would with swears, it's better. Because
Yeah.
the joke stands by itself. Like we watched Kinison do his first Letterman the other day. We did a Protect Our Parks, and
Oh, hell
when
yeah.
we were watching it, we were like, "Look how good this guy is!" And it's no swears because
I
he's
mean,
doing Letterman.
And it's his. I mean, that's an energy guy where you're like, fuck,
God.
dude, this rules.
He was from another planet.
Yeah.
Like no, dude, that guy when he first came around, he changed comedy. He was the first guy that I ever saw do comedy where I was like, maybe I could do comedy.
Yeah.
Because I thought comedy was like these guys that
In a
were
little
these sort
suit.
of like rolled up sleeves, which is where I dressed like that when I first started. I thought you had to dress like that. I had a blazer on and shit, a funny T-shirt. I I was such a dork.
Oh, fuck yeah. Little twink Joe in the
yeah,
blazer.
yeah, little cutie pie. But I was trying to imitate what a comedian was.
Of course.
And I saw Kinnison, and it made me think like, okay, maybe there's other ways to do this.
Yeah.
And then I saw Dennis Leary, and I saw Hicks, and I saw a lot of these guys like, okay, comedy is it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's like you get a confused idea what comedy is. And then luckily I started out in Boston, and all of those guys, like I talked about Lenny Clark and Don Gavin, they were all coke snorting, big giant guys who got in barroom brawls.
Yeah.
Oh, this is comedy too. Like, whoa.
Well, Boston had a very, because I was definitely a little fucking comedy nerd. So it's like, it was one of the places that early had a very defined local scene with a lot of really good talent where it's like, and you see it. You see who comes out of there from that era.
To this day, I've seen people kill harder in Boston at these local clubs, these local guys like Steve Sweeney, than I have any. No one's killed harder. It's like they've killed as hard as you can kill.
Right. They've maxed it out.
It doesn't get hard. You get just as good, and I've seen guys do just as good.
Right.
But they killed so hard. And Kevin Meaney, he's another guy from Boston. I saw him once at Cast a Rising Star with my friend from high school. We went and sat there, and I couldn't believe how funny it was. It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. It's like, he would do this thing about big pants people.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right. We're big pants people. And he was so comfortable and so in the groove. Like, it was so funny. It was perplexing. I remember me and my friend Diane, we left there and we were like, how is he so funny? How is someone so funny? It's like for an hour and 15 minutes he just destroyed.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I'm trying to it's nice because you get to just chase that. You're like, I gotta get that funny. And it's like,
you just gotta get better every time you try. Just keep trying to get better, and then you're on a path, and then you'll look back. Like Don Herrera said it to me once. He goes, "The beautiful thing about comedy is you can just keep getting better if you keep working on it.
Right.
It's not like a baseball player where your knees go. Like you can keep doing it. You can keep getting better." He's like, "I'm so happy." And Don was like in his late 60s when he was telling me this. He's like, "I'm so happy I'm a comic."
I mean, Attell, you see that with Attell because it's like he's the fucking man.
Better than ever.
It's just like
he's better than ever. He's a monster.
And I do think sometimes it can be hard as you advance to continue to stay better because you have to, he has the discipline to he treats it like dude, I open for him and if he missed a little thing, you could tell he fucking hated it. If he wasn't doing 100 out of 100, it was like a fucking problem. And it's like, but he does. That's the other thing. It's like he thinks he messed something up in his mind. He didn't. It was fucking great. He's the fucking man. And you just see him work on his shit day after day. Like the biggest thrill for me when I moved to New York was being on a show with fucking Dave Attell. When I'm at the Stand and it's the Late Show and he's coming in and you just see this guy. He's working on something. He's killing harder, and he's just he has the discipline to not let being Dave Attell go to his head.
Well, the opposite. It goes the opposite. He fucking hates himself because of that.
Yeah,
he's his own harshest critic. That's
probably.
That's why he's so good.
That's
why he's so good because he's so harsh on himself and his delivery and his material. Gillis is like that too.
True.
Gillis is like, it's fucking, I don't know, I'm on my phone to do this George Washington bit. I mean, I go, shut the fuck up. It's one of the best bits ever. What are you talking about? But it's that's why he's so good because he's fucking hard on himself.
Yeah.
Like the guys that are like we were when we were younger, when you get delusional, you think you can headline, you have 15 minutes. Those, that's not what you're supposed to be.
For sure.
You're supposed to be the opposite. You're supposed to be like, the more you learn, the more terrified you get.
For sure. And that's how you become a fucking, an all-time great when you have that kind of work ethic. But, that's like Giannis Antetokounmpo where he's he works hard as fuck and he's the MVP. But I don't know, man. I could just be a little, I don't want to work that hard. I just want to have a good time also.
You don't have to work that hard. The thing is, it's doing what you're doing.
Shaq.
Do what you do, but keep doing it. It's not that you have to work that hard.
Yeah.
Just do it to your level of enjoyment. There's a balancing act. If you become so obsessed that you spend all your time doing it and then you become this miserable person who's really successful, that's not a success.
True.
Because you're unhappy.
True.
So there's a balance. How much effort do you want to put in versus how much do you want to get out of it?
Right.
And you got to figure out what that is to keep you normal.
Yeah. I want
For me, I just do a bunch of other shit too.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how I keep from going nuts.
That
I
makes
do
sense.
other things that I enjoyed. That's why podcasts help me.
Right.
Because I'll do this too.
Right.
and then I do comedy too,
Yeah.
and then I do the UFC too.
Fuck
I
yeah.
do all. So in having these different things, I keep my mind occupied in different ways.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get burnt out.
Have you always been like hyperact? Like, have you always been doing like 5 different things? Is that always how you were? Like,
Usually I
coming up?
just do one thing, but too crazy.
Right.
So I realized as I got older, like I need other things. I
Yeah,
can't have just
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing. I'm too crazy.
So that's
It's like directing my crazy in manageable doses.
right.
Because
right,
of one thing, like video games, I used to get addicted to Quake, and I would play 8 hours a day, dude.
Hell yeah,
I
dude.
wouldn't stop. I was addicted. It was a real problem.
That's fucking
It
hilarious.
was a real problem, and
Yeah.
I get like that with martial arts. I get like that with a lot of things. So for
Interesting.
me, I have to have other stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if I have like I could get addicted like that to comedy, and that's great. But the problem is like mentally, when I get addicted to something, I get like super obsessed.
Right.
And it becomes the only thing I want to concentrate
Right,
on. And
right,
so I'm
right.
thinking about it when I'm doing other stuff and I'm talking to people. I'm really thinking about comedy or I'm really thinking about martial arts, whatever the
Right,
fuck
right,
the
right.
thing is
What
at the
the thing
time.
was.
It's like for me, like the balancing act is having multiple interests.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's just for me though.
No, that makes
everybody's
sense.
got their own like weird way of
Yeah, I
managing.
definitely get locked into one thing at a time, and I have a hard time switching
Yeah.
gears. So like we're launching the podcast, and I hadn't done stand up in a couple weeks, and now I'm about to do. We were just trying to get everything figured out and recording some pods because I also want to take January off, so you got to bank some, and so I was just in that mode, and now it's like. It does take me a while, I feel like, to shift gears, to like get into like stand-up mode. Like that's why the tour next year, so it starts in February and then we're going to go until May. Almost the only thing I'm focusing on is stand-up because I want to record a special at the end of that. And then it's like, okay, that's over. Now I can kind of like shift gears and maybe, do a little, write a script, do act. I mean, I want to act. I want to do that shit too. But it's like I'm definitely in that mode where I'm like, I'm just addicted to something right now. And
That's
it's,
awesome. That's awesome too. That you're stating it publicly that you work. So then people will be on your side. They'll be with you while you're doing this, which
Yeah.
is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to put that out there, and it also like it holds you accountable. Like makes it's very difficult to do things just decide. Oh, I'm gonna do this every day because like if you don't like have a fucking list of shit that you have to get done, it's so easy to blow stuff off.
And also, it's like when your fucking brain is all fucked. I don't know if you feel like you have ADD or whatever, but it's like I definitely feel like I look every time I look up an article that's like do you have? It's like every part of it. It's like I have that.
Let's look it up. Look up. What is? How do you know if you have ADD? What are the symptoms of ADD, Jamie?
Because my boy Ben O'Brien, he's the fucking man.
I know a Ben O'Brien. I bet they're different guys.
Probably a different guy. Pretty common. It's like no, it's still
Mine's
saying Ben
a
O'Brien.
hunter in Montana.
Yeah, he's not the producer of my online content. My creative producer. No, he's the man. Ben is so fucking funny. But Ben's got like he has no AD. Like every artist, I feel like so many comedians have that shit, and Ben just doesn't. And he was telling me like, you definitely have this. And I was like, nah.
Well, let's find out what it is.
I'm just a little scattered.
What are the symptoms of ADD, young Jamie?
Let's go short for children and teenagers, I guess.
Well, let's do it for that.
Yeah.
He's a teenager at heart.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Having a short attention span and being easily distracted, check.
Yep.
Making careless mistakes, for example, in schoolwork, check. Appearing forgetful or losing things, check. Being unable to stick to tasks that are tedious or time-consuming,
Without question.
triple check.
Yeah.
Appearing to be unable to listen to or carry out instructions, nah, I can do that pretty good.
I'm not that good at that.
Constantly changing activity or task, check. Having difficulty organizing tasks, check.
Organizing is the motherfucker.
Hyperactive and
And then
impulsiveness.
executive dysfunction, whatever that shit is.
Being unable to sit still, especially in calm or quiet surroundings. I don't have that. Constantly fidgeting. I kind of have that when I'm sitting here doing podcasting, but that's just because I'm trying to be aware of my posture and shit.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like these chairs. What are
they're
these,
good.
Like ergonomic shits?
Yeah, they're really good. They keep these are the only ones that I've ever found that are both comfortable and they keep me from having a sore back.
Yeah.
Because like office chairs, you kind of sit in a fucked up way, and
Yeah,
like
these
the
are
middle
nice.
of my back would be tight at the end of a show. Excessive talking, for sure, I have that. Clearly,
Yeah.
excessive physical movement, 100%. I have that. I'm
Yeah.
very excessive.
So you're a child with ADD, bro.
Being unable to wait their turn. No, I'm not that bad at that. I've gotten better at that.
But that's what we were talking about earlier.
Acting without thinking, 100%.
Yeah.
Interrupting conversations, that's me. Little or no sense of danger. I'm not so good at that. Yeah. I kind of am good at it, but kind of also not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I'm medium good.
Yeah.
So I have everything.
You got
except
it all.
like 2 or 3 things.
Yeah. But I just feel like I can't.
So
like,
I should be
I need the
medicated.
list. Yeah, you probably.
Which should I be on?
Here's for
Forget.
adults, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carelessness or lack
Now this
of
is
attention to
absolutely
detail.
me.
Continuing starting new task. What was the one? Forgetfulness. Well, which the one do you? Was there more of them?
Were you doing that as a bit? You're like, what was that one?
Forgetfulness is
Forgetfulness.
Oh, is there more of them?
This is for adults.
This is for adults.
Oh, this one's
I
for
just kept
adults.
scrolling down.
Okay, so carelessness and lack of attention to detail, not necessarily. I pay attention to things that I'm concentrating on.
Yeah.
I'm
I think
very
that's-
detail oriented with actually things I'm trying to do.
But
well.
I think that's the flip side. Like I was listening to Brian Koppelman's podcast. He was talking about how ADD can be like a fucking superpower because sometimes you're so locked in. And he was talking about how like when he was writing his like his first script, it was like he wanted to do it so bad. And sometimes I feel that way too, where I'm in the fucking zone,
Right.
bro. When I really want to get something done, where I'm writing a script I really care about, or I'm working on a joke I really want to get done. And I feel like I could, when I'm in that zone, I'm like, I'm the fucking smartest man alive. I feel like I'm on Limitless.
Here's the question. Is this really a disease, or is it a problem only because human beings are trying to interface with a complex modern society that doesn't match their genetics?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, what is it? I mean, there's got to be some benefit to being locked into some things and being distracted by shit you don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Then if you were a hunter, that would help you because you would concentrate only on the thing you're trying to do. And you would ignore a bunch of other shit that's probably important, but in your mind, not as interesting.
Yeah. I think but I also think some people just don't have that though, where they can just pay attention to their surroundings.
Some people are just
and they're
scattered.
Just like, just being scattered. And ultimately, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, what am I going to do now? I'm fucking 33. I'm not like,
Yeah, but it's helping you with comedy is my point.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Listen, that's the thing.
Well, that's why
It's
I
like-
think a lot of people who end up in comedy or certain artistic fields or something do have that. Cause
But that's the thing. Is that really a disease then? Because that's got a great benefit to it. It just
Yeah.
seems like a manageable asset.
well, it's like, Boban Marjanovic has gigantism or whatever, but it is a disease, but it still makes him a good center.
Andre the Giant.
You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
it is, but it also could help you out. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Where it's like,
Well, that's a different thing, right? Because I think ADD is like super fucking common.
yeah, probably.
But is it real?
It's more of a
there
personality
But is
probably.
there any debate as to whether or not ADD is actually a disease? I mean, are there people out there that say, no, this is like a natural function of the way some people's brains work? And that some
Yeah.
people's brains are not designed to focus on tasks they're not interested in.
I guess
but if they focus on something they are interested in,
Right.
they can get really good at it.
But sometimes you don't even do that.
Yeah, but there's a fucking spectrum of dummies and intelligent people that we have
That's
to
true.
acknowledge. We have
That's a good point.
We don't have to set standards for every fucking human being, regardless of how low their IQ is. I'm
Right,
just saying
right.
for average human beings,
Well, I'm just
isn't it
saying for
possible that that's
me-
an asset?
yeah,
Is there a debate on that?
there probably is.
Yeah, let's see what they say.
The ADHD community.
Are some people thinking that ADD is not actually a disease?
I'm sure plenty.
Yeah.
And that's
I
what
wonder who's right.
I mean, but sometimes I'll take a fucking Adderall or whatever just to, if I have some shit to do, and I'm like, oh, this rocks.
Yeah, but that's amphetamines. Of course it rocks.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why it's so goddamn addictive. That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, I'll
Like
just-
it's addictive.
I'll
It
clean.
rocks. It's not addictive because it sucks.
You're right. That's a good point.
All that
Yeah.
stuff, all that stuff that's addictive is awesome.
Yeah.
Except maybe gambling.
Yeah,
But if you win,
but
it's
when you
awesome.
win, that's a fucking nice one.
All of it's awesome. There's a reason why people get addicted to things.
Yeah.
They're addicted to things that give them that crazy dopamine rush.
I
Whatever
never-
the fuck it is.
I never got into gambling because I think I got out of it at a young age. Because like we gambled in Greektown. I grew up in Baltimore. Grew up in Greektown. It was like I think two of my friends growing up just happened to be like compulsive gamblers. Like we had a bookie when we were like 14.
Oh
and
my
he would
God.
like call in football games.
You ever talk to Diaz about it?
No.
Oh my, Diaz was a bookie.
Whoa, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Diaz used to answer phones, used to place calls.
He looks like he could.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
he's a bookie.
Yeah, he knew bookies. He worked in offices.
Yeah.
He's the real deal.
No, so I got out of that.
Good for you, man, because that's a scary one. I've seen people lose their lives to gambling. It's wild to see.
That's a tough
It's
one.
wild to see people who can't stop going to the casino. It's wild to see people who can't stop going betting on cards or horses.
Yeah.
Or when I moved to New York in like 92, 91, 92, whenever it was, I started hanging out at this pool hall, and this pool hall was filled with degenerate gamblers.
Everybody
I
just
was
fucking-
never around those kind of people when I was younger.
Totally.
And all of a sudden, as like a 23-year-old, I'm hanging around with these fucking animals that just all would lie to each other, and they were all stealing money, and they were all gambling. A bunch of guys had just gotten out of jail. It was the wildest place to hang out.
Yeah.
Because I got to be exposed to this group. It was mostly like bachelor men who didn't have kids, who didn't fit in with regular society. And they were at this place where they all just hung out together with other men. They smoked cigarettes and talked shit and gambled. And the place was open until 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was a wild experience for me as like a pretty fucking naive 23-year-old.
Because you're just coming out of like, fucking college or whatever the fuck.
Not even for me. I was martial arts. I was
Oh,
fighting.
shit. Holy
so I
fuck.
went from that
Damn,
to
you were
starting to
fighting
do
that young?
stand-up. Yeah. So
Damn.
to starting to do stand-up when I was 21, and then
So
all of
that's
a
like
sudden
a-
I was around these fucking people
That's
that
a world of discipline.
Yes.
And then you go to like fucking degenerates.
just full degenerates. I couldn't believe I'd never been around people that were addicted
That's
to gambling.
awesome.
It was wild. There were so many of them.
Yeah, they're betting on coin flips.
They
and
were
shit.
always losing and winning and losing and winning and fucking. Dang, I almost fucking had him, that
Yeah,
cocksucker,
yeah,
and then I missed a fucking 9-ball. That table's not level. All these arguments.
the
and
cheating.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was crazy. It was just, but these people were renegades. They were like this part of society that I didn't know existed. People that never felt like they fit in anywhere,
Right.
and they found this one thing and they hung out there together.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. I mean, the Greek town, there's like a bunch of like the coffee houses that like old Greek guys just hang out and they're
Drink
gambling,
coffee, talk shit,
talk
throw
shit.
dice.
Yeah, just
Yeah, play
avoid their
cards.
families.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like just fucking hang out.
Well, there was thousands of those places in New York City at the turn of the century. At the turn of the century in New York City, I think there was close to 1,000 pool halls.
Damn.
That was where
wild.
bachelor men used to go. And
You
this
keep-
is like after the war. Like
The way you're describing it sounds 100% like they're sucking each other off.
probably were.
Like, these bachelor
The
men.
Romans did it.
Yeah.
Well, I think
To
probably,
clear your mind for before doing some philosophy.
Well, there was this. The pool was invented. The word pool it refers to money. Pool your money together.
Oh, fuck.
Billiards is the game. The game is billiards or pocket billiards. The original game was three-cushion billiards, and then they developed pocket billiards, mostly in America.
Damn.
And when you watch them when they're playing pool, they're playing it for money.
Yeah.
So all those guys back in the day, like they were just these gambling addicts that
course.
lived in this time where they felt like they were outcasts of society, and they were all over New York City.
Yeah. That's a fucking.
It was a wild culture to get exposed to as a young
Did you
comic.
ever lose money?
Oh yeah. I was terrible. I wasn't good.
you
I
did
became
gamble.
pretty good. I became pretty good, but I became what's called like a B player. There was
Okay.
most good players can beat me.
So what was the like compulsion to be going there? Just hanging
Just the
out?
game was so exciting.
Interesting.
And to play for money when you're down on a ball, and if you make it, you win, and if you miss it, you lose.
Damn.
And that feeling of the nerves and the excitement, and when you make it and you win, and tournaments. We played a lot of tournaments.
That's fun.
Those are really fun because you get to match up. Like you could get a tournament, and all of a sudden you're matched up with a world champion.
Damn.
Because they would play in like regular tournaments.
Just to keep the fucking knives sharp.
They always play. Like
Yeah.
you can play. And so they would make them handicap. Like they would have to give you extra balls on the wire, or extra games on the wire rather, or extra balls in the game. But you would be able to play sometimes like straight up with a guy like Efren Reyes, the greatest pool player of all time.
Damn.
There's no time where you ever could play pickup basketball against Michael Jordan.
Right.
But if you're a pool player, you could enter into like a local professional tournament,
That's wild.
and you could play Buddy Hall or Steve Miserak.
Damn.
Crazy. Johnny Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, you could. There was this place called Hard Times that I used to go to when I first moved to L.A., and they had a Sunday tournament. And the Sunday tournament was all the top players in the world. These guys from the Philippines, like Francisco Bustamante and Dennis Arcolo.
These names all sound fake, but I
Oh
love it.
man, they were the
Dennis
best.
Bustamante.
The Filipinos, man. There's a Filipino invasion where they came over here and just fucked everybody up.
That's awesome.
Filipinos are some of the greatest pool players of all time.
Good for them.
It's crazy. Like the GIs brought pool to the Philippines in the 1950s, and then the Filipinos mastered that
it.
shit.
Fuck yeah.
Also because they're playing outside,
Yeah.
so they have like all this moisture on the table, and then they
Yeah,
have
dude.
fucked up tables that are out of balance. So they just developed the best strokes.
That's sick.
They know how to like really stroke through the ball, best position play,
That's great.
dude.
Take that, GIs.
They came over here and changed the game. Efren Reyes, he came over here under a fake name.
Fuck
Came
yeah,
over here
dude.
under name Cesar Morales. and started robbing everybody. Came over from the Philippines unknown with a fake name.
That rocks, dude.
And just was robbing everybody.
Just making a fortune, just hustling people.
People just couldn't believe how good he was.
Yeah.
So this dude, they call him the magician.
And how long do you still play pool?
Oh yeah, I have two tables
still,
here. I'll show you afterwards. I have two tables here. I play all the time.
How'd you get started?
Yeah.
Was it just?
It just got started because I walked into that pool hall that one day.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I'd played a couple times with my friends, and I had this ex-girlfriend that liked to play pool. And we played a couple of times, but we were terrible. We didn't know what we were doing. And then I walked in this pool hall, and I watched guys play for money.
Nice.
And I was like, this is wild. And people are cheering and hollering, and they're trying to gamble more.
Yeah.
It was a crazy environment of, like, guys getting to do what they really enjoyed doing. You know, just having fun, talking shit with each other, not hindered by jobs that make you dress a certain way,
right.
or, offices that make you talk a certain way. These are just wild folk who didn't fit in.
Yeah, blowing some steam.
But
off.
unfortunately, a lot of them were gambling guys.
A lot of those guys had their shins broken.
A lot of them were drug addicts. A lot of them were. I was exposed to the world of, like, guys who use heroin and coke.
Damn.
Like, everybody did something. Everybody was doing pills. Everybody was doing something. They were all doing drugs.
Yeah, The Color of Money is my only, like, that's all.
Kind
I know
of. There's moments in that movie where it's kind of maybe a little bit accurate. Not
It's
totally,
just a great movie, but it's like sometimes they don't nail the verisimilitude.
Well, they nailed it with. Do you ever see when Tom Cruise pull up the scene? Tom Cruise plays Grady Stevens in The Color of Money.
Oh hell yeah! I don't remember that one off the top of my
This
head,
is
but
why
yeah.
this is important.
Okay.
The guy he's playing is really the best player in the world at the time.
That's
the
it.
guy he's playing is Keith McCready. They call him the Earthquake.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Keith McCready, whoo! When he was young, dude, he made people quit pool. Guys would just lose $50,000, $100,000 to him. He was an assassin.
Goddamn.
Just an assassin out of California. Damn. And he played out of Hard Times Billiards. And this motherfucker was, like, legendary through the whole country for gambling. Like, and the way he played with a sidearm stroke because he learned how to play pool when he was so small he couldn't reach the table. So he couldn't dangle his cue in a normal way. He had to do it sidearm.
And he just kept it going his whole life.
He kept it that way his whole career.
Damn.
See if you can find that scene. Tom Cruise plays Grady Stevens. So he plays this character in this movie who's the #1 pool player in the world.
Okay.
What's interesting about it is he legitimately was. So when you watch him shoot the ball and move the ball around, that's what, like, an elite, top of the food chain assassin for money pool player looks like.
That's sick.
Because that's what Keith McCready was. He was an assassin for money. Like, guys would bet, like, shit tons of money, and they'd be talking shit to you while he's screwing his cue together. And, like, the stuff that he said in the movie was, like, stuff that he really would say to guys.
Do those guys get
videos
stiffed and shit? Like, because if you're a good pool player, you're not necessarily a guy who can kick someone's ass.
People show up with guns. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
So that's Keith McCready.
Oh, wow.
That's the Earthquake. So this
That's
is
awesome.
him. Give me some volume on this. So when you watch him play, that's how a really, truly elite pool player looks. Like, the difference
Just running
between
the
the
fucking
control,
table.
but it's also the control that he has of the cue ball is, like, he can put that ball within a couple of inches anywhere he wants all over the table. He was a wizard. And so when you're watching him do this in this movie, it's 100% like it would be if he was really playing you.
Just fucking shitting on him.
Just talking shit.
And getting your ass fucked.
The
There's nothing you
idea
can do about it.
Is that Tom Cruise has to play badly because he's playing Grady Stevens, so he has to lose so that the odds on him will be very low when he goes to a tournament because the word will get out that Grady robbed him.
Right.
So he's going to dump this money to Grady, which is all shit that people really did.
Yeah.
But then he
it's
gets
killing
mad.
him. It's killing him inside.
Yeah, because Grady's talking too much shit.
Yeah.
And so eventually Tom Cruise decides that he's going to talk shit back.
Yeah, I mean, what I love about...
Okay, this is a difference. This is when they're at the big tournament.
What I love about this movie, too, is, like, I had no idea about all the fucking actual pool shit, but it's, like, it's such an interesting movie from just a fucking film perspective, because it's, like... Scorsese, when he's just, like, fuck it, I'll be a hired gun. Like, that wasn't his passion project. He was just, like, I'm gonna make a fucking sick movie.
Yeah.
And then you have fucking Tom Cruise, you have fucking, Paul Newman. And it's, like, this beautiful, like... almost like passing of the torch.
Yes.
Like I love anytime like a career, the guys in the movies, it really mirrors the characters. There's something so fucking awesome and poetic about that.
Right, at the same
where
points
it's like
in their
Paul
lives.
Newman is the fucking old piece of ass fucking star, and he's literally teaching as Tom Cruise is about to ascend.
Yes.
It's this and then, Paul Newman would go on to have the later, part where he plays great great rules, the fucking verdict rules. I don't remember if it was before or after this, but just like, I love that shit, dude. And it was like and just to see those guys just against each other for real as actors in the same way that their characters are going, and it's like all of that directed by Scorsese. It's just
and it was all written by Walter Tevis, who was the same guy who wrote The Queen's Gambit.
Oh wow, holy fuck!
Yeah, he also wrote the Hustler. The original
yes,
Paul
which is
Newman,
a great-
Jackie Gleason.
great fucking movie.
He wrote that, and he wrote The Color of Money, and he wrote The Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, that's sick.
Which is amazing.
And yeah, it had another thing that I really like, which is like a weird unofficial sequel thing where it's like it is a sequel, but it's like no one except Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Is like I love when they just they extend a story and it's done because like the odds of that working are so fucking low.
Right,
It's
especially
like-
with a star. You got to bring in a star like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, dude, it's fun.
And they had to teach him how to play pool.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
brought in Mike Siegel to teach him how to play pool. He's one of the greatest pool players of all time. And he's also left-handed, the way Tom Cruise is, which is like
Interesting.
really benefited him. But he taught him how to play pool like, a version, not as good, of course, as Mike Siegel, but a version of the way Mike plays.
Interesting.
You can watch like Mike stroke, the way Mike moves balls around.
And what's cool about, like, I guess we didn't know that, or I wasn't live, but it's like you didn't know that it wasn't clear about Tom Cruise at the time, where it's like, wow, that's really impressive that he would learn how to play pool. And now the motherfucker's like jumping out of fucking jets.
I know.
Like he's a fucking lunatic.
Dude,
It's
you don't know
awesome.
how hard it is to look like you can play pool.
Yeah.
He looked like he could play pool.
For sure.
I mean, it really, you believed it.
He hit a couple shots in the movie
Yes.
where it's like, that's fucking impressive.
He figured out how to play pool like pretty quickly, which
Yeah.
is kind of amazing.
Fascinating guy.
Yeah,
Truly,
dude.
truly a fascinating
What,
guy.
believing in Scientology seems to work for him. I'm not saying it's for everybody.
Yeah.
But there's something about the way it worked for him.
For him, dude. And just how smart it was to go to do the Mission Impossible movies, to kind of like his career kind of went to the next level in a strange way.
Yeah, like look at that shot.
That's beautiful.
Look at that
And he
shot.
really did that shit.
He really did that shit.
That's awesome.
You saw it. You saw it from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
And he ran the table on certain racks.
Yep.
What they did is basically they set balls up for him, and they let him like have like fairly simple, what you call connect the dots out. But he did
He
it.
still did it.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
fucking easy to do, man.
Yeah.
That guy flies jets. He jumps off buildings.
yeah.
I'm telling you, Scientology seems to work for him.
And my favorite one of his is Collateral too, because it's
Oh
like,
my God, I just
he
watched
gets
that the
to
other
be-
day.
Dude, it's the fucking best.
It was amazing.
And it's like, because it's like there is a darkness to him that he keeps buttoned up. And when he gets to play the fucking assassin, the real evil guy, it's like, whoa, this is working in
Or
a way.
Lestat from Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
That one's fucking.
Yeah.
But
Collateral.
Lestat is awesome, but it's so that movie is so like campy in certain
Yes.
ways where it's like you see flashes of the villain, but this shit is like it's Michael Mann who's the fucking best.
He's a fucking hitman.
Dude,
And,
and
you 100% believe
You
it.
believe it. You fully fucking believe it.
It doesn't matter if that's that dude from The Outsiders. That is him.
Dude, it's fucking him. And just the way he behaves, and I mean,
He's a bad motherfucker, man.
yo, homie, is that my briefcase? And then he just, pew, pew, just when he
Yeah.
fucking two pieces those guys.
Dude, it's and the way he
Incredible.
does it too, man. That was super smooth. Like
Yeah.
you have to really practice to be able to draw and get off those shots
Yeah.
in close range. The way he did it looked completely believable.
Yeah.
I mean, that didn't look like, there's scenes in a movie where a guy pulls a gun and he shoots the other guy and you're like, okay.
Sure.
No,
this
I'll
was
suspend disbelief.
This was John Wick before John Wick. You know,
Exactly,
it was like.
exactly.
I mean, Michael Mann did that shit too with Heat. It's like they were
Yes.
fucking. They
Yes.
were shooting machine guns, bro.
He
Yes,
was based.
dude.
This is the scene right here.
Fuck.
I love this scene.
That my briefcase?
Your briefcase? Yeah, it is. Why? You want it back?
About your wallet.
Oh my god, this
What
rocks.
else you got for me? Huh?
Bro.
Jamie Foxx like
100% believable.
It did look like he was like, I'm free. This guy's gonna die, but at least I'll get to just call the cops.
Dude, 100% believable, those movements.
Yeah.
The way he did it, knocked the guy's hand away with the gun while drawing. One more time. Bam, boom,
Bop,
boom,
bop,
boom,
bop,
boom,
bop.
boom.
God damn.
He knocks it away at the same time draws. Look
Right.
at how he does this. This is fucking wild shit, man. And he's also got his gun on his hip. So it's not
Fucking-
even the quickest place to draw from.
Bam.
And he shoots from the waist, boom, 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 while this other guy's drawing, boom
So
to the
sick.
head. Come on, son.
So fucking sick.
tactical.
Jamie Foxx. Yeah.
Like Scientology works for him.
For him, it does.
Seems to work really well for him.
Yeah.
Whatever his belief system is,
100%.
that guy races motorcycles in his movies.
No,
he actually does his own stunts.
They do a great job of certain high-level talent. They can really take you to the next level.
But they let him ride motorcycles in a movie.
Yeah, dude.
He does stunts with cars and
He
shit.
flew the jets.
Dude.
Fucking Top Gun.
This is dangerous shit.
Yeah.
And they let him do it.
No, I would just love to see him, because he's proven that he's a fucking action star. Proven
Yes.
that. A very unlikely action star, but like earned it, right? Like not like how, like, look, I love the Liam Neeson turn to action, but it's like that's all gravitas. That's all
He's
being a
not
great
doing that.
actor.
He's not doing that.
He's doing it. He's earned it in the way
Right.
that it's like with practical effects and stunts.
So what
and
is he
shit.
doing there? He's jumping a motorcycle off a cliff, and then he's going to parachute? Yeah. Is that real? Oh, my God.
That's him.
That's
what the
him.
fuck, dude?
Bro,
And so-
stop it. Who's like that? Who's like that in all of history?
He's
Buster
a fucking
Keaton.
lunatic, truly.
Buster
yeah,
Keaton.
Yeah. He really. That's so interesting.
He's a
Tom
modern
Cruise is
Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton was a fucking animal.
This is a fucking dude.
Special effects were non-existent
Yeah,
back then.
he was
There was
the-
no CGI.
He's the fucking man for sure.
Buster Keaton risked his life every time he did a movie.
Yeah. No,
Every
that
time
guy
he did a
rocks.
movie.
That guy fucking rules.
Bro, you watch those old Buster Keaton highlights, you can't even believe that guy really did that. Look at this. He jumps from one fucking building to another. Look at this. Watch this shit.
What the
A full flight of stairs. at
And
the
then
back
goes
to the
through
bottom.
the
Oh, my
railings
God,
and
dude.
catches himself. Planned it. Planned all that.
So fucking
Bro, he
sick.
planned that.
I mean, that's incredible.
He went through those fucking things. He's like, that'll stop my fall, and then I'll catch myself on the way down. And he did it.
I mean, that's what James Bond pretends to do. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
And look at that. He really did get yanked away by that car. Like, this is actually happening. He really did grab that car and get yanked away.
just great
Watch this.
choreography.
He would grab a hold of these things and just hang on.
Well, dude, that's the other thing. It's like, and that's why it's so.
Look at this.
I mean, what is that? That's awesome. They didn't fucking string him up or anything with that shit.
How the fuck could he do that?
No, you're right.
What kind of strength did he have to do that?
I
Just
mean,
to be able to hold on to that
was a
thing with
fucking
one arm.
unit.
I mean, he must have been a super unit.
Yeah.
That
He's like an
movement right
acrobat.
there, what he had to do, where hang on to the back of that train like that.
Yeah.
How much strength is involved in that?
Yeah.
That's insane. He had that's like Cirque du Soleil strength.
I do love watching like old ass movies, because we have gotten so like used to like, you know, CGI and all that shit, and it's helpful for certain things, but it's like what you think is possible, you're like, oh, we are fucking lazy. Or even just like the, you know, how fast they would like they would make buildings and shit, and but you just look at what has he got going on here? Yeah, it's just slowly.
He's just
But, like,
riding on the front of a train. But
but
even
when you
then,
watch-
man, you
when-
fall, you die.
When
And you
you
got those wooden stupid shoes on. Oh
Yeah.
my God,
What is he about to do here?
what is going to happen here?
Oh, that's
Jesus
sick.
Christ!
But like you see a movie from the fucking 30s, and you see this like the fucking one of my favorite movies to just throw on sometimes is the old Robin Hood from the 30s. It's this fucking spectacle, dude, where they just have thousands of fucking extras, and it's
I
like
haven't seen
none of that, dude. It's fucking good.
Forever, Robin Hood from the 30s.
It's like from the yeah. It's Errol Flynn.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I saw it when I was a kid.
But it's just like this thing where you're like, your mind is like, bro, when they have these giant scenes where it's like, you know, a king and it's a jousting tournament, they have like fucking hundreds of people in the stands. Today, that's 8 guys and they CGI it. And you fucking watch it. I mean, the fight scenes or whatever, don't get me wrong, but like the big spectacles of them and like these huge sets, and like when it's like the thing that really fucking shocked me was the like, I think it was the jousting or maybe the archery competition.
Is this colorized?
It is colorized, yeah.
Because the original was black and white, right?
I would assume so, but I'm not sure. But, like,
38?
just like look at how fucking many. It's just like such a spectacle that you don't fucking get today. The same thing with fucking what's the Kurosawa Macbeth, Throne of Blood, that shit. I mean that's another one where you're like, God damn, dude, they were doing this shit. And like now, filmmaking is so everything's on a green screen, and you're just like, the artistry is like that's what I'm saying. When you're penned in, when you have like limitations, you figure out how to fucking really do it, and you come with like real. I mean, look at Buster Keaton, dude. It's like I would rather watch a Buster Keaton highlight reel than whatever the Marvel movie that just came out is. You know what I mean?
I'm with you up until we talk about Avatar.
Yeah, I'm in on
Avatar
Avatar.
was so good. I'm like, do your CGI. Do whatever you got to do.
But that's a great example though, because James Cameron, whatever he is a fucking. He pushes everything to the limit.
Yeah.
Like if he's doing CGI, it's going to take him 15 years, and he's going to get every ounce
and it's
of
going
like
to be incredible
spectacle out of it. Although
it's going to be incredible.
I can't wait for that. Me and we have my brothers and a couple like my closest friends. Well, not all my. Anyway, we have like a.
What is your relationship with these people?
Yeah. Me and 4 guys I found outside. I call my brothers. We're bonded in certain ways. My brothers and like my best friends. We it's a rotating cast, right? But we like to fucking get fucked up on Christmas. Like we do like a bros Christmas and on top of the family stuff, kind of like the Friendsgiving version of Christmas, where we'll just take a psychedelic and watch some out of control, like Star Wars. I've never seen the new Star Wars is not on acid or mushrooms. And dude, I love I don't have any idea what happens in them. My boy Babu Frick, I don't remember which one he's in. I was laughing like a fucking lunatic because I was just on acid and it's just a little fucking cute puppet. I'm like, like a little fucking kid. We get fucked up and we just watch fucking there's my boy,
guy?
dude.
See, I'm not even aware of him. Dude, I'm so far behind.
Imagine being on an eighth of mushrooms.
Oh my god, I can't.
And this guy pops up in a crowded theater. You're like, oh, I love him. He's my favorite. Anyway,
oh my god.
We've done mostly Star Wars. We watched Tenet one year when it was like the pandemic,
Jesus.
and
how can you follow that around when you're sober,
dude? I don't.
It's hard to. Tenet's hard to.
I have no idea what happened, but I was having a great time.
It's pretty dope.
We were just on
it's
acid,
a dope movie,
watching it in my living room because it was the pandemic, but this year we're doing Avatar Way of the Water. I can't wait, dude.
I can't wait for that to come out.
I mean,
James Cameron can say all his crazy shit, but is this the?
He's the man.
This the trailer
on their YouTube channel like 4 hours ago.
Oh wow!
It's got some clips. They're talking in between it.
The CGI, it still looks like the old Avatar.
I bet you it's going to look fucking sick in the theater.
But, I mean, there's still that uncanny valley.
Oh, for sure.
Isn't it interesting that they haven't quite passed that yet?
We'll never pass. I mean...
Look, I mean, they're close, man. They're kind of close.
I don't know.
But it's still... I mean, the original Avatar was how many years ago?
2009?
Yeah, a long time.
It's a long time ago. So if you think about it, it's kind of crazy how close it is to the original one in terms of, like... Maybe we're just looking at a grainy copy of it.
But I also think, like... What he really focused on was the water.
Yeah.
And I think like compared to other water CGI shit, he crushed it. He also loves water. Like he was deep sea.
No, look, it's
and
amazing. I'm just saying I could tell they're not real.
Of course. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a weird thing. Like if you that's a thing that's a debate between special effects guys. Like guys like Rick Baker, guys who've done like makeup and special like American Werewolf in London versus CGI stuff.
Right.
Which are like there's something missing always from the CGI stuff.
I fully like the best effects is like The Thing is so sick, all practical.
Yeah.
It's just like
John Carpenter,
the man.
Yeah.
And it's just like
they did a CGI version.
Oh, I'm sure it was dog shit.
No, it was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Interesting.
It was good. It was fun, but it's still that thing.
Yeah.
Where it's.
There's just something about those practical effects.
I think they even updated the new movie or the older movie got updated.
Oh,
recently.
interesting.
It's in 4K. I know that, so they had to run it through the computer once.
I mean, it was one of the most fucking ridiculous movies I've ever seen in my life.
It was amazing.
When me and my brother, because I have gained an appreciation for it but I remember going into it and I was just like, I was a little bit of like a film snob because I was in college and I was on like my film snob shit, and it was like, oh, Cameron, like Terminator, like this is gonna be, and remember how hyped it was,
right?
And it was super fun in like let's get fucked up and watch an awesome action movie way, but it was not like fucking, Goodfellas. It wasn't like a piece of cinema. It wasn't Casino. You know what I mean? Like, and so me and my brother, dude, the part where we lost it, we were having a good time. And don't get me wrong, the battle scenes, fucking sick. But when they fucking fuck with their tails, when they get their fucking little tail cocks linked up, I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like,
it's kind of hilarious.
But it is like, but when you go into it,
is that any weirder than a dick and a pussy though? Dick and a pussy's pretty weird too.
Pretty weird, but I'm more familiar with that, I'll say.
I get it.
I get it.
All right, Stavi, let's wrap this bitch
Let's
up.
wrap it
Tell
up,
everybody what's your social media, how they get a hold of you.
Yeah, Stavy Baby. Stavy Baby 2 on Instagram, Stavy Baby on Twitter.
What happened to Stavi Baby 1?
It was too erotic, bro. I was posting
Really?
too much shit like this.
They nuked your account?
They nuked the first one years ago.
No way.
You know what, actually? Ari brought this up years ago. You guys actually looked through my Instagram way back in the day. They nuked my shit, but Stavy Baby 2. But a new podcast, Stavi's World. Please subscribe. The first one with Sam is really funny. The second one we got is coming up soon.
Is it? Beautiful.
It's if and I have a tour
How do
coming
you
up.
say your last name?
Halkias.
Halkias. All right.
Buy the calendar. I got a tour coming up. I'm all over the place. They're selling really good. I'm really proud of that shit. We sold a bunch at the Wilbur.
Look at that. Sold out. The Wilbur's the shit.
Dude, I'm so excited.
Such a good club. Such a good theater.
We sold out 4 of those fuckers.
It's like 3 comedy clubs stacked on top of each other.
I can't wait. So we got that, but yeah, man, go listen to the podcast, watch the special. We hit 4 million views. Follow my little brother. He's an artist. We didn't even get to talk to my brother George, Art by Judgy on Instagram. And fucking, go to Odyssey Strength.
Say that again. Art by what?
Art by Judgy. DZODZIE. If you want
How
to
do
pull
you
it up,
spell anybody to get that?
It's tough.
You said that word. I'm like, you just gonna throw that out
You're
there
right.
for your brother?
Art by DZODZIE. He does this really
Imagine.
fun. I know. George. It's like Georgie, but Judgy. He does this
There it
really
is.
fucking wild shit. I don't know if we can even show it. He's got like demons.
Oh Jesus! He's gonna go to jail. Put that away. Balenciaga's gonna use that for the next ad campaign.
They're all of age. They're all of age demons.
Thank you, brother. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it very much. Bye, everybody.